spot, and I go, dagger, ? And you responded immediately.
Yeah, I didn't think you could have much of an argument at that point. I wasn't being like over dramatic. It felt that way.
Yeah, no, it did. So let us know, what were you thinking in that moment as well? 913-586-7965. We'll talk about Kareem Hunt here in 8 minutes. What a performance by him. Also, Rashee Rice, after a first half where he kind of no-showed, came up with a massive second half and overtime to finish with 8 catches for 141 yards. It is a Monday with the short week, so Andy Reid will not have his normal noon presser. So just a heads up if you were expecting that today. That is not occurring today. Tomorrow will be some media availability. And the rest of the week, Drew's going to be hosting a little bit. Mac and Drew are going to both be hosting on Friday. Obviously with the holiday and stuff, so our schedule is a little bit different. We will, other than Thursday, this station will still be live and local. We will just have some fill-ins and moving parts throughout the week. But if you're wanting, obviously as you wake up, even on a Friday after a Cowboys game, we will still be live and local. We'll just have some fill-ins and different programming going on that day. But look, man, the Chiefs season is alive with an ugly win. I don't care. Like at this point, it truly is just find a way to win.
Every
get
game,
through it. And you and I both thought they need to go 6-1 down the stretch. All right, there's one of them. There's one of them. They get another one against the Cowboys moving forward. But Patrick Mahomes kind of said it, Cody, in not the locker room, he was up at the podium. I thought when he said this is the question, is if this changes your feeling about the trajectory a little bit for this team.
This is exactly what we needed. To win against a really good football team and the game's not going your way, you could have folded in that situation and kind of been kind of the rest of the season. But the guys responded and then found a way to win on every single unit. I mean, offense, we found a way at the end. Defense stood tall multiple times to give us chances. And then Harrison and Ariza did a great job flipping the field and making field goals. So we needed a win like this, and now let's just try to build off of it.
That's the question, though. They needed a win like this. They were
defining win now.
They were 0-5 in one-score games going in. They were 12-0 last year. We all know that. They weren't able to ever make this season the one big play to swing a game. And in this circumstance, this defense comes up with 5 straight 3-and-outs against the Indianapolis Colts, who were the best offense in football.
They only had 13 3-and-outs on the season going into the game.
Your defense,
that's rare.
Even when your offense wasn't making the big play, you mentioned the Kareem Hunt fumble, even then your defense made play after play after play after play in the second half to hold down Daniel Jones, Jonathan Taylor, more importantly, in that Colts offense, to give the Chiefs offense, 5 shots basically at it to figure it out, and ultimately they did just enough to do that. And I do think there is a chance, and we're going to find out on Thursday, but I do think there is a chance a win like this against a playoff team, a potential AFC South division winner. I know their schedule toughens up here for the Colts, but I still think they probably win that division. To do that in that spot, you do wonder if does that just flip it? We said, all the regression towards 0-5 in one-score games, is there going to be any positive momentum in the other direction? As in, are they really going to be 0-8 all year, or 0-9 when the season's over in one-score games? Or did they already get, 0-5? Are they now going to win a bunch of one-score games? I don't know the answer to that, but that's the question I have. And I hear, hearing Patrick Mahomes say they needed to win one like that, or exactly like that.
It's hard not to imagine, because this team did, and I think it'd be kind of weird to say otherwise, they had lost some self-confidence. They had lost that feeling late in games. Hell, even in that game, Gold. After they had seemingly started to get the stops, get the comeback going, it's like, all right, offense is on the field, pivotal moment, your time to take charge. They went 3-and-out. Gave it right back to the Colts, and I'm like, ugh. All right, whoa. That felt like another, moment-defining thing where you're like, that's it? That's all you got? And then they clawed, fought, scratched. Look, I'm not going to pretend like you come out of that game feeling like, wow, they're an unstoppable juggernaut. There are some things, and we'll get to some of the offensive stuff and all that, that'll make you feel good. But it's just funny because the opposite could have happened, where it was definitely going to be the end of the season. Had they lost that game, especially the way that game had gone, that was going to be it. They weren't going to be a playoff team. And do I think that the opposite thing can be true because you found a way, down 11, fourth quarter, old school Patrick Mahomes style, do anything you can to win a game? Do it? Yeah. It's funny on the text line, they were talking about that fumble. They said, from the 816, on the fumble, I finished my beer, threw a pillow, went to Price Chopper to do my Thanksgiving shopping. I was done. Someone said they were at a sports bar. You could hear a pin drop in the bar the second that took place. Someone said multiple people in the row at the game.
I believe it. I saw
up
it.
and left right after that. I mean, to have it go the other way instead And that was only the second lost fumble of Kareem Hunt's career. Second to the very first carry of his entire NFL career. It just felt like this big swing moment. And yeah, at no point was I like, Chiefs are going to win this one today. Maybe other than when the Colts decided to take the ball first in overtime. That might have been the only time in which I'm like, finally, they made a mistake. And look, the defense kept making stop after stop, but it's not like the offense just kept taking advantage over and over again. They still had to slog through and find ways and do all that stuff. And so, yes,
they outgained the Colts.
This feels like a spring.
They outgained the Colts 236-18 in the fourth quarter on Sunday, and they still, of course, had to get to overtime and kick a game-winning field goal. It was one of those where you were as stressed out as I think you could possibly be, other than maybe some of these big-time AFC title games in the past. Certainly Super Bowls and when everybody's nervous and things like that. But this was a playoff game, and every game is a playoff game moving forward for the Kansas City Chiefs. That's the hole that they dug themselves in. And yeah, I think everybody you'd be lying if you didn't admit that after the Kareem Hunt fumble, you, at the very least, maybe you didn't go to the full extent of season over, but if you didn't think, wow, is this really it? Is this actually going to end it? I think you'd be lying if you didn't. That thought had to have crossed everybody's mind.
I think a lot of it is like, it felt like, we have talked about this. It felt like the exact same thing. Well, it's the same team with the same problems, doing the same things, feeling the same level of predictable. Well, we're all back in the same cycle of nonsense. It felt like every other Chiefs loss this season. Like identical to all of them. Self-inflicted mistakes, can't get it done in the red zone. What is this? What are you doing in this moment? Why can't you take advantage when the other side, and special teams and a million other things. We can get to special teams individually. Yeah. It felt like every other Chiefs loss, and then they won. So we're going to come in here on a Monday and be like, yeah, it's very much alive. And they got two more really difficult games in a row.
Yeah.
They got to go to Dallas on a short week, and then they got to take on Houston Texans team that has one of the better pass rushes in the league, and they got to fight through that one too. And then it lightens up, and then they got the Chargers. Yeah. But then after that, it lightens up a little.
And we'll get into the rest of this week and look ahead a little bit coming up in just a bit. But I want to talk about the run game, because so much of the run game was discussed last week. How they handled it or didn't handle it in the final two drives against the Denver Broncos on the 3-and-out drives. Remember, they did not run it a single time. And we said, hey, look, they do not need to be a run-first offense is what we said last week, but you got to run the football more, even if it's not how you want to win. Well, I don't know if any of us really predicted it would go and swing this complete direction. Kareem Hunt ran the ball 30 times. The Chiefs, if you include Mahomes' scrambles, ran the ball 41 times. Take Mahomes out of that, it's fine, but still, 30 for Hunt, 5 for Clyde. One for Brashard Smith, and then Travis Kelce had the one run for a yard. They were willing to run the football. That's why they were able to control the time of possession, and just
why the Colts never got a lot of points going or offense going.
Felt like they tripled the plays that were run by the Colts compared to the Chiefs in this particular game. Kareem Hunt deserves all sorts of props. I'll give the coaching staff props. Not that I thought the first and goal at the 2 out of shotgun was smart, but they very quickly from a week ago where we were critical, I think warranted certainly with it towards Spags and not being aggressive on defense. And then on offense, how they just were refusing to run the football. They showed that they were willing to commit to running the football. Now, that's not the formula every single week. I think, Kareem Hunt is, I think, very, very banged up after this game, and now you have a short week. I'm concerned about his availability or at least effectiveness on Thursday against the Cowboys. He did not speak to the media after the game, by the way, as he was getting treatment and stuff like that.
Reasonably so.
Isaiah Pacheco, as we all know, we're going to find out as the week goes on if he's available. I think they desperately need him because of Hunt's workload that he just got. We know they signed Dameon Pierce, but Kareem Hunt, 30 carries, I should say, for 104 yards. That was a performance that if this team ends up making the playoffs, and I don't care what he does the rest of the way, that's a performance we should all remember the rest of the way. They desperately needed that, and Kareem Hunt, they had no other option really in the backfield. I mean, Clyde Edwards-Helaire had 5 carries for 8 yards, okay? And Isaiah Pacheco was not available. They still don't really give the ball to Brashard Smith all that much. Kareem Hunt had to be that effective or they lose this football game.
I don't know why they won't give carries to Brashard Smith, because when he touches the ball, it certainly looks good. They obviously just don't trust him in the run game yet versus in the pass game. Honestly, kudos to Kareem Hunt, who is an old running back by running back standards, and is certainly, despite missing some time in his NFL career, put plenty of mileage on those legs. He gave them every last drop of effort and energy he has in his human body.
Yeah, Cody, it's like the gas tank. It's on empty, and then it tells you you've got like 5 miles, and then it goes to blank. Have you ever driven your car? Then you're like, well, I think I might have like another 10 after this. He's past the empty. It's not even telling you your range anymore of how many miles you have. Like, you better get to a gas station immediately. That's where he's at. The problem is he only has a couple days to refuel, and I don't know what he's going to be like on Thursday.
The car comparison I had made before the show was like, and everybody's friend had at least one person who probably operated this way. They're driving some 1996 Buick Regal. And half of the, you can almost see through the floorboard the rust coming through so much. And it's like, this car's beat up, and you're like, still drives, huh? Just still getting you there, huh? Daily driver? Every day thing starts up? Like, I was genuinely impressed. Every run came with extreme effort. And yeah, some of it is the commitment to it. I was glad that they were continuously willing to just keep trying to give it to Kareem Hunt. And if you saw the stats from Matt McMullen, there was a significant drop-off in performance after Trey Smith left. They were running the ball and running the ball effectively. He's getting almost 5 yards a carry when Trey Smith was in the game. They were only getting like 3 yards a carry after Trey Smith went out injured. But they didn't stop him from trying because they knew they had to keep the Colts offense off the field. I give them a lot of credit for saying that's the number one offense in the NFL, and we don't want to have to go against them for 70 plays today. So Kareem Hunt's going to touch the football, and he's going to touch the football a lot, and we're just going to keep doing it. Man looked tired. And that is why
he gave them everything.
Dameon Pierce got signed after that game yesterday because of what you said. No AD on Pacheco. Kareem Hunt is done. We need a body, and it can't be Clyde. Hello, Dameon Pierce. You've been sitting around, interested in doing a little bit of work this week? I think there's a better than not chance he's active on Thursday.
Yeah, I
genuinely think he might be.
And I don't know how much work he'll get, but they do need a fresh body in the backfield. And we don't know what the path is for Pacheco's availability. Last week he was practicing a couple days, and then they ruled him out on Friday. So I don't know if the thought is, knowing that they had the short week, Cody, that they're like, we're going to hold him out for the Colts game, and we'll hopefully have him available for the Cowboys game. And then, not knowing that they're maybe going to have a heavy workload day for Kareem Hunt. And now you're going to need Isaiah Pacheco on Thursday to give you some carries. Hopefully he's available. But, Clyde, we all know the story. We know he's loved in the locker room. 5 carries for 8 yards. I mean, he should not be active. I'm sorry. Should not be active for this team.
I've never seen a stronger argument for Alex Gold could get a yard in an NFL game.
No chance.
Than when
you get hurt on the first carry.
Then when I watch Clyde run the ball.
I would get hurt on the first carry, and so this is why I always hate this argument. When
I said he's the closest I've had to actually having this argument.
When Speck and Drew try to act like they can do NFL-type stuff, you wouldn't even make it to the second carry. But anyway,
I know, but I'm saying that Clyde Edwards-Helaire should give them some hope.
No.
And look, there's no juice there. They obviously will not, will not hand the ball off to Brashard Smith. That is a non-starter. If he's on the field, he's not physically taking a handoff. So you got to do something on it.
Do you think Dameon Pierce as well? Look, people do not need to overblow the signing here. We're talking about a guy that couldn't get on the field in Houston. However, can he actually help in the return game? Because I know Nico Remigio was a great story a year ago. Some of it is him. Some of it is the entire special teams is a disaster. We're going to talk about that in just a few minutes.
I think that might be part of it.
Could Dameon Pierce help them in the return game? He's had a history being a returner going back to his Texans days.
I go back through it, and Dameon Pierce has obviously been injured. He had a tremendous, as you guys remember, rookie year. Not even tremendous. He just had a really good rookie year in which he was a very effective player for them. He, just last year, Dameon Pierce, averaged 7.3 yards per attempt. And you're like, well, that wasn't that many. He only had 40 attempts. He was effective. Every time he touched the football, he's fallen out of favor in the coaching staff there. I don't know for what purpose or what reason. And he certainly hasn't looked good in the 10 carries they've given him this year. So do I think there's a little bit of juice in the running game? Yes. Because here's the truth. Dameon Pierce, talent-wise, cannot be significantly different than the talent that they have running the ball right now. This is not even a knock on Kareem Hunt. He's an old running back. He gave him every last bit of juice last year. But would I like to see some fresh life in the return game this year? Sure.
He's, to me, is more likely.
There. Yeah, absolutely. I think they might get 5, 6, 7, 8 carries out of him.
He's more likely, I think, eventually, to have to sign him yesterday and then think on Thursday he's going to have this huge impact. I think he's just a fresh body that they need more than anything.
And you should hope for this week.
You should hope that Isaiah Pacheco is back on Thursday. I'm not saying even Kareem Hunt can't play on Thursday, but I think we all watch. We just have to ask him to bounce back and give you much on Thursday is a tall ask.
I borderline impossible ask.
Yeah.
Maybe he's still got some juice left, but do you see the way he was moving? The whole second half of that game, after every carry, looked like Lorenzo Cain for all those years in like right field when it's like, you all right, man? And like when they handed him the ball again, they, certainly he gave him fight and gave him juice, but that man looked tired. When's the last time, and I didn't look it up, when's the last time he had 30 carries in a game?
It's a great question.
Has he ever? I mean,
well,
certainly
I'm
his
sure.
rookie season, right? But I mean, I don't know, man. It feels like a lot. And Dallas this year has not been particularly good against the run, so it should be a team.
They've been much better with Quinnen Williams.
Yeah, that's fair.
Quinnen Williams,
That's fair.
the trade obviously that they made with the Jets. Quinnen Williams has been a huge difference maker in the run game, yes, but also just getting after the quarterback. I think he's got 15 pressures in 2 games that he's been with the Cowboys.
So maybe they're getting better in that. And they ranked 22nd on the year in rushing yards allowed per game, but they were awesome against Saquon Barkley yesterday. So maybe that's part of it. Going back to the kick return stuff, we had mentioned this last week, even more so because of the loss. They got to do something about the special teams. It is the worst unit in football. They can't return a kick without holding somebody, punt or kickoff. They, in the kick returns, seemingly have zero push. They are being tackled or touched by a defender every time they get past the 22-yard line. They fair catch every kick inside the 10. When they try to return it outside the 12, they get a holding penalty and go back to the 10 anyway. Their return game, their special teams are awful. And I know someone's going to point out, they happen to kick a lot yesterday.
Butker was great yesterday.
He was?
Five ties the career high, by the way. 5 field goals, of course, made the game winner in overtime there. He was very, very good. You have to give him his props. I understand they weren't 55-yarders, but you make 5 for 5 on field goals. They needed every single one of them, of course.
He had one long one.
He gets credit for that. No question about that. And I hope, honestly, bigger picture, you hope his confidence is fully back because we know earlier in the season, Dave Tobe discussed the struggles. He claimed they were not physical, and he said they were mental. Well, a 5 for 5 day and a game-winning walk-off kick in OT, that should help your confidence as well.
I would hope so.
That hopefully just parlays him for the rest of the season. But I'm 100% with you everywhere else on special teams. Return game, in particular with the penalties, and all, they're a non-factor when it comes to returning. And their coverage hasn't been great on kicks. So that is still a concern. But Harrison Butker deserves certainly some props for yesterday's performance.
I'll give him
needed every kick.
Look, I'm not going to even, it'd be easy to do the diminished stuff. Be like, well, 4 of them were from 25 yards.
Why you got to be that way?
I said I'm not going to.
Why do you have to be that way today?
I'm not going to do that. I could also point out that even considering that, he's the 18th
Stop.
most accurate kicker in the NFL this year.
Why are you being that way?
I think it's largely I only bring that up because I do think that Harrison Butker has solved some of his problems and he's making a lot of his kicks now, which I like. And that is important. And so, I'm going to point out the fact that as of right now, my concerns over Harrison Butker making kicks is not down. I would like him to tighten it up on the kickoff stuff because he's missed some of those and the punt and the return game.
Did you said you're concerned with Butker, you're worried with Butker, the concern hasn't dropped?
No, is
Okay,
I'm saying I am not going to worry game to game about him
that's
making
what
a
I
kick
thought.
right now.
All right,
No,
just
we're
making
good.
sure. All right.
I am at the moment not going to worry about him making a kick day to day, game to game. At the moment, I'm just going to put that behind me for now. I'm still worried about his ability to do kickoffs the correct way and their ability to return kicks, get successful punt coverage. Because the thing we forget about is we watch them return kicks and it's bad. Every time somebody returns a punt, it's for 15 yards against their unit. They're not even good on the other end. Every kick return seems to have some success. It is the worst unit on the field for them. I do not understand how it is that they have not resolved that issue. And so I hope that there is some tightening up of what they're taking care of outside of that. I did look it up, by the way.
Yeah,
were you going to say the same thing? Kareem Hunt?
Most carries ever, yeah.
Yeah.
For his
I was
career.
going to say he's never had 30 carries. I looked it up. The most carries he'd had in a game was 29 against Miami, his rookie season in Week 15. Other than that, he's never had 30 carries. He looked tired, man. He looked like that. He looked like that Popeyes employee. And just sitting on the bench. I imagine when he got
Jimmy
home.
Butler in the bubble, hanging over the edge.
Yeah, man. I got to think that when he got home, he sat, even at the stadium, I bet he took a little extra time in that ice bath before he got in his car to drive home.
Heck yeah.
I'm telling you, he didn't speak
second.
to them. He wasn't near his locker. I mean, really, he was he was getting treatment after the game, as you can imagine, when you have that kind of performance.
I know you guys mentioned Quinnen Williams, so I found the stat. Since I know this is something Logan and I will probably get into here over the next couple of days as you guys are off for Thanksgiving, but Quinnen Williams, since he's joined the Cowboys, the Cowboys' run defense has allowed 30 carries for 90 yards, and only one of those has gone for 10 or more yards. Saquon was 10 for 22. Ashton Genty was 6 for 7. Not to say that the Chiefs don't have a good run-blocking offense and can't figure a way to scheme things, but that's something obviously to pay attention to, just how things have trended for the Cowboys since
almost like having a qualified defensive lineman actually makes your job
a good run defender
easier.
as well, because Micah, as we know, according to Jerry Jones, had a lot of struggles in the run game too. But
yeah, they shut out the Eagles in the second half. We will talk more about the Cowboys in particular a little bit today, just because you and I, Cody, as you said, are not going to be here on Wednesday and Tuesday.
Yeah, I want to get a little bit of time to talk some Cowboys.
That game has a different feel, not just because the Chiefs handle their business, but the way the Cowboys performed in the second half against the Eagles.
So after the game when the Chiefs won, what was how would you describe emotional state? Joy, relief, tenuous excitement? Like what's the correct way you would describe how you felt about the Chiefs after they won the Colts game?
Yeah, relief. Yeah.
Relief. That's probably like
relief
season's not over,
the season, because it was all about the Colts game. We discussed it on the entire week, that for them to stay alive, the Colts game was one they had to have. Now, of course, you want to get to 7-5 and meet the Cowboys. The benefit of being the Colts is, while you still have a huge road ahead in front of you, you could lose to the Cowboys and the season's not over. That's also why yesterday was so big, because the Cowboys are an NFC team. So as much as you want to beat the Cowboys, they could lose to the Cowboys and
makes life a lot harder. But
the path is still there. You would have lost to the Colts and it was have to win out. So that's why it was.
And we would have had no hope that they were going to win out if they had lost that game.
Yep.
I don't know, man. It was definitely one of those. It was definitely one of those where you just felt tired. Josh Klingler, who obviously covers the team, he said he interviewed Kareem after the game. He just sent us a text. Initially said it looked like he wanted to stand up, and then he said, "Nah, I'll just stay sitting down."
Yeah, I think Kling's the only person that got to talk to him, because he was certainly when everybody else in the media was in there, that he was not available. But
he said I'd have carried 100 times if they had asked me to.
Yeah, he gave them everything. He gave them everything they wanted.
Yeah, I mean it was like everything on the line, and he laid down on the track for you. I mean, he took every single level of effort available. I just felt bad for him after the game. I'm just saying he probably took a little extra nap when he got home. Slept for 15 hours.
Monday's football coverage is presented by Busey Bank, where they're focused on your success. At Busey Bank, they've been building businesses and growing wealth since 1868. Learn more at buseybank.com. Up next, let's talk about Rashee Rice. The first half compared to the second half, some of his thoughts, and more on this defense, in particular what Chris Jones has done post-bye week.
What's up, Chiefs Kingdom? It's Chris Jones. You're listening to Cody and Gold. Weekdays 10 to 2 on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Football season is in full swing, and however you'd like to get in on the action, you can do it at Underdog right now in Missouri. This season, you can make team picks and player picks. Just download the app, sign up, and you'll get $100 in bonus entries when you make your first $5 fantasy entry. Using Underdog is easy. Just pick whether your favorite team will win or if your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like touchdowns, receiving yards, interceptions, and more. Plus, with Underdog's ultra-fast payouts, you can get your profits in a snap. So download the app today and use promo code TAPP, T-A-P-P, to score $100 in bonus entries when you make your first $5 fantasy entry. Player picks, team picks, all at Underdog. Must be 18 plus and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concern with your play. Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncbgambling.org.
Within the cities we call home, Busey Bank is more than a name. It's a commitment to your dreams. With Busey, trusted guidance is tailored to empower you every step of the way. Whether it's seamlessly managing your finances or planning for your future, Busey is dedicated to your financial success. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868. Member FDIC.
This is Kevin Harlan, and the Black Friday sales event is on right now at Rob's Site Ford, but not for long. Hey, Rob, what's cooking this week?
Kevin, we're serving up 0% for 66 months on most new Ford models. F-150s, Escapes, Explorers, Transits, you name it.
That is a full spread of savings, unlike your mashed potatoes last year, which needed a carving knife.
Okay, brisket man, but hey, these deals, certified fresh and only here for 1 week.
You heard the man. Black Friday savings all week, and once they're gone, they're gone. Plus, Kansas City's only top-rated Ford dealer on Google. 4.8 stars, nearly 3,000 reviews. Voted best car dealership in Kansas City by Kansas City Magazine.
At Rob Site Ford, we keep it simple. Non-commissioned sales team, top trade-in values, and the lowest prices in Kansas City.
135th and State Line or robsite.com.
If you want simple, upfront, and easy, there's only one R that matters. Rob Site Ford. Rob Site Ford. Buy right with Rob Site.
And maybe leave the mashed potatoes to someone else this year.
This Thanksgiving, FanDuel is introducing a brand new way to build a parlay together. It's called Pass the Leg. Here's how it works. Start a group build, add your pick, then pass it to your friends so they can do the same. When everybody's done, you can each lock in the group parlay with your own fun, because football is better when it's played and bet together. To make it even better, everybody gets a 50% profit boost token to use on their build. So grab the crew, start your build, and get in on the action this Thanksgiving with Pass the Leg. And we got 3 great games coming up this Thanksgiving. You don't want to miss the action. Visit FanDuel.com. Use my promo code /KFNZ to get started. FanDuel, play your game. An official partner of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. Opt-in required. Bonus issued. Non-withdrawal profit boost token. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement Kansas Casino LLC. Gambling problem? Get up with your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700. Visit kansasgamblinghelp.com.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-269-3454. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-269-3454 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-269-3454 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-269-3454.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS like Joe?
I started a woodworking business. I was able to build beautiful furniture, but had no handle on the business side of things, so quickly fell behind in my taxes. 1 year of being behind in taxes quickly turned into 5 years. I ended up owing almost $37,000.
Then Joe found tax relief advocates.
I would hear ads for tax relief advocates. One day it just clicked, this is my exact situation that I'm in. So I wrote down the number and called from the car when I got home that day. TRA saved me 99% of what I owed the IRS, and that brought a huge sense of relief.
If you owe 10 or even hundreds of thousands of dollars to the IRS, don't lose hope. Do what Joe did and called TRA for a consultation.
I'm really happy that I made that call, and I finally felt like I could breathe again.
Visit TRA.com or call 800-513-5321. 800-513-5321. That's 800-513-5321.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
It's time for Black Friday, Dell Technologies' biggest sale of the year. Enjoy the lowest prices of the year on select PCs like the Dell 16 Plus, featuring Intel Core Ultra processors. And with built-in advanced features, it's the PC that helps you do more, faster. Plus, earn Dell rewards and enjoy many other benefits, like free shipping, price match guarantee, and expert support. They also have huge deals on accessories that pair perfectly with your Dell PC and make perfect gifts for everyone on your list. Shop now at Dell.com/deals.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line. But my throat has officially thrown in the towel.
Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast!
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
This afternoon, expect rain with a high of 53.
Weather brought to you by Staples. Have an easy holiday at Staples. Save on top tech and gaming gifts, shipping supplies and services to get your packages there safely, even custom cards and wrapping paper. Staples. That was easy.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Just getting started here on a Monday. Victory Monday in KC. It's Cody and Gold. Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, Drew Nixon with you. Text line opened up 913-586-7965. Coming up in about 8 minutes, we'll get to the defense in particular, what they were able to do to Jonathan Taylor. So we'll do that in just a bit. But Rashee Rice, it's kind of interesting. You know, as we said, we have these running notes during the show. And sometimes these thoughts change very quickly. And you think you're going to have a conversation about something one way, and then something changes. An example of that would be what Rashee Rice did in the second half compared to the first. Because I'll be honest, we were thinking, man, are we going to have to talk about Rashee Rice not showing up in one of the biggest games or the biggest game of the year? The first half, you know, he has one half of his game, and it's 3 catches for 9 yards. Like,
We're
this is
Rice.
Nobody's stepping up on offense. He ends up with 8 catches for 141, and the biggest catch of the game was on a gotta-have-it play that ends up getting them near midfield in, that would have been the overtime period.
To set up the game-winning field goal.
He's now got 253 yards in 4 games combined. So 141 in this one. He was the number one receiver that you want to count on in the second half. In the first half, there's a lot of reasons for it. I think Mahomes certainly was off, missing guys that were open. There were also times when the Colts were in man coverage, Cody, and nobody was winning. I think both can be true. People want to blame just like one side. I tweeted something like, hey, guys aren't getting open. And man, oh my gosh, you would have thought I said. It was a mix. Guys weren't getting open at times. Mahomes was missing open guys in certain spots. When they were in man coverage, the Chiefs were not winning in the first half.
So I agree with your assessment of that. You know what happens here? Some of this is we're victim of what we hear. And you were at the game, and on the broadcast, Tony Romo spent, Drew, you listening, 2 hours being, Mahomes can't, he's leaving the pocket, never sees anyone open, guy doesn't know where anyone is on the field. I swear to you.
Okay.
For 3 full quarters.
He was begging for him to stay in the pocket.
Tony
the whole game.
Romo was getting after Mahomes and claiming he was missing open guys.
That might explain the reaction I got.
Open guy after open guy.
That might have explained it.
And look, there were some guys that were coming open late, or for all we knew, were third or fourth read guys.
Well, I'm not saying Mahomes was perfect at all.
No.
He made mistakes, and there were guys open at times. I think there were also plenty of situations, though, where, especially on a third down, I think it was towards the end of the first half, when Mahomes ended up being a holding call anyway, but when Mahomes finally found Hollywood Brown, that was a play that was completely broken down. I don't count that as the guys got open early on in the route. Now in the second half, it was a completely different story in the fourth quarter, late, where they were able to, for whatever reason, get Xavier Worthy intermediate crossing routes. Rashee Rice intermediate. That's the part of the game they just have not had much this year, Cody, is the intermediate routes, guys crossing across the middle of the field and winning in man-to-man coverage.
And the entire fourth quarter and overtime was that.
Yeah.
It was just 20-yard hit after hit after hit. Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy got a long one, and it seemed like they were just finding it over and over and over again. So while I agree with you, I think Mahomes has been a little more trigger shy, and I think especially
that's fair.
And in that game, I think he was holding back on the pull I think he pulled back a little after yet another tip pass where it seemed like they knew what they were doing right there at the line of scrimmage.
You notice they didn't run many more. The RPOs after that, they were going
got
to
real quiet.
The hard runs, as Andy Reid called them.
Yeah, and so I think they ran into a little bit of this. Look, I'm hoping very similar to what we said in the lead here is this is the game to get Rashee Rice back to being Rashee Rice, man. He averaged 17 yards a catch. He averaged 6 yards a catch in the game before. He had 9 targets and 38 yards against Denver. And he's had some games this year where he's had 9, 10 targets and finishes the game, 7 for 42. But he's had a game like this against Washington, and now he's had a second one against Indianapolis. And more importantly, the thing that I thought was missing the entire, and why I wondered if maybe he just wasn't the same after the injury is, the intermediate. He was the intermediate king the first 2 years in Kansas City. 10, 15, 20 yards, man, that's what that guy could get. He'd run 10 yards down the field, and you'd get him for that. Not he ran 4 yards down the field, and you hope it turned into 10. And in this game, a game that you and I were like, hey, we're going to have a real conversation about Rashee Rice. If they lose this game and it keeps going this way, he was great.
No, he was awesome
in the
great. Second half.
Right after that, they just fed him, and it worked over and over again. I will give you a slight injury update. Ian Rappaport over on Twitter said Pro Bowl guard Trey Smith is dealing with both high and low ankle sprains. Sources says he's expected to miss some time, including likely against the Cowboys on Thursday.
So the Cowboys-Texans are the next two. A real chance he misses both then is what you're hearing. I know he has 10 days after this one, but...
Yeah, I'd say you probably got a chance for him in the Texans game, but if he's dealing with high and low ankle sprains and he's got 3 days to rest, I would say you should probably go ahead and plan on Mike Caliendo making the start for the Chiefs on Thursday against the Cowboys.
That's a hit for sure. I don't think it's one that they can't overcome in a 2-game span, but that's a big hit. As you mentioned earlier, running the football when Trey Smith was out there, of course, they were a lot better. He's one of the best guards in football. Mike Caliendo does at this point have plenty of experience, though. It just means, again, you're thinner. So Kingsley's got to stay healthy. You can't afford really many other guys that are not going to be available. So that's unfortunate to hear. I'm not surprised, though, with the update. You remember right before the half, Caliendo came in for Trey Smith. Trey Smith got his right ankle taped up, then went back in the game, and then he didn't.
By halftime, he didn't come
back out at halftime. And so, clearly it was an issue for Trey Smith. So that's a bummer to hear that update, though, from Ian Rappaport. Rashee Rice, we were talking about him. Here's what he had to say at the podium a little bit after the game, after his big performance in the second half.
I mean, the coaches have a great scheme. All we have to do is execute whatever they call, the play calling. When everybody's doing their job, it's a lot easier to be able to, come out with big plays like that. So it's nothing like, making 1-5 happy when you complete a catch and, turn the field. You kind of just see who wanted it more. Our back was against the wall. It's been against the wall, so we just had to dial in a little bit. Honestly, we don't really never feel like we're going to lose. It's a 4-quarter game, full football game, and as long as you want it, you put your mind to it and stick together, we're going to have the outcome that we want.
In the second half, that's what number one wide receivers do. You want to prove you're number one. You want to prove you're a top 20, top 15 receiver in football. That's the kind of half that those studs usually have and are capable of. And he proved that he can do that. That was big, big, big. Yeah, you would have loved for it to show up in the first half, but when it mattered most, he stepped up in a massive way. As far as someone was asking about his hamstring, nothing was really said about that after the game. I wonder if it also wasn't cramps more than it was hamstring. So we'll see. Again, today is an off day, and then they're very quickly right back at it.
Cramps could easily be. Do you realize? I mean, does everybody realize how many plays the Chiefs ran yesterday?
90-something, right? 93 or whatever it was.
Travis Kelce played the most snaps of I think Briscoe had put out the stat. It was the most snaps I think Travis Kelce had played in his entire career, maybe? Or somewhat close to that here. I'll pull up the stat. Travis Kelce had 84 snaps at 36 years old. He played 84 snaps against the Colts. It's the most he's played in a single game since 2018 when he had 85 snaps against Baltimore. Again, 2018, so 7 full years ago, the last time Travis Kelce played that number of snaps. So, I bet everyone was, and this is the only problem with the Thursday game, because I guarantee you, and look, the Cowboys played an overtime game too, so it's not like they didn't have that. I guarantee you, based on the number of offensive snaps, man, the Chiefs' offense got to be tired.
They played 40. They were on the field 42 minutes yesterday, 17 more minutes than the Colts were.
Yeah, they got to be tired, man. And so it doesn't mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they started a little sluggish against there. We'll hope. I'm still hoping the momentum carries, but there is something to that. Then on the opposite side of the field, we talked about, and we'll talk more about the offense in general. I know they didn't have a sack, and I know that they blew 2 opportunities of getting a turnover that Daniel Jones, I thought, tried to gift him. So, it could have gone better on defense. I'm sorry. That was the number 1 offense in the league. And I was really impressed with their effort the entire game. Chris Jones' effort the entire game. But obviously, and most importantly, the final 5 drives of the game where they stopped the number 1 offense in the league, who had the least 3 and outs in the league, from going 3 and out. Time and time and time and time again. And the truth is, they needed every single one of them to be a 3 and out, essentially, to win the football game. And they just kept doing it over and over again.
It was, complete difference from a week ago. I think, as we all know, Steve Spagnuolo was under the microscope a little bit after the Broncos and maybe not being aggressive on third downs and letting Bo Nix sit back there. We all know they've struggled all year to get pressure. Look, they did not get a sack on Daniel Jones, but when it came down to crunch time of the second half, Steve Spagnuolo said, I'm going to blitz. I'm going to blitz Daniel Jones. And then late in the game, I think the Colts, for whatever reason, went away from even trying to run the football. Yeah, the Chiefs
were that 3rd and 1 when they stuffed Jonathan Taylor for 2 yards, another massive stop.
The Chiefs did a great job against Taylor, but I thought the Colts still abandoned the run way too early. The Chiefs defense, from Next Gen Stats, hit Jonathan Taylor behind the line of scrimmage on 62.5 of his touches. 0.7 yards before contact. Taylor only forced 3 missed tackles, season low 10 yards after the missed tackle.
And they had to, it was gang tackling. They had to, get after him multiple times where it took 2-3 guys to take him down.
Jonathan Taylor held under 60 yards. That's the disaster formula for the Colts. it goes back to, Daniel Jones was awesome in the first half, right? He had 2 touchdowns. He outplayed Patrick Mahomes in the first half.
He did.
No doubt about that. In the second half, I feel like they, being the Colts, tried to prove late in the game, Cody, that Daniel Jones can go and win them the game and make the key throws. it felt like to prove a point. I don't know. And he obviously did not. The Chiefs get a ton of credit for that. I also think Daniel Jones tried to gift the Chiefs an interception or two late, and the Chiefs had 3 guys that were all fighting for the football. Fortunately, that ended up not being like the one spot we didn't say, man, they had a chance to win it there. The Chiefs still found a way to get it done. I thought the defensive performance, in particular the second half, but even the first half, you with what your offense did, which was have an interception right there to open up the game and put you in a terrible spot.
Actual points.
That was about as good as you could have asked for. And then Chris Jones, the sack is still not there, but post bye week has been a different player.
His energy level has
in
been
the two games post bye week. Yeah, it's an effort level. He was asked about it in post game yesterday and said, he's his harshest critic, and I think that's fair. And bye week, he went and he watched some more film and found some things that he could be doing better, and he has just been a much better player, and the guys feed off of that too. Like, if you have your best star player, Chris Jones, taking his level up a notch in effort and all that, what does that do for everybody else around you? And I think that's what we've seen happen. And it's been a frustrating year for him, I think, very obviously. It's been a year in which he's been criticized, I think fairly, but he's had to step up, and he's done just that the last 2 weeks.
I would say he was the single biggest catalyst for the stat you just said. The 62.5% of times Jonathan Taylor was hit. They had been goal-to-go situations. They were perfect, obviously. It was mentioned in the broadcast a bunch of times, Gold. The Colts, in every single and goal situation, had scored a touchdown on every single drive. Chris Jones helped break one of those up. He forced Daniel Jones into a miss when a guy was wide open on a 3rd down that eventually forced a field goal. He was awesome. Players don't have to get sacks. What stands out, though, is and this is what's frustrating earlier. I'm telling you, it looks like an effort difference. It doesn't, to me, it just looks like on every snap, he's given 100%. And I don't know if that's just because they didn't have to be on the field as much yesterday.
They were definitely fresh.
Yeah, they were fresh, and they were certainly maybe a little more fresh against Denver. But he's doing his end again. And, weird. The secondary looks a little more competent. They were moving some people around that they hadn't played in the slot before, so they were trying some stuff, and they blitzed a little bit more than they did the week before. I thought, interestingly enough, defensively, they looked their best when it seemed like the Colts had decided, we're going to prove Daniel Jones can beat you. You're like, what the hell are you trying to prove that for? Like, Jonathan Taylor helps you win the game against the Falcons last week. Just win the way you can win. Didn't it feel like to you that at some point they were trying to prove Daniel Jones could win 1-versus-1 against Patrick Mahomes in a game in which they desperately need, I don't know.
Say a couple minutes ago. I agree. Yeah, I felt like there was a little bit of that as well. And this is one of those examples with Chris Jones where if you don't watch the game and all you do is look at a box score, you're going to say, what did he do yesterday? 1 tackle, no sacks. Yeah, this is why you can't just box score it, especially if you're talking about a defensive lineman. He was having an impact on just about every snap, whether it was opening things up for other guys, forcing Daniel Jones to make a quicker decision, forcing Jonathan Taylor to cut back in a different direction, whatever it may be. That's the stuff that doesn't show up in the box score. And that's why it's important. Because I think, you can be very lazy with that and say, he only had 1 tackle. Someone even texted in, Mahomes had as many tackles as Chris Jones. Yeah,
did you watch the game?
You didn't watch the game. I mean, I'm sorry. You didn't. If that's your takeaway about Chris Jones's performance yesterday, he was very, very good.
He disrupted their offense.
No, you're good. I thought it was interesting also how, I don't know if this is just they defended him really well or if the Colts just didn't utilize Tyler Warren. He got maybe 3 targets. He didn't even get 5 targets, I don't think, all game
close
yesterday.
to 50 yards because he had a couple that were a little bit.
He had 2 bigger plays that he had, but I can't think of his name coming up, especially in the second half, very often.
Well, in the second half, five straight 3-and-outs.
Yeah. I mean, it's also an important point for what Drew's talking about, which is that's what's burned them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Their deficiency this year is tight ends kick their ass,
for sure.
And they have one of the best ones. And this just goes back to I'll give you credit when you deserve credit and criticism when it's not the other way. We talk all the time about the coverage issues from Drew Tranquill and Nick Bolton and some of these other guys who we don't think do as good of a job or the safety play when it comes to tight ends. I honestly, because he didn't get called a lot, I'm not sure it was on Tyler Warren all game. But I'll tell you right now, they did a hell of a job. I don't care if it was Bolton, Tranquill, Connor, Cook.
Hicks.
I think Cook was on him a decent amount.
Yeah.
Kudos across the board because y'all did it against Tyler Warren yesterday. And again, that's why they were off. No Jonathan Taylor, no Tyler Warren. Yeah, of course the Colts offense looked uncomfortable. And they didn't even get, Daniel Jones tried to gift wrap him a couple of turnovers. Mm-hmm. They didn't even complete that end of it, or this game could have been
Yeah.
I don't know. It could have been in the Chiefs' favor sooner, so they didn't have to win it in overtime on a field goal. Maybe they could have gotten away a little sooner.
When the game ends, all of a sudden you tell me, like if we talk about this on Friday, going into the game, what you want to make Daniel Jones have to beat you. And the first half he was, right? The first half he was playing great. But he said Jonathan Taylor cannot go off for $150 and 2 touchdowns. If Daniel Jones carves you up for 3 or 4 touchdowns and 300 yards, so be it. The way the first half was going, you're thinking, wow, he might actually do that. He ends up, Daniel Jones does, Cody, 2 touchdowns, 19 to 31 for 181 yards, and he wasn't sacked. That stat line. That's 19 to 31 for 2 touchdowns and a $181. You would normally say that should be good enough for the Colts to win a game in which they only give up 23 points. But that was the key. Jonathan Taylor had 16 carries for 58 yards. I would love to know, if you tell me the rest of the season, if Jonathan, and it won't happen, but if Jonathan Taylor was held under 60 yards by every one of their remaining opponents,
I think they might lose every game.
The Colts could lose every single game.
Yeah, because Daniel Jones is there's still a limitation to his play. There's not, and this goes back to if the Chiefs make the playoffs and the teams that they have to face. Why, if you're still giving me the choice between, do you want the Baltimore Ravens or the Buffalo Bills, even though the Colts have played better, or some of these others, I'm going to choose the Colts first, not just because they beat him now, but because there's still a limitation with Daniel Jones' game in the long run. I will say, this show tried to warn about something on Friday that still came true. We had said on Friday before we got out of here that this was the crew chief and crew in the NFL with the most penalties called in the league going into the game. Did you feel it, Gold? Did you feel the thrill of all the flags? Because they couldn't help it. The game started immediately. Chiefs had 4 or 5 penalties before the first 2 drives were over.
The Chiefs had 7 for 57 on the game. The Colts had 11 for 83. There were 18 penalties called in that.
And there were some that got declined.
Yeah, right. That's
game,
just accepted penalties. Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely more than that. And all the soft penalties. The first roughing the passer call, I'm sorry. That was against Patrick Mahomes. Soft. The face mask call against Juwan Taylor, that was a massive swing in the game at that time. Took 4 points off the board for Kansas City and felt like it had absolutely stabbed them in the gut of momentum.
You're gonna have to help me on the face mask, because I'm in the press box and I see the rundown, and you type in, Andy Reid should have challenged it. Broadcast said so, and Rob Wren was sitting next to me, and Todd Palmer from 41 was there, and we're all like,
what?
You can't challenge it. Since when could you challenge a face mask? And
I was surprised as well.
You can't challenge a face mask. And you're telling me that the broadcast claimed they could. And then whenever that happens, then everybody takes it, of course, as as fact. Like, you never have been able to challenge a face mask ever in the NFL's history.
And so, in fairness, I wrote in the rundown, they said Andy should challenge it. So Mike Pereira, not just Jim and Tony.
It would have been CBS broadcast.
That was the fact that made, I think, everybody freak out about it.
Gene Steratore like, Andy can challenge this. He should challenge this. I mean, he pretty much straight up said it.
What made them think that?
They came back from commercial break, and he's like, it's reviewable, not challenged.
So from New York.
So New York could have looked at it and said, that ain't a face mask, just take it off.
Okay.
Now, that obviously didn't happen as well, and seems like a low case, and it is still technically touches face mask, so maybe not going to do it. I don't think they ever looked to review it. They just accepted that Juwan Taylor probably committed another penalty. And I'll be honest, last player is going to get any kind of benefit of the doubt when it comes to penalties.
Whenever he gets penalized, it's always in the biggest moments.
Yes,
it really is, though.
God, it was brutal.
Yeah.
So they were trying to, on the broadcast, make it seem like it was a challengeable play from Andy. It's not. It is reviewable by New York. They could say...
Because it was a scoring play.
Yeah, similar as in the Dally-Philly game, they can look at whether his fingertips touch on the punt.
And as we learned earlier this year, apparently on intentional grounding, they cannot.
So look, this is probably just Steratore's problem versus anything else. The rules are confusing, and it doesn't make a lot of sense. And yeah, I thought that was another bad call of a series of bad calls and way too much refereeing in a game that needed 50% less of it. Someone's got to talk to that crew and be like, hey, y'all got to throw less flags.
Looked like...
This is crazy.
They looked like a rookie crew. And on both sides, again, this was not just, the Chiefs were not getting the benefit of a certain call. No, the Colts got screwed on some. I thought the Chiefs got screwed on a couple.
Oh, the Travis Kelce pass interference?
as well. They looked like a crew that just was a rookie crew that was, what were they? They were in the USFL or something before. They looked like that. They looked like, wow, this is the NFL. It's a big game.
We throw flags here, right?
And we don't know necessarily how all the NFL game day operation stuff goes. It looked exactly like the type of crew that you wanted. If you were someone that wanted to buy into the weird stuff. What's that?
Someone's claiming that Gene just said it was reviewable, and then Romo took it that Andy could challenge it. I don't know. They were all talking about it being challengeable and all this other stuff. When they came back, they made it very clear.
No coach has ever been able to challenge a face mask.
Not that I was aware of.
No, I mean, dude, we've all watched. Everybody listening, we've all watched football. You can't challenge a face mask. Also, I don't want that to be. I'll be honest. We have said this, about certain things. As much as you want to get the call right, I don't want the game getting bogged down in every. Imagine if every holding call you could review, or every. That'd be awful. That'd be terrible.
And this is sometimes maybe you're just too close to it. I did not enjoy the broadcast yesterday. Tony Romo was not. I mean, it's just it was
Guess
not.
What? You get him one more time on Thursday.
He was not on his A game. Steratore didn't help in that thing. I can't take one more score break. Jim, Tony, heading out to Philly. I can't take one more of those.
What is this?
That's what Adam Shine sounds like.
What is that?
Terrible.
What was that?
That's how he sounds, like Harry Carey talking about the moon and cheese.
I don't know, Jim.
Can't take it. No, he always, every time they get ready to go, Jim, Tony, gonna go.
Oh, you're talking about Adam Shine.
Yes. He does that every time when they go to
sports.
those score breaks. I can't take any more. I just didn't enjoy the broadcast yesterday. I was over it. The Chiefs weren't playing well, so it's probably just bothering you more.
I'm telling you, I'm getting ready to jump through a table.
Let's go.
It's just
that's him.
Chris Jones also needs to realize.
This will be their fourth game with Nance and Romo in a row, which I can understand. Not to say it because Jim Nance obviously is great, and Tony Romo previously has been good in the earlier part of his broadcasting career. But I think it's also just the fact that you feel, Cody, it's been the same crew for 3 straight weeks. It's just getting old.
Listen to the broadcast
that
on
might be it.
96.5 The Fan. This is sometime, Cody, what? Come join me in the press box the next time he's on the call, and then you don't have to listen to that crap.
Maybe I was just you
don't have to listen to the CBS
in the mood
call
for it. I just didn't want it was the whole broadcast. I'm like, all right, I'm out. They can't get these calls right. There were too many flags, and the Chiefs. I don't because I've watched more Chiefs games and on Red Zone, you don't run into this. But I've watched Sunday night, Monday night, Thursday night football. The Chiefs games must lead the league in times ref spent sitting around powwowing in a circle about whether something's a call or not. I can't take it.
I think it's happening all across the league.
Yeah, just too much.
It's happening all across the league. Far too much, and we'll see on we'll see on Thursday, as you said, with Nance and Romo again, which will be the most watched regular season game in NFL history.
Yeah, most likely. I mean, I'll be watching, and so will you, and I bet Drew will be too. So,
up next, let's talk about how, on one hand, you look at the Chiefs' performance, and you're very, very encouraged. On the other hand, you're like, how did it get to this point? We'll explain what the Chiefs were able to do against the Colts, and how do we now feel about the Cowboys, who had a come-from-behind win against the Eagles yesterday.
What's up, Kansas City? This is Bobby Witt Jr., and you're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays starting at 10 on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
BetMGM is coming soon to Missouri. Sports fans in Missouri can pre-register and get up to $1,500 paid back in bonus bets if their first bet loses, plus an additional $100 in bonus bets if they deposit before December 1st. Enjoy a betting app that was designed for game day with features like live bets, same-game parlays, BetMGM rewards points, and surprise boosts dropping in your account all throughout the season. It's everything a sports fan could want in one app. BetMGM is coming to Missouri on December 1st. Pre-register today. BetMGM, make it legendary. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 and older only. Missouri only. New customer offers subject to eligibility requirements and minimum deposit of $10. Bonus bets are non-withdrawable and expire in 7 days. Please gamble responsibly. Pending BetMGM's licensure as a mobile sports wagering operator with the Missouri Gambling Commission register for a Missouri online sport wagering account starting 11/17. BetMGM's insurance of welcome offer is conditional on full.
More than a few of our patients have talked to me about their first time, but it's not the first time you're probably thinking about. It's the first time that erectile dysfunction ruined the moment. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're over 50, it's likely that you've had that first time yourself. But the good news is that if you're like most men, that first time can be the last time that ED impacts your sex life. At Heartland Men's Health, we're experts in treating ED. We've treated tens of thousands of men using protocols with success rates well over 90%. And those treatments have, in most cases, made sex great again for both them and their partners. You could even find that you're performing like you haven't in years. So if ED has been affecting your intimacy, it's time to make the last time that happens the last time that happens. For just $99, you'll receive blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600. That's 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
I'm McCall from Lee Summit Subaru, and we're committed to helping our community through the Subaru Love Promise, like our commitment to Hillcrest Transitional Housing to help solve homelessness. Lee Summit Subaru also sponsors several pet adoption clinics like Midwest Animal Rescue and events each year, such as Dogtoberfest. It's all part of the Subaru Love Promise, and we're committed to helping our community fall in love with driving again at Lee Summit Subaru. LeeSummitSubaru.com.
Hi, I'm Sam Silvio with M. Shamus Brazilian Grill in the village of Burlington Creek. Holidays will be here before you know it, and M. Shamus is ready to get a jingle from you. From our all-you-can-eat hot and cold gourmet salad bar to our 12 cuts of beef, lamb, pork, or chicken. Go to mshamus.com to order our famous Brazilian glazed holiday hams in advance or set a holiday party date for a table of 1 to a party of 100. Go to mshamus.com and discover the joy of dining.
This is Dana Hughes. In Kansas City football, we honor tradition, but we always look forward to what's next. That's why I'm all in for Flight by Yingling. It's brewed by the oldest brewery in America, but built for today. 2.6 carbs, 95 calories, crisp, clean, and full of flavor, just the way a light beer should be. It's got the legacy and the stats to back it up. Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer and the official beer of Dana Hughes. B.G. Yingling and Son, Pottsville, Pennsylvania.
Oh, hey, welcome to gift wrapping. Whoa, Zoe Saldana.
Hey, can you wrap these, please?
Wow, iPhone 17s. You splurged.
At T-Mobile, you can get 4 iPhone 17s on them. The new center stage front camera is amazing for group selfies. It's the perfect gift for everyone.
I'm the worst. I only got my mom a robe.
Well, it's better than socks.
So I have to trade in my old phone, right?
No, at T-Mobile, there's no trade-ins needed when you switch. Keep your old phone or give it as a gift.
Incredible.
In fact, wrap up my old phone too. For my Aunt Rosa. Forget that. Aunt Liz will be jealous.
Sounds like my family. Drama.
Oh, I got it. I'll give it to my abuela. I'll take reindeer paper with, hey, where are you going?
To T-Mobile.
The holidays are better at T-Mobile. Get 4 iPhone 17s on us. No trade-in needed when you switch. Plus 4 lines for just $25 a line.
With 24 monthly bill credits and 4 eligible board-ins on essentials for well-qualified customers. Auto pay plus taxes, fees, and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. Finance agreement 256 gigabytes, $830 required. Visit T-Mobile.com.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS like Joe?
I started a woodworking business. I was able to build beautiful furniture, but had no handle on the business side of things, so quickly fell behind in my taxes. 1 year of being behind in taxes quickly turned into 5 years. I ended up owing almost $37,000.
Then Joe found tax relief advocates.
I would hear ads for tax relief advocates. One day it just clicked. This is my exact situation that I'm in. So I wrote down the number and called from the car when I got home that day. TRA saved me 99% of what I owed the IRS, and that brought a huge sense of relief.
If you owe 10 or even hundreds of thousands of dollars to the IRS, don't lose hope. Do what Joe did and called TRA for a consultation.
I'm really happy that I made that call. and I finally felt like I could breathe again.
Visit TRA.com or call 800-513-5321. 800-513-5321. That's 800-513-5321.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
What's up, Kansas City? It's Nick Bolton. Tune in on game days to hear the play-by-play with Mitch, Danon, and Clean on your home for Chiefs football, 96.5 The Fan.
KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
11 o'clock hour here on a Monday in KC. Chiefs get the win, of course, over the Colts. Yeah, season still alive. 6-5. Cowboys coming up on Thanksgiving in Dallas. 3:30, 3:25, whatever it is, kick on Thanksgiving. You're going to have to be a little more locked in than you normally would be. You know, the tryptophan can't knock you out, man. Can't knock you out on that. You got to stay up. You got to make sure you're not taking a nap at 4 o'clock in the afternoon or something like that.
Did you personally throw one more Hail Mary? Because I know you wanted to eat at a different time.
Yeah, I did.
And you couldn't convince the family to not do it during the Chiefs game. Did you make one more last-ditch effort knowing that the game is now even more important than it felt a few days ago?
I did try, but I'm just one of many, and I'm not the one cooking.
You're a team player?
I'm not the one cooking. It's over at one of my sisters and brother-in-law's house is where we're doing it, and so my opinion on this matter doesn't carry much weight.
Was anyone on your side, just out of curiosity? Did you have one other partner?
I haven't. I guess I never really. I bet you.
You didn't poll the room?
My guess is my brother-in-laws would have agreed. My thought again was normally you have to understand. Normally we would eat at like 4 o'clock. That's just for whatever reason. That's always been the time. And part of that is because my other sister, my twin sister, her husband's family, so her in-laws, they do something like at 11 o'clock. So she's going over there at 11. So there's no way we could just bump everything earlier because we don't want to mess up their stuff either. So then you're trying to find the happy medium. And I suggested, I told you 6:30 or 7. And I was told that's too late. So, all right. I would have loved that, Cody.
Tough, man.
You know, it'll be all right. We will talk about the Cowboys here in about 6 or 7 minutes. I am still curious, and we can talk. I'm curious, what are you guys doing for Thanksgiving, in particular around the game? How are you working that out? Drew, Cody, and then, of course, the text line, 913-586-7965. But back to the Colts and Chiefs for a second here, because on one hand, you leave the game and just find a way to win, right? That's all that matters at this point. It really is. And then you look at some of the numbers out of this one. I think a Colts fan can make the same argument in reverse. But on one hand, I look at the numbers, I'm like, the Chiefs, in a weird way, dominated at the same time as they also needed an overtime win. It's weird. They were down 20-9, and I actually think, certainly with the second half, you could argue the Chiefs, with the way the defense was playing with 5 straight 3-and-outs, the Chiefs should have won and easily covered, and they didn't. They only won by 3. They didn't even cover. It's weird that basically the Chiefs had 240 more total yards. The Chiefs racked up 33 first downs. The Colts had 10.
The most, Chiefs, by the way, in a game this season by any team in the NFL, the 33, worth noting.
The Chiefs were 2 for 2 on 4th downs, so they extended drives. The Colts punted 6 times. The Chiefs only punted 3 times. And then on the flip side, the Colts won the turnover margin. The Colts didn't give up a sack. And so I can make a case, I think, if I was in Indianapolis today and say, hey, all this went perfectly and we still didn't win. And then on the Chiefs side, I can say, how did the Chiefs not win by 10 points?
Is it okay? Is it an acceptable stance to both like the offense and hate it simultaneously? Because, I think that this is my confusion over the Chiefs offense. All of their problems seem to start and end with RPOs. So, the near pick 6, I know it wasn't a pick 6, but it might as well have been. You put them on the 5-yard line, setting them up for an instant touchdown. So the interception seemed like it came from the predictability. The shotgun run versus going under center in the red zone seemed to be the problem. And look, just the red zone offense in general might just be the part of the offense I hate because they move the ball. And they've moved the ball all year. Points per drive, drives it in scoring, all this stuff that point to the Chiefs should be a significantly better offense than they are on paper from a points perspective. And they're still not bad from a points perspective. Going into the game, they were top 10.
I was going to say, isn't this the story of the season? I mean, hasn't that kind of been the thing?
In a lot of ways, yes. But in this game, because they stuck to the run, because they got first downs, because they moved the ball. They're 9th, by the way, in points per game offensively. This felt like a game in which, other than the couple of games where they actually had it, right? Washington or whatever. This is the closest I felt to maybe them actually having it. Rice was involved. Kelsey was involved. Worthy had a big play, And they seemed like they moved the ball with relative ease against the Colts for the entire game. I still think they have to borderline eliminate RPOs from their offense.
Well, that's not happening.
I understand that.
And nor should it, but it certainly has become predictable.
It is like that is the part of the offense and the red zone in which is there something you can do in the red zone that allows you to be a team that people don't know what you're going to do. Because it seems like half of the plays are Patrick Mahomes scrambling outside and having to throw it away. The other are shotgun runs in the red zone. Like, the red zone is where I feel like my issues lie, not the rest of it. All those other stats, the yardage you point out in the fourth quarter, all that stuff, that makes sense.
And I know they were going up against a very good defense, and we know the history with Lou Anarumo. In particular, were times in the first half they were dropping 8 in coverage, and Mahomes could not figure that out.
Same thing they did in that AFC Championship.
Yeah, and Mahomes could not figure that out. It led to some overthrows. It led to him missing some guys open in the flat. And then when the Colts were in man-to-man coverage, I felt like there were guys that were struggling to get open. It was a combination of both, and that's what led to Daniel Jones outplaying Patrick Mahomes in the first half of that football game. But some of this stuff, like the red zone issues, this has been an ongoing thing. The first and goal at the 2 out of shotgun and settling for a field goal, that we've mentioned that 3 or 4 times this year. I mean, there was a lot of similarities in the first half to the Bills game. If we're being honest about how the game script was going, right before half, they had the decision to make again. Were they going to go for it, or were they going to kick the field goal? They kicked the field goal yet again and took the points, and they got the ball to start the second half. And yet again, they did not do anything with their first possession right out of half, if I'm not mistaken.
They got to run the no. They went 3 and out.
Yeah, same thing as the Bills game.
They got to run the ball under center more. Those are things that we still know. It's so hard because even like last year, they kept trying to tell us, oh, the offense is really close. The offense is really close. I'm like, BS. We don't believe you. It wasn't close, and at no point did it look close until the playoffs, where maybe finally they got a few things rolling. This year, like they scored on 6 drives and had a red zone turnover in the other. So like they had 7 potential drives where they were going to put points on the board. Normally that's fine. Like, why aren't you getting in the end zone more? So I guess a lot of this is diagnosing why aren't they a good team in the red zone? And one of them is, I still think one of them is still the cutesy stuff. Like, not being able to get the ball in to win the game.
2-yard line.
That would have won the game. You didn't have to go to overtime. You could have won the game if you could have just gotten the ball in the end zone for a touchdown inside the 2-yard line, and they failed on 3 straight plays. And honestly, had they stayed at the 2, not lost yards when he got sacked on the final play, I mean, I would have been maybe tempted to go for it on 4th. I'd have probably kicked the field goal. I asked the question.
Tie the game.
I said maybe tempted.
Yeah.
But because he got sacked, it's like, I don't know if they need to run more in the red zone or they need to utilize different bodies or go bigger sets. But I would spend every waking minute of the 10 days after this game, obviously, where they can't make huge changes because of the short week, trying to figure out how we could be better in that spot, because that is clearly their issue. Their issue is not moving the football or having weapons.
In the passing game, other than what we mentioned with Mahomes, I didn't think saw the field all that well yesterday. Xavier Worthy, I think it's clear now, and he is trying to play through it. And Mahomes kind of hinted at this in postgame. And Worthy did speak to the media and some of that stuff on our social media from the locker room. He's clearly just trying to play through 3 different injuries right now and is not his normal self. That's not me making an excuse. I just think it's very evident. You guys watch the game. He's going to the sideline, slamming his helmet down and getting looked at the trainers after not every possession, but multiple possessions. He's got like an ankle and a foot, plus he's got the dislocated shoulder. He's, you wonder why the production has gone down. He's playing, I don't know if 70% is correct or what, but he's clearly not playing anywhere near 100. Nobody is, but he in particular, Cody, I think he's dealing with 3 different injuries right now. And so that has really hurt his explosiveness and how effective. Now, he came up with one of the biggest catches of the game still on that 3rd down in overtime. It was a great catch. I didn't think it was actually a great throw. That was a great catch from Xavier Worthy there in OT.
It was. And look, they had multiple it was nice. Like the second half of the offense when they had the mid-range game. Oh, that's what I've been missing all year.
Yeah, intermediate, crossing routes, all of it. Yep.
Yeah, people, and like Tony Romo, he had pointed out on the broadcast, and this is one of the complaints he'd had about Mahomes was that they were getting too clogged up in the middle. And because of that, these guys were like running similar routes, and it was causing some issues offensively. And I don't necessarily think that that's wrong, but it was like but they need that middle game in order to make this work. They spent too much time the previous weeks like working on the outside, and as much as they do have speed, it didn't seem like it was working offensively. It's just so weird with their offense. I both like and dislike the things they do, but I can't deny that they can move the football, especially. And look, to their credit, Mahomes, who has not been the same quarterback this year, he's better than last year, I think, in fairness. He just still doesn't look like 4 years ago Mahomes yet.
Yeah, that's more than fair.
In a do or die, gotta have it, desperation, back against the wall, he started dealing. He started hitting everything and every player, and the offense hummed. So it's still in there. And look, he doesn't look like the way Stafford's rolling right now.
Stafford's going to be the MVP this year.
They're the best team in the league.
Yeah, the Rams were awesome last night, and they've been awesome for 6 straight games. And yeah, it's kind of ridiculous the efficiency and the unpredictable nature that Sean McVay has that offense running with right now.
They're on a heater. They're calling like phony fake screens and then back screens to third tight ends right now. Like, it doesn't matter what they're doing. It's all hitting. They're just kind of in their bag and they're feeling good. But Patrick Mahomes is still on pace to have more passing touchdowns this year, more yards this year, similar number of interceptions this year. It's going to look a lot like last year's statistically. It's not going to be significantly more than some of those numbers because last year he had 245 yards a game. This year he's having 270. So there is an increase.
There's probably a lot of reasons that built into it. Some of it you could still say is lack of trust in O-line or not trusting receivers, et cetera. The ability in particular in the flat sometimes, and if it's not a route down the field, to see the open receiver. Now, I'll still, people can disagree all they want. I still think there were multiple times yesterday where in man coverage, the Chiefs had nobody getting open. I think both can be true. I think there were multiple times when the Colts went to man coverage, the Chiefs did not have Hollywood Brown winning in one-on-one or Xavier Worthy winning one-on-one. There were also times yesterday where guys were open in the flat and open in the middle of the field, and he was gun shy or didn't see the field well. I don't know the reason for that. I think all that can be true, and that's what's happened. Now they're going to get ready to take on a Cowboys team that is playing their best football of the season. So this is the dream matchup for CBS on Thanksgiving. You got to come from behind victory for the Cowboys against their division rival in Philly. They were down 21-0. I think it was tied for the second largest comeback or the largest comeback in Cowboys history. It's one of the biggest collapses for the Eagles in their franchise's history. You got the Chiefs coming off an overtime win. It all comes together for a 3:30 kick on Thanksgiving. So they're loving it. The Cowboys, what has changed for them is on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, they were the worst defense in football the first 8 weeks.
Other than the Bengals.
Yeah.
But yes, probably one of the worst.
It was terrible. They go and trade for Quinnen Williams, and he, for 2 weeks now, it's 2 games is all it is, but 2 games, he is causing problems for every offensive line they have faced so far. 15 pressures in 6 days, because the way they're scheduled. 15 pressures in 6 days for Quinnen Williams. Career high 8 pressures against the Eagles on 30 pass rushers for a 26% rate. Since joining the Cowboys, he has more quarterback pressures than any other defensive tackle, the second lowest average time to pressure. He's been as dominant as anybody in football in the interior since he got traded.
And the Chiefs are going to be without Trey Smith.
Yep.
Most likely, the reports from Ian Rappaport earlier today are he's suffering from both a high and low ankle sprain and is likely to miss time, including this game on Thursday. Look, the Cowboys are not an easy out. Covering George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb alone is kind of a nightmare situation for pretty much any cornerback set. Plus, they're pretty good with Jake Ferguson, and although the Chiefs are coming off a good game in which they held Tyler Warren, that's another guy they got to figure out how to cover while covering the tight ends. This game is going to be a fight. Like, I think down to the wire, like the defense is going to have to do some of the things they just did against Indianapolis, or they're going to need to find a way to get a turnover because Dallas is a scary team. And honestly, they might be the NFC's version of the Chiefs. Nothing has seemed quite right, but nothing has been quite off. They have an offense, but sometimes it doesn't perform to its level. They still only scored 24 points in that game yesterday, despite the fact Dak went for... Does it sound familiar? Chiefs, Cowboys only got to 24 points, despite their quarterback throwing for 350 and running the ball successfully and trailing late in the game. They're just like the NFC Chiefs this year. The only difference is that they don't have to travel this week. So, like, I think this game is going to come down
That's
to
a big advantage for the Cowboys.
Who shows up last minute in the biggest moment.
Yeah, it's a big advantage. You wonder why. We were looking it up, with Dak Prescott. Maybe the record's not all that impressive on Thanksgiving, but in general, the Cowboys on Thanksgiving, they've got a pretty good track record. They're the home team. Their opponent is coming on a short week. The Chiefs are coming off of an overtime win. We just discussed in the first hour, Kareem Hunt is very much beat up after that game. We'll find out everybody's availability over the next couple days. Trey Smith looks like he'll be unavailable. So this is a team where nobody's really healthy heading in. And the Cowboys, I think they have a few injuries as well, so we'll see where they're at. But there's... I know Drew on Tuesday and Wednesday, Drew and JT and then Mac on Friday, and everybody will be talking the rest of the week about it. But the Cowboys offensively, the Chiefs just faced an offense that might be the number one. Weapon-wise, the Cowboys are a matchup just mess. George Pickens is playing on another level. CeeDee Lamb, while he had a bunch of drops yesterday, we all know what he's capable of. Their tight end's not too bad there, and Jake Ferguson. They got a running back in Javonte Williams who's playing really well. This is going to be a much tougher game than I think we all thought it was going to be 3 weeks ago, because in large part because the Cowboys are playing a lot better football defensively, but still their offense was never the problem for Dallas. It was always more their defense. If their defense has actually figured something out, then yeah, this is going to be a dogfight on Thanksgiving.
I think largely because the team has struggled and it hasn't been the same. I probably on aggregate have been a little harder on the defense than it's deserved, just based on what they've done against the league's top offenses. They have now faced the league's number 1, 2, 5, and 10 ranked offenses in the NFL. Baltimore is the number 10 ranked offense. And again, I remind you, they were healthy at the time they faced Kansas City. Lamar Jackson played 3.5 quarters. Indianapolis, we saw what they just did against them. Detroit, they did a really nice job against Detroit. And that's another weapon-loaded offense, right? Amon-Ra, Jahmyr Gibbs. I mean, that's a team that can just attack you from a million places. Held Buffalo below their season average. So, against the league's top offenses, they've actually done okay. Dallas, by the way, the number 4 offense in the league, as it sits right now, will be another challenge. My guess is that this is coming down to the final drive in the fourth quarter. Whether the Chiefs are on defense or on offense, can they get a score? Can they stop the team from scoring? That this is going to be on Thursday. My assumption is this will be the final possession of the game kind of decider. You guys think it's going to be the other way around? Because I'm having a hard time seeing it not that way.
Most NFL games do actually come down to the final possession or two, so that's probably right. I would say the question is, look, the Cowboys did not score a point in the first half. Isn't that right? They were down 21-0 against the Eagles. Now, the Eagles' defense is awesome, but they woke up in the second half, and then they shut out the Eagles in the second half. So I don't want to suddenly act like the Dallas Cowboys are a 9-1 football team or something. They're playing their best football, though. That's what makes them scary. They got the advantage on the short week with the home game and everything. But they're also capable still of just putting together a clunker-type performance. I mean, it was not that many weeks ago where they did. I think the difference, though, is Quinnen Williams for them defensively. So we'll see. Does Dak have all day? Because if Dak has all day, it's different. Blitzing Dak Prescott is different than blitzing Daniel Jones. So with the weapons that he has and how they approach it. So it's going to be, I think a much tougher game than we realize. The Chiefs, if you're wondering, 3.5-point favorites, just like they were against the Colts. The Chiefs won against the Colts, did not cover the 3.5. They won by 3. The Chiefs
15-0 though.
3. Teams in that spot. Yeah, that trend continues. That's true.
Is the sun going to be shining in people's eyes during that game too?
I don't know what the weather is like in Dallas. If it's going to be cloudy or what. I'm not sure.
Hard to say.
Trash of the day.
I'm curious how many Chiefs fans will make the trip. If that was one. It's Thanksgiving, though, so you would think that'll knock down a little bit of the visiting crowd. But we'll see how much red will be in the stand.
Let's do weird Thanksgiving this year.
Yeah.
Because how often do you get to go to Dallas for a Thanksgiving football game,
I agree. All right, trash of the day. This is a bizarre one from Bangkok, Thailand, all right?
Okay.
So a woman in Thailand shocked people when it turns out maybe she wasn't dead. Let me explain. Yeah.
What now?
A Buddhist temple on the outskirts of Bangkok posted a video on its Facebook page showing a woman lying in a white coffin in the back of a pickup truck, slightly moving her arms and head. The temple's general and financial affairs manager told the AP on Monday the 65-year-old woman's brother drove her from the province of, I can't pronounce it, to be cremated. So he then, at the facility, heard a faint knock coming from inside the coffin.
It sounds like a horror movie.
Quote, I was a bit surprised, so I asked him to open the coffin. Everyone was startled. I saw her opening her eyes slightly and knocking on the side of the coffin. She must have been knocking for quite some time. Now, we have had stories like this before, and I do feel like for whatever reason they happen, like none of these stories ever happen in the United States. These are always stories in like smaller villages or towns or country. It's kind of bizarre. According to this article, the brother said his sister had been bedridden for 2 years, so was never in good health. When her health deteriorated, she became unresponsive, appearing to stop breathing 2 days ago. The brother placed her in a coffin. So he didn't call, he just placed her in a coffin, made a 300-mile journey to a hospital.
She was in the back of a car? Oh, my God.
To which
this is the worst.
To which the woman had previously expressed a wish to donate her organs. The hospital refused to accept the brother's offer. He didn't have a death certificate. So they said, no. The temple offered, the reason why he took her to a Buddhist temple, they offer a free cremation service, which is why the brother approached them on Sunday. They also refused because he still did not have the death certificate. The Temple manager said while he was explaining how to get a death certificate, that's when they heard a little. Yeah.
Okay, look. This is worst case scenario.
Yep.
You had to drive 300 miles in the coffin where your brother's trying to get you cremated and you weren't dead.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the other problem is that, like, I feel like if I worked at a cremation place, that would just be like, I'd just be thinking it was in my head. I'd be like, man, I've been working around bodies too long. What are the odds that that's an actual person knocking? I'm just hearing the stuff in my head because the panic over cremating someone who doesn't deserve to be cremated. I guess that's why you get the death certificate, because otherwise it'd be like, I mean, I can't believe the Buddhist guy didn't just like push it in there and turn on the heat. She's lucky she didn't get cremated.
No, I don't know if she might be alive, but it sounds she's been bedridden for 2 years. I mean, this woman may not, still might
Temple
be
says
in
they'll cover the rest of her
terrible,
medical expenses, so,
terrible
that's nice.
health or whatever. But the knock from inside the coffin. You were about to. This was his sister, right? He's about to kill his sister. That's what was about to happen.
I just like.
She had been bedridden for 2 years, and this guy's like, all right, let's drive 300 miles. Let's get her out of here.
There's just no worse way to die.
Man.
That kind of thing. Buried alive.
Oh.
Cremated alive. I mean, there's just
You're barely conscious in your inside. You realize you're inside of a coffin. And you're literally feet away from being burned alive. So this is why couldn't she push the coffin door open?
Well, so
she's
bedridden
bedridden.
for
She's
2
very
years.
weak. She's not in good health. She has no strength.
He thought she was dead.
She barely could knock on the coffin.
I mean, I got to be honest, though. Like, that's not how this works. Gold, if someone around you can't just, like, check the pulse and be like, well, they're dead. And then I'll just bury him, I guess. Now, that's not how any of this
It's
works.
different in Thailand, in this province.
Well, clearly not. They both kept telling
300
him, go get a
miles.
bet.
Well, he was from
Yep.
a small, it sounds like a small village or something. And so she was in the back of this vehicle for 300 miles, still alive. Huh.
I mean, genuinely, the stuff.
I think this guy was just about done, is what I think actually happened. I think the brother was like, nah, we're done.
He was tired of taking care of his sister?
I think that's what happened.
Dang.
I think that's what happened here.
And he thought they'd just take her because
That's
she
what
wasn't moving enough?
That's what I think happened.
At least it says the monks are going to take care of it. It said they'll handle all medical expenses.
Well, good for them.
Maybe get her back to health. You know? Maybe she doesn't have to be bedridden and he just hasn't been taking very good
I'd say
care of her.
interesting. My sophomore year in college, so I was in an apartment, but it was on campus, and so I had 4 roommates, and one of the roommates was already there before we got there, like in August, and it turns out he was from he was a monk.
Oh,
that was on camp. That was quite the experience for the first semester.
First semester of college and a month?
Not first semester of college.
Yeah.
First semester of sophomore year.
Yeah.
And one of our roommates random we had never. I mean, he was already there. They must have arrived on campus way earlier. We had no idea. Just all of a sudden, there was a monk.
Was he nice?
I'll be honest. We barely could talk to him. It was a huge cultural and language barrier that we ran into. We tried to. It was an interesting experience.
I would have done whatever I could to convince that monk to shotgun one beer. I would have just done whatever it took to make it be like, come on,
No,
man.
they took everything very seriously, Cody.
Come on, loosen up.
Very seriously. There was no oh, the end of the day's over. No, they were. That was their life. That was everything to them. It was a very interesting experience for 3 or 4 months.
We got to get to a break, but it's a good question from the text I'm familiar with. Where did this guy get a coffin?
He probably just built it.
Can you just pick
probably
one?
just built it.
Built it?
He probably just built it. Yeah. Anyway, that's the trash of the day. Up next, Chiefs Run Half Hour, special time with Vinny Pasquantino. Normally on a Tuesday, but obviously with the holiday, our schedule moved around a bit. So we'll talk some football with Vinny next.
This is Wyatt Thompson, and you're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays 10 to 2, right here on your home for K-State Athletics, 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
This Thanksgiving, FanDuel is introducing a brand new way to build a parlay together. It's called Pass the Leg. So here's how it's going to work. You start a group build, add your pick, and then you pass it to your friends so they can add theirs. When everybody's done, you each lock in the group parlay with your own funds because football is better when it's played and bet together. And to make it even better, everybody gets a 50% profit boost to use on their build. So you grab your crew, you start your build, you get in on the action this Thanksgiving with Pass the Leg. Visit FanDuel.com/Alex to get started. FanDuel, play your game, an official partner of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
Hey, Chiefs fans, Crown Royal is the official whiskey of the Kansas City Chiefs. And this season, it's not game day without the generous spirit of Crown Royal. Whether you're at the tailgate, in the stands, or watching from home, Crown Royal is the reason and the reward for coming together. Grab a glass with the Crown Royal rig at a stadium near you, because we'll be sharing the generous spirit with fans across the country. Crown Royal, fueling game day with a generous spirit. Visit www.crownroyal.com/Royal Rig for more on the Crown Royal Rig Tour. Please drink responsibly.
This is Kevin Harlan, and the Black Friday sales event is on right now at Rob's Site Ford, but not for long. Hey, Rob, what's cooking this week?
Kevin, we're serving up 0% for 66 months on most new Ford models. F-150s, Escapes, Explorers, Transits, you name it.
That is a full spread of savings, unlike your mashed potatoes last year, which needed a carving knife.
Okay, brisket man, but hey, these deals, certified fresh and only here for 1 week.
You heard the man. Black Friday savings all week, and once they're gone, they're gone. Plus, Kansas City's only top-rated Ford dealer on Google. 4.8 stars, nearly 3,000 reviews. Voted best car dealership in Kansas City by Kansas City Magazine.
At Rob's Site Ford, we keep it simple. Non-commissioned sales team, top trade-in values, and the lowest prices in Kansas City.
135th and State Line or robsite.com.
If you want simple, upfront, and easy, there's only one R that matters. Rob Site Ford. Rob Site Ford. Buy right with Rob Site.
And maybe leave the mashed potatoes to someone else this year.
Hey, Zach. Are you smiling at my gorgeous canyon view?
No, Donald. I'm smiling because I've got something I want to tell the whole world.
Well, do it. Shout it out.
T-Mobile's got home internet.
Whoa, I love that echo. T-Mobile's got home internet.
How much is it?
Look at that, Zach. We got the neighbor's attention.
Just $35 a month. And you love a great deal, Denise.
Plus, they've got a 5-year price guarantee. That's 5 whole trips around the sun.
I'm switching. Me too.
Yes, T-Mobile home internet for the neighborhood.
Donald, you still haven't returned my weed whacker.
Carl, don't you embarrass me like this, please.
What's everyone yelling about?
T-Mobile's got home internet.
And Donald's got my weed whacker.
Yes, T-Mobile's got home internet. Just $35 a month with auto pay and any voice line. And it's guaranteed for 5 years.
Beautiful yodeling, Carl.
Taxes and fees apply. See T-Mobile.com/ISP for details and exclusions.
Hellsberg gifts checked off the list. Now, time for wrapping. Earrings for mom. A gold bracelet to match the rings Danielle wears every day. And for dad, a new watch, because we all know he needs one. All right, this is going to be a good one.
Our favorite things for your favorite people. Shop our Black Friday event for up to 65% off in-store or at hellsberg.com.
You can always count on Thanksgiving football with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus.
Oh, what a catch! Touchdown!
And this year's main course is in Big D when the Cowboys host the Chiefs. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today.
Snakes, zombies, public speaking. The list of fears is endless. But the real danger is in your hand when you're behind the wheel. Distracted driving is what's really scary and even deadly. Eyes forward, don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Never have I ever called my sister from the finish line of my first marathon.
Hello?
You won't believe where I am.
Are you running?
Mile 26. I'm gonna make it.
Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e with its advanced camera system on us. Plus, 2 lines for just $30 a line.
Guys, I can't believe it.
I knew you could do it, babe.
That was amazing. Mom, how do you feel? I feel great. I can't feel my feet. Let's take a picture. And then you may carry me to the car.
Share every stride, every mile, every memory on America's best network. Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e on us and 2 lines for just $30 a line.
With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 eligible port-ins on Essentials 55 Plus for well-qualified customers with autopay plus taxes, fees, and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. Finance agreement 128 gigabytes, $599.99 required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence Data 1H 2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
At Audion Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing mean affordable for everyone. This Black Friday, enjoy exclusive savings on our high-quality rechargeable hearing aids. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and shop Black Friday deals before they're gone at audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Stuck in a job that just isn't getting it done? Maybe it's time to go for IT. Whether you're just starting out, switching careers, or a military veteran ready for change, My Computer Career can help you launch a rewarding career in IT in months. No prior experience needed. Why spend years getting a traditional degree when your future in IT can start right now? Take the free career evaluation at mycomputercareer.edu today. Your most powerful upgrade? Your career. Go for it. Go for IT. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Brought to you by Gomers. 5 locations in the KC Metro or online at gomers.com.
It's holiday cheers time, and Gomers Fine Wines and Liquors is here for it. With 5 locations, a wide selection, great prices, and friendly service. Gomers Fine Wines and Liquors. Family owned and KC proud since 1969.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this. Welcome in to the Chiefs Red Half Hour. Every day at 11:30 with Cody and Gold on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Chiefs Red Half Hour brought to you by All Weather Decks. Check them out at allweatherDecks.net, Kansas City's most respected deck builder.
We're going to be joined by our VNFL insider, Vinny Pasquantino, in a couple of minutes here. He joins us typically on Tuesdays around 10:30, but it's a holiday week, so we shifted some stuff around, so we appreciate Vinny working with us on that. We'll talk some NFL and who knows, whatever else as well in the world with one Vinny Pasquantino.
We'll find out if he's getting an extension this offseason.
I want to ask him too, like, how often is he paying attention to? Is he locked into all the, like, there was a big baseball trade yesterday that happened.
Oh yeah.
How much is he just like paying attention? Is he waiting and keeping an eye on the Jeff Passan tweets of the world, as well? So we'll ask him about that in just a bit.
Yeah, I am always curious, Plus, the kind of things we don't have to realize that players or coaches or athletes deal with. Bill Belichick's girlfriend says she's going to sue Pablo Torre over all of her stuff. Maybe Vinny's considering suing someone for slander.
Can you imagine if that actually happens with Jordan Hudson, that the discovery there, what would come out about text messages and stuff that Belichick and Hudson have said? Like, I don't think you want to actually go that far if you're Jordan Hudson. But maybe she doesn't get. Belichick shouldn't want that to happen. All right, let's get to our VNFL insider.
He's a husband, a dog dad, a first baseman, and a fantasy football commissioner.
Being a commissioner for the league is tough, and I'm really excited. I'm wearing a suit today.
He also likes to fill the bathtub with hard work and Jets tears.
I can't take any more disappointment. That's what he used to say when we watched the Jets games together.
But his most important job is being a VNFL insider.
I haven't enjoyed a football season since 1969.
On 96.5 The Fan, here's Vinny Pasquantino.
Oh, yes, it is time to talk to Vinny. Now, it mentions there, you hear not only important jobs related to football and baseball, but a dog dad. And my understanding is you were taking care of the dog this morning. Is this a routine of yours? Did the dog always go to doggy daycare?
Yeah, so, well, first off, thank you for the intro this week, fellas.
Yeah,
Cody, welcome back.
Thank you.
Drew, welcome back to calling me to get me on. So everything is right in the world with you three.
It feels good again. We were cursed for a little bit as a show.
It's bad luck last week, Vinny.
Yeah, so I wake up early. I work out. I get to the gym at like 8:30 or so. But if I wake up early enough, I got to get to the dog. I got to get the dog to daycare by 9. If I'm after 9, he can't go. So, okay, I guess this truck's gonna let me pull out. So sorry, but. So I got him up. Sometimes I'll wake up and my wife is like, "You going to take him to daycare?" And I really don't want to because it's out of my way. And I was in a good mood this morning, so I took him to daycare, and it worked out that I got done at the gym, got done hitting, got done doing all my stuff, and I picked him up right at 11:30. So it was tough timing when you have an 11:30 radio interview.
Were you in a good mood for what particular reason? Did you get like an extension or something? You can tell us now.
No. Hey, what does our GM say? He says there has to be interest from the other side. I think that's what he likes to say publicly. So I'll say that right back. There has to be interest from the other side. So we'll leave it at that.
Fair enough.
I have interest in maintaining you as our NFL insider, so I'm going to need you to stick around.
Hey, as long as I'm here, I'm working for you guys, so I can give you that promise.
Do you pay attention? Alex was asking me in the break. You pay attention to the other big trades in Major League Baseball? Like, do you guys all text back and forth when Simeon gets traded or stuff like that?
That was the talk of the gym this morning about that trade. Just because I think it's more rare nowadays that you see a big leaguer for big leaguer just straight up swap.
Mm-hmm.
So, because, a lot of times it'll be one team is getting prospects back or something. So I think it was an interesting trade. One thing I think I hate is these models that grade trades, and they're simply just like some sort of code that was written. Mm-hmm. We don't know who won the trade in November. So I always think it's funny when people hop online and talk about who won or lost the trade when it's like, well, what if the fit is better one play? Like, fit matters a lot. And I think that's one thing that, like, baseball trade values can't, it might say it's an overpay or an underpay, whatever it is, but fit matters, personalities matter. So we'll see what happens.
I know you could probably drive yourself crazy if you paid attention to everything that is said about you as a professional athlete on social media. I can't imagine. But do you get a kick out of when you see people speculate about, the Royals, are going to go acquire a certain player and then your name is mentioned by somebody as a trade piece and things like that? Do you pay attention to that? I mean, do you get a laugh out of that or what?
Well, I think you trust who's running the organization and you trust their word. So when you see things online, I mean, that's just natural to speculate this time of year. And I feel like I have a good relationship with our front office. So, I don't think I'm personally going anywhere, but it doesn't mean that if they don't get the right deal, that they don't do it. So it's one of those things where you try not to pay attention to, but just naturally you're going to see it. I don't know why there's so many trucks around me this morning making all this noise, but sorry about that. And because I have the dog in the car, he really needs the window to be down.
Oh.
So, yeah, sorry. But, yeah, you see it, but you mostly just laugh at it because at the end of the day, it could be true, right? I mean, it could be. You could be being shopped or people might be asking about you, but pretty much every single player is being asked about. I'm sure that Bobby has been asked about. I'm sure that Salvi has been asked about. It's just one of those things that pretty much everybody's got a price, and it's just a matter of who's willing to pay it.
So I know a couple of weeks ago you had mentioned our guy David Lesky was writing about. He wrote an article about you and whether or not you should get an extension. Do you want to make your own pitch? Why should you get an extension? Why, sell yourself a little,
That's a hilarious question. I think actually there's no funny way to answer this question. I'm trying to think of because
there's
money
lots
is
of good
good,
baseball reasons,
and just selfishly, that'd be great. So no, I do not have a pitch. I do not have a pitch on that subject, but thank you for asking.
Got to try, Let's at least get to the football. Let's get to the football end of things, Vinny. What'd you make of the Chiefs' wins against the Colts? Let's start there. Obviously a dicey game for a big chunk of it. Where are you at on the Chiefs?
Yeah, I think that felt more like a vintage Chiefs game, which I think is good. So, you go down, you have that big drive there at the end of the game where you go take the lead. Or no, sorry, it went to overtime, right?
Yeah.
But they went down and scored. I think that's what you're looking for, right? Is tough wins like that. I mean, I don't think too many people are scared of Daniel Jones himself, but that offense is pretty good. Jonathan Taylor can run the football. Their offensive line's really good. So I think getting a win against that team, that's a good win. I don't know, other than helping to make the playoffs, I don't think it's that meaningful of a win other than, just another win, which I guess is huge because if they had lost, it would be way tougher to make the playoffs. But I think all in all, that's what you want to see as a Chiefs fan is finding ways to win the game instead of finding ways to lose the game.
Yeah, for now it was a season-saving type of victory for the Chiefs, and then they get a quick turnaround, Vinny, Thanksgiving against the Cowboys. What's the Thanksgiving look like for you? Are you just sitting down on the couch watching football all day, I should say? What's the Thanksgiving plan?
I would say I have to. I get the opportunity to go to my in-laws for Thanksgiving. It's how do you say like grandparents but in-laws? Like what?
Oh, I think in that case I would just say my wife's grandparents.
My wife's grandparents.
Yeah.
So they're in another state. So I get to drive there, which is fun. But I'm trying to make it as short of a trip as possible.
Do you make anything? Did you contribute to the food?
Okay, so this is kind of funny, but I ordered this fruit or this vegetable tray from this kid in my neighborhood. They were raising money for something, so I ordered some vegetable tray, and it came with this cheesecake. So we're bringing a cheesecake. I don't know why a cheesecake came with the vegetable tray, but it did, and it's going with us. So, no, I'm not making anything, but I am bringing something.
Do you guys have different fundraisers in Nashville than us? I felt like people just did like
popcorn,
trash bags and popcorn and stuff. You did vegetable trays and cheesecakes?
I think that's just the state of the times. We're a little bit healthier now, maybe. I don't know. To be honest, I kind of
this is the neighborhood. This is the neighborhood Vinny's in. You know?
Yeah, I gave him some cash and we moved on. So that's how it worked. I didn't really want the conversation, but I just said, you know what? Yeah, I'll take some vegetables and apparently a cheesecake.
Man in the neighborhood.
I
like it.
Just paid the kid off. Yeah. Like, here, take the cash, kid.
Get off my lawn.
Didn't even matter if it was a scam. He would have just been like, well, I didn't get the vegetables, I guess.
Well, he was kind of funny because I said to the kid, I was like, hey, can I just give you cash? And he looked at me, was like, please give me cash. So I'm not exactly sure where that cash went to, but it got him off of my front porch, which was nice.
Like, the vegetable tray look legit? It doesn't, I mean, you think it's good?
Oh, it's great. It's vegetable and fruit. Some of the apples that are in there are phenomenal. So I'm very happy with that. I'm very happy with that purchase.
Let's get to your fruit rankings we could do. Power rankings for teams.
Off the rails here today.
We have.
You know what? Sometimes it goes away. Let's get a little power ranking from you, Vinny. Who are your top 5 teams right now? We know the Chiefs finally fell off your list after a couple of losses. Where do you have the 5 best teams? And we can get your 5 worst too.
So I feel as if the Rams are kind of a clear number 1.
Yes.
Matthew Stafford was in what my friends are describing as God mode last night. They're tough to beat with that defense and with him. I mean, Devontae Adams is open on every single play, I think. So that's pretty good. I got to witness that firsthand last year. Didn't help my team. Let's see. Let me pull this up. Yeah, I'm going to put the Rams at 1. Dude, I don't know. I'm looking at all these teams, and after 1, it's just like, wow, there's some decent teams in there, but, I guess the Patriots have to be in there.
Yeah.
The freaking Broncos have to be in there. Gross.
Yeah, that's not good.
The Eagles are just no fun to watch. A.J. Brown got the ball yesterday, though, so that at least he's happy today. The Colts, I don't know. I think there's top 3. I don't have a top 5.
That's fair.
Because I've just been naming teams. But let's go to the bottom 5.
Okay.
The Titans are garbage.
Oh,
the Giants, that's hilarious that they lost the game yesterday, but I had a buddy who put some money on it when the Lions were down 10, so he did pretty good.
Nice.
The Jets, who I liked what I saw out of them yesterday, I will say, against the Ravens, I liked what I saw. They lost by a lot, but I liked it. The Raiders might be the worst team in football. They stink.
Yeah, they just fired their OC. Chip Kelly's gone, too.
And then, is Shedeur Sanders the truth? It's going to get loud this week, fellas. It's going to get loud. Just prepare for that.
You're not
the aisle there.
Yeah.
It's going to be, I bet ESPN will, I haven't watched any TV today, but I bet that's all they're going to be talking about.
Oh, it's their dream day. The Cowboys won in comeback fashion, and then Shedeur Sanders got a win in his debut. Our producer, who's not even a Cleveland guy, I think is more excited about that than anything else today.
So tell me this, and this doesn't even make sense, and obviously I'm not this week, but why do I kind of like the Cowboys?
I think it's because offensively they have nothing but weapons.
I think I like Dak Prescott. I think that's the answer for me. I think I just like him. So I kind of root for him. And I think they get so much scrutiny, but they also get so much love. So I just don't know what to do. But obviously this week, Chiefs by 10.
By 10, there it is. All right.
Yeah. And then I'll be at the Sunday night game against the Texans. I'll be there for that one.
Oh, so you're coming in?
I'm coming in, and as you guys know, I'm basically undefeated when I show up at Arrowhead. So
I was about to say, you've got a tremendous winning record. Can you come in Friday?
Yeah.
Then we can have you in for drinks or something on Friday. How early are you coming in? Or are you coming in that
I'm coming in on Saturday.
Too late.
And then game Sunday, and then WWE Monday Night Raw in Kansas City on Monday night. Maybe we'll go to that, too. We'll see.
I feel like there's a cameo happening Monday for you during that then.
No, I wish, but no.
No?
You sure we can't make a few calls and get you involved in a cameo?
No, I play baseball. They don't care about that. you gotta stay in your lane, boys. And baseball is like in terms of, you got football, I'd say is number 1, probably NBA is number 2, and then baseball at 3, I think. But maybe nowadays, like WNBA's climbing. So, we'll see.
I think we asked Jeff Passan. He got a shout out on one of the broadcasts once, didn't he?
He did, but that guy's a legend, Kansas City legend. I texted him last night right after the news broke, being like, "Wow, what do you got?"
He was. I mean, I'm sure he was on the news pretty early there. Big trades, man. It's been a lot going on in baseball. Well, I hope that you enjoy your Thanksgiving, Vinny, even though you got to drive. I don't know how far away is the drive.
3.5 hours.
That's not terrible. Well, you enjoy that. You enjoy that vegetable tray in particular.
Oh, I'm gonna.
That's Vinny Pasquantino, our NFL insider. Happy Thanksgiving.
Insider.
That's true. That's true.
Thanks, guys.
That's our NFL insider. Yeah, the vegetable tray. Look, vegetable tray before the meal, like so very early in the day when you're waiting for the turkey and everything to be done, and people just want to snack on something. Cody, you do like the cheese and cracker and meat tray with a little veggie tray while you're waiting. I don't mind that move. I think that's a solid decision. If you're not going to eat till 3 or 4. You have a little charcuterie available, or a veggie tray, like at noon for people if they're already over there.
Veggie tray is interesting, though. If it's not like one of the, just if it was a fruit basket, because
He said it's both. He says both.
It is
some ranch and carrots.
If you hear veggie tray, though, that's dried up broccoli with some mushrooms or a cauliflower and then some ranch and carrots.
I gotta say,
it doesn't sound as appealing
if you are paying the price for like the pre-made one at the store, you're getting ripped off.
He just paid for a pre-made one.
I agree.
You're getting ripped. The price on it is crazy. Yeah. They've gotten out of control
Convenience.
with these vegetables.
Like a lot of things. You know this.
Chop up carrots.
Convenience. Convenience is the answer. He at least has a homemade one, sounds like, for a 3.5 hour drive's not terrible on Thanksgiving.
Well, I'm not saying cheesecake? Hey.
That is...
Hey.
Yeah, that is true. His does.
He did tell us at one point his favorite dessert was cheesecake. I remember we talked about that on the show one time.
Yeah.
So he's probably happy to discover that got.
And he's going to be in town for Chiefs Texans in a week and a half or whatever.
I think we can't get him on he doesn't make a cameo. We can't get him on a broadcast shot. Vinny?
I just think he's sitting in the front row, WWE Raw. He's sitting front row, and they just did it with Cam Scattaboo or whatever. You just have all of a sudden Vinny and a teammate of his. They just usually it's just more.
Just have him be one of the person who holds him up.
Stand up. They just stand up and look tough for a second, and that's basically what has happened every cameo for WWE that I've seen with an athlete.
Vinny's tall. Like he could tower over somebody for a minute, maybe.
It does feel like I don't like baseball WWE needs to get baseball in the game because, like you said, with Scattaboo, Tyrese Halliburton has been involved, Jalen Brunson, with WWE before. Feels like it's baseball's turn.
Is there any because I know that in wrestling they have factions, right? So everybody sticks to their clan or whatever. So there's wrestlers that are Samoan that are is there an Italian group? Because that would just feel like Vinny could incorporate himself in that grouping, that's all.
My guess is there is.
I don't know. I don't watch enough wrestling to know. It's not that I've seen zero. It's just I just don't know enough to be sure.
I don't know if this is still around. There historically, it says there was in the WWE, okay. Cody.
Somebody help us out over on the text line. That way we know if there's one active. Sometimes I just feel like if he's going to stay for Raw, then I might as well make the most of it.
Someone says Hulk Hogan was Italian. Is that right? Oh, I have no idea about wrestling. That's the one thing I truly have never followed all that closely. Don't know anything about the history. I know the 5 biggest names, and that's about it. The Rock and Dwayne the Rock, and Hulk Hogan.
Could you name 5
and Triple
active
H.
wrestlers? Could you
active?
Absolutely not. No way.
The Miz, right? He's one.
There was.
I think The Miz is one.
In the mid-90s.
That's about all I got for you.
In the mid-90s, there were a tag team group called the FBI, Full-Blooded Italians.
Okay. Oh, there we go. There we go.
So there's a couple of those, but I don't think they got like a faction, the way some of these others do. So someone says Vinny isn't popular enough for them. What do you mean? He's an affable professional baseball player. What's not to like?
He's
They're
also
about
on,
entertainment.
He's
then
been
he's
on
entertaining.
He's been
He's
on
also a
TV.
Pasquatch. I mean, come on.
He ran the social media account for Major League Baseball for a World Series.
He's
game.
at least as popular as Cam Scadaboo is, I would say.
Scadaboo's in New York. That's and the NFL is
helps.
king. That's the only problem there.
And his maximum popularity, when he was running around and.
Well, no, he was just on
doing
it while he's
crazy
hurt. He was just on it the other week.
No, I know, but I meant but he'd already gotten the buzz
Yeah.
going. That's all.
Yeah,
that's all. That's the Chiefs for half hour, I guess. You know what? Vinny got us at least a little bit in there, and we'll talk more Shadur Sanders, I'm sure, later, as we've got our stock up and stock down.
Oh, yeah.
I'd be surprising if it wasn't at least some of them there. The only other thing I'll say is interesting that Vinny sounds like he's more than interested in being here, and that the war of public opinion of I'm interested in staying here, you say it's got to be mutual interest both ways. He's certainly suggesting he has interest.
Yeah.
In a
why wouldn't
long-term
he?
extension.
Why wouldn't he?
Like he said, money's nice.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you if you're Vinny want an extension? And now it takes two to tango. We've talked about it. What stinks about the setup for baseball is, as you know, how many years of control the team already has, and so they're unfortunately on one hand. On the other side, you're saying, well, he's not going anywhere. For multiple years, we've got him under contract, and that's the challenging part about it.
Yeah,
but
they can control
he's going to get
so long.
I will say the good news for Vinny Pasquantino, not that it's the long-term security of a long-term contract, but because of the season he had, there's a very nice arbitration bump or coming from him. And I don't know what that number is going to be, but it's going to be very nice.
So he makes league minimum now because he's pre-arb, which is around $850,000 a year. His current arbitration estimate number is $5.25 million. So
not too bad.
He's going to septuple his salary, and that's an ARB year one. He still has 3 more additional ARBs. This goes back to the why I would extend him if I'm the Royals, not just because I think the stats are good, but you can buy out those arbitration years, not have to go sit in the meetings.
Well, they avoid those meetings usually anyway.
Yeah, and then tack on a couple of years at the end and really lock up the majority of Vinny's career.
All right, we'll get to what's trending. I want to get right back into the Chiefs and the Colts yesterday and how the Chiefs kept their season alive, plus stock up, stock down.
You're listening to Cody and Gold. Tune in for the Chiefs Red Half Hour every day, starting at 11:30 right here on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
BetMGM is the official sports betting partner of the Kansas City Chiefs, is coming soon to Missouri. New customers can pre-register and get up to $1,500 paid back in bonus bets if their first bet loses, plus an additional $100 in bonus bets if they deposit before December 1st. Enjoy a betting app that was designed for game day with features like live bets, same-game parlays, BetMGM Originals, BetMGM Reward Points, and surprise boosts dropping in your account. It's everything a Chiefs fan could want in one app. Coming to Missouri on December 1st. Pre-register today. BetMGM, make it legendary. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 and older only, plus Missouri only. New customer offer, subject to eligibility requirements. Bonus bets are non-withdrawable. Please gamble responsibly. Pending BetMGM's licensure as a mobile sports wagering operator with the Missouri Gaming Commission's register for Missouri online sports wagering account starting 11/17. BetMGM's insurance of a welcome offer is conditional on full licensure.
More than a few of our patients have talked to me about their first time, but it's not the first time you're probably thinking about. It's the first time that erectile dysfunction ruined the moment. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health. And if you're over 50, it's likely that you've had that first time yourself. But the good news is that if you're like most men, that first time can be the last time that ED impacts your sex life. At Heartland Men's Health, we're experts in treating ED. We've treated tens of thousands of men using protocols with success rates well over 90%. And those treatments have, in most cases, made sex great again for both them and their partners. You could even find that you're performing like you haven't in years. So if ED has been affecting your intimacy, it's time to make the last time that happens the last time that happens. For just $99, you'll receive blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600. That's 844-447-6600. Or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
I'm Mitch Holtis, voice of the Chiefs. Everyone develops cataracts naturally as they get older. When your vision is affected by cataracts, you should see my doctor, Dr. Steven Silverstein at Silverstein Eye Centers. Dr. Silverstein is a world-renowned cataract surgeon who performs life-changing laser-assisted cataract surgery with premium lens implants to correct your vision up close and far away. Trust my eye doctor, Dr. Steven Silverstein, Silverstein Eye Centers, 816-358-3600 to schedule an appointment.
The end of the year is rapidly approaching. We want to say thank you for another successful year as your neighborhood plumber. It's a privilege to be one of the few local family-run companies around. This time of year is when water heaters start to struggle. So through the end of the year, we are offering $250 off a tank replacement or $500 off a tankless water heater. So call 913-768-7676 or visit ConnollyPlumbingSolutions.com to schedule.
This Thanksgiving, FanDuel is introducing a brand new way to build a parlay together. It's called Pass the Leg. Here's how it works. Start a group build, add your pick, then pass it to your friends so they can do the same. When everybody's done, you can each lock in the group parlay with your own fun because football is better when it's played and bet together. To make it even better, everybody gets a 50% profit boost token to use on their build. So grab the crew, start your build, and get in on the action this Thanksgiving with Pass the Leg. And we got 3 great games coming up this Thanksgiving. You don't want to miss the action. Visit FanDuel.com. Use my promo code /KFNZ to get started. FanDuel, play your game. An official partner of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. Opt-in required. Bonus issued. Non-withdrawal profit boost token. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement with Kansas Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Get up with your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700. Visit kansasgamblinghelp.com.
You don't need to be a financial MVP right out of the gate. At Main Street Credit Union, we're here to coach you through it. No matter where you're at, lining up for your first play or deep in the game, we'll help you move the ball forward. From building credit to launching a business. Because here, it's not just about money, it's about progress and having a team that's got your back. Learn more at mainstreetcu.org.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband Ryan died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
At Audion Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. This Black Friday, enjoy exclusive savings on our high-quality rechargeable hearing aids. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and shop Black Friday deals before they're gone at audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Stuck in a job that just isn't getting it done? Maybe it's time to go for IT. Whether you're just starting out, switching careers, or a military veteran ready for change, My Computer Career can help you launch a rewarding career in IT in months. No prior experience needed. Why spend years getting a traditional degree when your future in IT can start right now? Take the free career evaluation at mycomputercareer.edu today. Your most powerful upgrade? Your career. Go for it. Go for IT. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram at TheFan965 for behind-the-scenes videos like MVP Monday, Chiefs Take Tuesday, and Best Bets. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan, KFNZ, FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station. What's trending?
God dang!
Brought to you by Telly Tire and Auto Centers. Winning starts with a great drive. Since 1942, Telly's certified techs have delivered complete car care with top brand tires and expert auto service. Keep your drive going. Take it to Telly. Visit tellytire.com today.
Number one on what's trending, of course, the Chiefs get a win over the Colts yesterday in overtime, 23-20 to get to 6-5 on the year, a season-saving type of win, one that they had to have. They got it. We'll talk more in detail about that after what's trending, but Kareem Hunt, on an individual level, the headliner, 30 carries, 104 yards, the most carries he's ever had in his NFL career. Now, he is very beat up, I think, after that game, so we'll see how that bodes for Thursday. Also, Rashee Rice, 8 catches, 141 yards, 108 yards after the catch.
Pretty impressive. Obviously, we found out today that Trey Smith has a high and low ankle sprain to go with that, so he's doubtful probably for Thursday's game, but great win, obviously, for Kansas City. Next up on What's Trending, starting to be that time of the year when your team struggles, more people get fired. Chip Kelly out as the offensive coordinator for the Raiders. I can't believe he made it this long, considering how bad that offense looks. Bowen is out for the defensive coordinator for the Giants. They've obviously already fired their head coach, promoted Mike Kafka, the offensive coordinator, as head coach, but he's going to go ahead and get rid of the DC as well as they continue to search for answers. They were the first team in the entire NFL to be mathematically eliminated from playoff contention.
Yeah, as far as Chip Kelly, as you said, highest paid offensive coordinator in football. He was hired this offseason, and it's just complete disaster. Not that Geno Smith is good, but that offense with Genti, Geno, and Bauer should still be somewhat better. Like that's
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I was going to ask you, is there a college job he can get? Arkansas or something?
I mean, Arkansas potentially. There's other ones that if he really wanted to go back to college, smaller schools, of course.
Elsewhere, thinking of college football, bad weekend for all three locals. The Jayhawks fell to Iowa State 38-14. They are 5-6. They have a game on Friday, Black Friday, against Utah, where they're home underdogs with 13.5 points. If they want to go to a bowl game, that is a must-win for the Missouri Tigers. They had no offense, even with Bo Prabula back in the mix. 17-6 loss to number 8 Oklahoma. K-State football lost a heartbreaker on the road. They were big dogs to Utah and should have won the game. They ended up losing 51-47. The Wildcats 5-6 on the season. They also are in a spot where they got to get one more win on Saturday against Colorado to get to bowl eligibility.
Yeah, boy, what a weekend. You know, the one team's got to feel sick as K-State. They moved the ball.
They ran for almost 500 yards.
I mean, all day, Avery Johnson. They moved the ball. The problem, they couldn't get a single stop against Utah. Next up on What's Trending, Baker Mayfield has a strained AC joint. That, according to the x-rays he received, they're saying no structural damage at the moment, although they will still confirm with an MRI. They said he's not yet ruled out for the game on Sunday against the Arizona Cardinals. I know this is every year, man, and this is probably where we should give Patrick Mahomes more credit, because every year there's like 10 or 12 quarterbacks, it seems like they miss multiple games for their teams, you know, and there's a couple of guys every year that play every game for their team, Mahomes being one of them. This is just another recent example, Baker Mayfield, who plays through almost anything with a strained AC joint of his non-throwing shoulder. I think they didn't put him back in that game last night because they were getting their ass whipped, and there was no point. They're down 31-7 at half. They didn't really need to throw Baker Mayfield back in there.
That is what's trending here on Cody and Gold. So coming up here in about 7 to 10 minutes, we will get to stock up, stock down in the NFL. I guess it doesn't have to be in the NFL. We can do stock
it could be anywhere. We've done other places.
Anywhere else. But by the way, it is a Monday. Don't forget, like you know you're going to be cooking plenty on Thanksgiving, so you don't want to cook it all Monday or Tuesday. So why not go grab some great food over at 30 Hop? And on Mondays, 30 Hop's our lunch partner, $5.99 classic burgers. 30 Hop's your new go-to, an American bar and kitchen with bold flavors, local taps, expansive patios, and an unbeatable happy hour. You can check out their location in Lee Summit and in Merriam Grand Station. Stop in for lunch, stay for happy hour, 30hop.com. Local beer, American Eats, big patio. So let's get back into the Chiefs win yesterday against the Colts. I think everybody, when Kareem Hunt fumbled that football at that point in time, at the very least, you said, oh, this is it. This is it. You might have also just flat out said, all right, it is completely over. Doesn't matter what's going to happen. I think at that moment, you thought, all right, it's just not going to happen for this team in 2025.
I sent it out, so there's no evidence of me thinking the other way around. I definitely thought that was the season.
It looked like it was the dagger moment. It looked like it was the dagger moment, and yet again, in the biggest spot when they had to have a play, the team failed to make a play. That's where it was trending.
Yep.
Well, the defense, though, stepped up time and time again. 5 straight 3-and-outs is what they were capable of doing against Daniel Jones to give this offense chance after chance after chance, and you just had to find a way to get a win and survive in advance. It was that simple, and that's what they were able to do. We'll get into some of the specifics, but I thought Patrick Mahomes kind of said it after the game, which is they needed a win like that, and maybe is it a springboard?
This is exactly what we needed. To win against a really good football team and the game's not going your way, you could have folded in that situation and kind of been kind of the rest of the season. The guys responded and then found a way to win on every single unit. I mean, offense, we found a way at the end. Defense stood tall multiple times to give us chances, and then Harrison and Ariza did a great job flipping the field and making field goals. So we needed a win like this, and now let's just try to build off of it.
I do think that it feels, for the first time all year, we had said Golden Boy. I was just waiting for him to be like the old Chiefs. Win away, they used to win, come from behind, do the stuff I'm just accustomed to doing, making a big stop, having a big drive, something. And they had 2 big drives. I know they went 3 and out on the one, but they obviously went all the way down the field and kicked the field goal to win it, even though they should have won it there. They didn't. But then had another big stop in overtime and another big drive that if they needed to score a touchdown there, I'm confident that they would have done it. They also ran a season-high snaps from under center. And, they changed themselves at least a little bit in that regard. And for the first time all year, they won a way that I'm accustomed to the Chiefs winning. Mahomes was his best at the moment he needed them to be his best. And they went down there and they won a football game. Yeah, I'll be honest. I thought the season was over. When Kareem Hunt fumbled in the red zone, I thought, okay, it's just not meant to be. This season's not going to go the way it's supposed to go. And every time, they've been in a big moment this year up to that point, they had failed themselves, it felt like. And for the first time, it didn't.
Well, they won a 1-score game. Yeah, I mean, it was they were 0-5, as we all know. That's been talked about ad nauseum at this point in time. But you wondered if down the remaining stretch of the season, would there be some positive regression? Like, were they really going to be 0-8, 0-9 in 1-score games by the time the season was over?
Started to feel like it yesterday.
For sure. And so I agree with Patrick Mahomes on you would love to blow out every single opponent, okay? But I think specifically for their psyche, maybe as a fan you can shrug it off and say whatever.
And it's better than blowing them out.
I think for the locker room, though, and for the mental side of the game, for everybody in that locker room, winning a 1-score game was very, very beneficial, other than the obvious was they won the football game. Yeah, it would have been very nice to just blow out the Colts. That, I think, also could be good for your confidence. But the fact that the question of whether or not they can make the big play late when they clearly made plenty of mistakes. Let's not act like they didn't. They obviously
lost
made
the turnover battle, plenty of penalties.
Mahomes, of course, the turnover right there early on in the game. The receivers, when they were open at times, Mahomes didn't see the field well. And then there were times where receivers weren't winning. All the way around. They were able to, in this game, I think, after a week of being criticized for it, they leaned on the run game. Now, that's not the formula every single week. And Kareem Hunt can't carry the ball 30 times, and I'm worried about his effectiveness, frankly, the rest of the season. I think he is very much worn down. So Isaiah Pacheco, just from a carry perspective,
it's a good time to get him back.
Needs to get back. We'll see if he's available. They also signed Dameon Pierce, maybe just have another body in the room, because Kareem Hunt, on a short week after that performance, I don't know what you can really expect out of him on Thursday against the Cowboys. So we'll see. I think when you look at the offensive plan, though, yesterday, Cody, after a week of not willing to run the ball and win ugly and win boring, whatever you want to describe it as, for them to carry the ball 30 times with Kareem Hunt, I thought was a great sign from the coaching staff.
Yeah, I thought so too. And I don't know, other than special teams, which I would argue is still off, despite the fact Harrison Butker part was good. He made all 5 of his kicks, but, the kick return coverage, the punt return coverage, the penalties on it, there's still some part of that that's off. This year, the defense hadn't made the big play either. Go back to that 3rd and 15 against Bo Nix, or when they had 3rd and long against Justin Herbert or all these other ones where they couldn't make the big stop. The defense made 5 consecutive huge stops in that game against the league's best. I want to remind everybody, still, by the way, as of today, the number 1 scoring offense in the entire NFL. They made them go 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, just time and time again at the end of the game. So a defense who, in all the previous 5 years, Gold, I think you may be in the rundown. As we plan the show, we keep live notes sometimes that end up mattering. Sometimes they're about the game at the time of the game. It's, hey, can this defense, do they take it away? Can they make the big stop? It just doesn't feel like the same kind of defense we're accustomed to until that last minute of the game. Doesn't feel like the same kind of offense who can go get the win when it's until the end of the game when they outscored or outgained them, 270 yards to 20 or whatever. I'm roughly estimating.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
It was something like that. It was a huge disparity between the two. That was I actually think that is a better way to win for this team right now than if they'd gone out and beaten them 35-0. It doesn't mean you have to feel better about the team, but they needed a win like this, specifically like this, against a really good team at home where they had to, scratch and claw and fight. And look, they still got 3 difficult games in a row against the Dallas Cowboys, who aren't in the playoffs right now, but the outside looking in. The Houston Texans, same thing, ahead of you in the playoff standings, and the Chargers. But some things are still true. The Chiefs are still great at home. They still have Patrick Mahomes. They can still win difficult games. This game proved to me that they still have some of that.
Yeah, what we were looking at today, 17-1 in their last 18 at home, including the postseason.
Yep.
So, for anybody questioning the mystique of Arrowhead and just winning it, no, it's mattered. It's mattered. Yeah, the team's also been pretty darn good. They won 15 games last year, but still, Patrick Mahomes, guys, at the podium yesterday multiple times mentioned the crowd and how the Kareem Hunt fumble. I thought it was telling. He said the Kareem Hunt fumble. He's like, while the crowd and or Twitter and stuff was counting them out, that they felt like there was still tons of energy in the building, and that if they were on the road, it might have gone in a different direction. Like that I'm paraphrasing, but you can go and listen to the full audio. We might even be able to get the whole cut if you want it. But Patrick Mahomes said essentially that game goes differently if they're on the road. A fumble like that can just be deflating, but the energy level was still there in large part because of the crowd, even after the Kareem Hunt fumble, and the crowd knowing the moment, needing the 3 and out.
So think about it. They got 0 turnovers themselves. They didn't take the ball away from the Colts once, even though Daniel Jones tried to gift wrap a couple for him. They gave a ball away that was an instant touchdown, practically a pick 6 based on where the Chiefs turned it over, and turned it over in the red zone. There are very few games for any team, I do mean any team, the Rams, for instance, who clearly look like the best team in the NFL. If they turn one over that is a pick 6 essentially for the other side, and then also turn it over as they're getting ready to score in the red zone, those are almost unwinnable games. Genuinely, unwinnable games, especially against 8-2 football teams, which is what the Colts were going into that thing. So, that's supposed to be an unwinnable game based on just the turnovers alone if you knew nothing else. But because the Chiefs put up, felt like 800 yards worth of offense because they possessed the ball for 2/3 of the football game, they were able to overcome it and just win in a slightly different way.
I still think we can't downplay the defense in this 3 and outs, but what they did to Jonathan Taylor. He did not have 60 yards. Like we discussed on Friday, you can't let him beat you. You can't go off for 150 and 2 touchdowns. But how many people actually thought they were holding him to under 60? And I'm willing to bet if the Colts have a performance like that again from Jonathan Taylor, they will probably lose that game as well. I think that was the key, too. Yes, late in the game, for whatever reason, the Colts decided to stop even trying to run the ball. Part of it is because the Chiefs were so effective, but Jonathan Taylor was hit behind the line of scrimmage on 63% of his behind the line of scrimmage, 63% of his touches. That means you're winning at the line of scrimmage if you're the defensive front. He only forced 3 missed tackles. This is a guy that does that for a living, literally, and had a season low 10 yards after the missed tackle. They tackled well. He had the one run where he bounced it outside, and Chris Jones in postgame was talking about that. He said that was a play where they thought it was going to be a QB sneak. They were on sneak, so they were all tucked in. They thought Daniel Jones was about to do a QB sneak. So
that was on a 3rd and short, wasn't it?
Yeah, so Jonathan Taylor was able to bounce it to the outside. And then he was asked, did you learn anything from it? He said, we didn't do it again. Basically, they didn't play the QB sneak the next time, and that's why they were effective.
Well, again, they did everything. They took them completely out of their offensive game plan. And then eventually, even though it worked in the second half, said, all right, Daniel Jones, come beat us. And then in the second half, as it turns out, not surprisingly, harder for Daniel Jones in order to do that. So, look, it was not a pretty win. I'm not going to come in here and be like, it gave me.
They don't need those, though. They don't need those.
No, from a confidence perspective, I'd have been more confident about this team if they just rolled them 35-0. But, I think the team needed it to be like this. And then if they get the short week and they get Dallas, then all of a sudden, the breathing room of 7-5 and 10 days to prepare for a home game against Houston, an area in which we're really good, even though C.J. Stroud will be playing for them, that brings significant relief in the blood pressure department and if you're the Chiefs. And so, I think they need it.
All right, little stock up, stock down. I'll start. I'll go with a coach. How about Bryden Schottenheimer? And I know the Chiefs
getting ready to face him?
I know the Chiefs are going to face the Cowboys on Thanksgiving. And they're a 5-1 football team. So they're not winning the NFC East or anything like that. But when you think about this team right before the season in which he's a rookie head coach, they trade away your best player, Micah Parsons. You don't get off to the best start. You have a terrible tragedy also that just happened involving a player. I was watching a post-game video in the locker room from him, and you can tell, this is a guy that has the pulse of the team. The team follows him. They've obviously bounced back post-trade deadline as well. They add in Quinton Williams. The team, this is one of those where is the team buying in and all? The team's totally buying in. I don't know if the results are going to be there where the Cowboys make the playoffs or not. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. Certainly they beat the Chiefs. It helps them out if they do. But stock up on Bryden Schottenheimer. I think in year one, considering everything that's happened, I think he's actually done a hell of a job.
No, I give Bryden Schottenheimer a lot of credit. I mean, obviously he was the butt end of a lot of jokes in the offseason. And at the very least, he's kept them afloat. So I can't really argue with that. I think the stock up should be, and I hope for other teams, or at least not if they're playing the Chiefs, should be on taking the ball second in overtime. There were 5 different overtime games yesterday. And in 2 of them, teams opted to instead take the ball first. And I cannot. I just can't. Someone tell me the math. Is there new math that I don't understand about? There's a massive advantage, in my opinion, of getting the ball second. You know what you have to do. Everybody gets one possession. You know if you need a field goal to tie it, a field goal to win it, a touchdown to tie it, a touchdown to win it. And depending on that math, you now have 4 downs every single time to do it. And especially against a guy like Patrick Mahomes. I'm not giving him 4 downs every single time to go beat me. And so if they got a great quarterback on the other side, I don't care how tired your defense is, which is the only excuse I can understand for why they might have taken the ball first. It's idiotic. Stock should be up. Take the ball second in overtime. It's so logical.
Yeah, I'm with you. This doesn't make any sense. I don't care if my defense is worn out. But I want to know if I drive the ball on you and it's 4th and 4 from your 30 and I have the ball first, I have to kick the field goal essentially. Versus I get it second, I know 4th and 4 from the 23, you already have a field goal or you already have 7. Why? I'm clearly going for it. So I'm kind of totally there. I don't get why teams are approaching the overtime in this way.
I think the only reason the Colts did it is because of that one excuse, Cody, where the Chiefs were out there for so long. It's like we got to try and hope we can score because they need a break.
But then But then what happened? But then what happened is on that they had to punt the ball on that opening possession because you can't not you at least have to make the Chiefs try to work for it.
Right.
All they had to do is go down and kick a field goal. Yeah, they should have kicked it sooner, by the way. I don't know what the hell they were taking so long on. But.
I know. They were messing with fate there.
I knew you guys didn't know that they were going to do that. I knew before when the drive started, they're going to bleed this clock down. They're going to get it all the way down.
They didn't need to. You kick a field goal and you make it. It's over.
No, I know, but
too long.
I knew that they were going to do what they did. I knew it was coming.
They were essentially playing that if they would have missed the field goal, they didn't want the Colts to have time. But if your kicker can't make a 25-yarder at that point, then you're screwed anyway.
I totally agree. My stock up. Hey, it's Shador.
That's not surprising.
It's Shador.
It's up from last week for sure.
It's way up.
Because he played in a football game.
It's way up from last week, and I think that this is just something I would love to see him play the rest of the season and to see him continue to grow. I mean, you got Myles Garrett looking like you saw a ghost. Like, excuse me, this is what a quarterback can do with this offense? Is this what it looks like?
What was the last good not even good. What was the last competent quarterback game he's seen?
Shador is the first quarterback since 1999, since I was 4 years old, that has won in their debut as a Cleveland Brown.
That says more about the Browns probably than it says about Sanders.
I agree, but I do think there are some things when he makes a throw and Myles Garrett's like, not too many quarterbacks can make that throw. And Myles has previously backed Shador multiple times going all the way back to the preseason, it feels like this is something that Kevin Stefanski isn't going to have a choice but to play him, I think, because the locker room loves Shedeur, loves the energy, and I feel like this is something we just need to see play out because, I mean, for all we know, he might play himself into being that guy next season for them, or at the very least, somebody else, I suppose.
Yeah, look, he should play the rest of the season. There's no reason for him not to. He had a nice day, 209 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. He handed the ball off a lot to Quinshon Judkins. That was the best part of their offense, we'll be honest. 55% completion percentage. I want to see more. It was a very nice debut. We just also don't need to take it to the extreme of like
he's good.
He was amazing and he's good to go now. I mean, like we also had a discussion after one quarter of J.J. McCarthy in week 1 and act like he was great, and now it looks like he might be one of the worst starting quarterbacks since Jamarcus Russell. There's numbers that show that he is.
Well, what does this do? Stock down, by the way, on he wants Shedeur Sanders to fail, and he'll do everything to make his life miserable.
Can you believe?
Stock down on the conspiracy theory that they're trying to hold back Sanders.
I think you can agree on this. If Kevin Stefanski does not start Shedeur next week, that's a problem.
Well, it's a bad decision,
That
would be a bad decision.
The whole case and conspiracy theory that Kevin Stefanski wants him to fail, if Shedeur does not start next week, that gains a whole lot more legs, I think. Because of what
I mean, Shedeur would have thrown for 400 yards and 5 touchdowns if Stefanski wasn't holding him back. He held him back, Cody. That's why he only had 200 yards.
I don't think that's what anybody says. It's the fact that he's not playing.
We played the audio of Cam Newton. It was the same take you had back in August.
No, I think my take is different than Cam Newton's.
No, back in August it wasn't. It was the same.
My take was that Shedeur is better than... No, my take from the jump is that Shedeur is better than Dylan Gabriel. Point blank.
Yeah,
he was better in college.
That was not the take, though.
I will go back and find it.
That was
my take.
No, that was a take of yours.
My take preseason was that he was better than Dylan Gabriel and he should play.
Yes, that was your take. That was an actual take. You also said what Cam Newton said a week ago.
I never said he would throw for 350
yards.
yards.
No.
Kevin Stefanski and the Browns organization wanted him to fail.
Correct. Thank you.
I said he's not putting him in a position to be successful because he drafted 2 quarterbacks and that he was not picking the better one.
All right.
That's fine. We don't have to get into it.
Multiple takes.
My stock down is on actually Pete Carroll because I had said before the season that maybe he just didn't have it anymore in Seattle, and that's why they decided to walk on him, which, by the way, was absolutely the right choice because they are a better franchise and organization now. He doesn't have it anymore, man. Pete Carroll's stock down. He doesn't have it anymore.
Yeah.
He didn't have the touch.
I don't know if they'll fire him after 1 year, but they should. They really should.
They got like an 80-year-old running their offense. They got no quarterback, no skill position players, no momentum. Get out of it. Just cut ties.
Bridge quarterback and a bridge coach, and both bridges have collapsed in their first year. It's terrible. It's terrible. All right, stock down. The Eagles, not that they're going to lose the division or anything, but another half of them being shut out. One of their biggest collapses in franchise history. They have no rhythm on offense. It seems like once the first quarter or two goes by and they're doing what they want to do with their scripted plays, when Stefanski, we're just talking about him, when Sirianni has to actually make adjustments in game and feel like they have a real game plan, there is none.
Nope.
There is none for them in the second half. He's not the OC, I understand that. He's just kind of a manager of the team.
But it's your job.
But it's your team, and this is the third half of football they've been shut out, I think, this year.
Yeah, they're a weird team. I can't figure out if I think they're good or not good or the same. I'm not going to write off the Eagles, but the stock is definitely lower than it used to be. You got a minute, Drew. Who are you down on?
Tampa Bay. They started 5-1. They're 6-5 currently. It doesn't feel. I understand that's part of it. It just doesn't. They're kind of like the Lions to me. They're fine, but I'm not buying the Lions as a Super Bowl contender. I know they have capabilities of scoring points, but they had to go to did they have to go to overtime to beat the Giants? They got Jameis is throwing off corners, catching passes. What the heck's going on? I'm down on Tampa Bay.
They're so banged up.
Carolina wins tonight. They're division winners or leader.
No, that's true. Yeah, they're Carolina against the Niners tonight. I'm with you on the Bucs, right? They're just so banged up, and that was before the Baker injury. Bucky Irving's just not played this year.
So he might come back
Mike
next
Evans
week.
been hurt. Egbuka got off to such a great start, and now that there's other injuries, teams have really been able to focus it on him and make his life really, really difficult. I still think the Bucs end up winning the South, but the idea of them doing much more, like I thought they were a team that could make some noise in the playoffs. Unless they're getting everybody back healthy, I just don't see it.
Yeah.
I'm not Carolina. We'll have to take the Panthers seriously if they go and win against the Niners tonight. I just don't think they are. Do you guys? Anybody think the Niners are losing to Carolina tonight?
Yes,
you do.
Let's go Bryce Young.
You want to happen, or are you
I
predicting?
Carolina in the playoffs. I think that Bryce Young is starting to gain more confidence, and Ted McMillan is showing that he's that guy. I think they can do it.
I will say I will be predicting the 49ers to win this game tonight. But I think it's like a 60-40 game. So I think that there's a decent chance Carolina could win it. They've got some talent. And
Rico Dowdle's on a heater of a season.
Yeah, and they're a little saltier on defense than they've been in previous years. I'm not saying they're great, but they've got enough on the defensive line that they cause a little bit of problems here and there. So I don't completely rule it out. I mean, the 49ers have been injured too.
Wait, what's the
And
Panthers
Brandon
record?
Ayuk just quit on the team. We didn't even do that. Stock down. Brandon Ayuk ever being a 49er ever again.
His guarantee money got voided, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because he stopped showing up for work. He's the future chief?
They should. Remember there was the rumors he was going to get traded to the Steelers a year ago?
Yeah.
The Niners should have pulled that
He's
trade.
going to be a Bill.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know.
How much did he sign for? Like 120 million or something like that?
Yeah.
4 year, 124?
I don't know what he actually got out of it, though, because they've, like you said, they voided the guarantees. That is stock up, stock down. Up next, let's talk more about Kareem Hunt. What's he going to be able to do maybe on Thursday? Plus, the Chiefs did sign a running back. What does that actually mean? And the random question of the day right here on Cody and Gold.
This is Cody and Gold. Tune in for Nate Taylor every Tuesday at 1 o'clock, right here on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan. Cody and Gold are brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Inside the Huddle is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. Discover the benefit of blue.
This season, the perfect gift is back, the McRib. Now at McDonald's, you can buy a McRib extra value meal with medium fries and a medium soft drink, like a Dr. Pepper, and add another McRib sandwich for just $1 to give to someone special. Someone special. That could be anyone, right? Like I'm special. Listen to how well I do the jingle. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal. Valid for item of equal or lesser value. Dr. Pepper is a registered trademark of Dr. Pepper 7-Up, Inc.
Hey, Chiefs fans, Crown Royal is the official whiskey of the Kansas City Chiefs. And this season, it's not game day without the generous spirit of Crown Royal. Whether you're at the tailgate, in the stands, or watching from home, Crown Royal is the reason and the reward for coming together. Grab a glass with the Crown Royal rig at a stadium near you, because we'll be sharing the generous spirit with fans across the country. Crown Royal, fueling game day with a generous spirit. Visit www.crownroyal.com/royal rig for more on the Crown Royal Rig Tour. Please drink responsibly.
Around here, we've got each other's backs. When it comes to health insurance, we want that same kind of support. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City gets that. They're from around here, too. Backed by the national strength of the Cross and Shield, they help you make confident choices, no matter where you are. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here, for wherever you are. That's the benefit of blue.
There is nothing like watching Thanksgiving football, but for football fans in Missouri, this year, FanDuel's about to make it even better. Because with points giving, all FanDuel customers in Missouri get $1 in bonus bets for every point scored in the Chiefs and Cowboys game. So, for example, if the final score is 24-21, you'd get $45 in bonus bets. Doesn't matter if you've already signed up for FanDuel or you've been waiting for the right moment to join. Just head to FanDuel.com/Missouri to get on the action in Missouri. That's FanDuel.com/Missouri to score bonus bets for every point in the Chiefs and Cowboys game. Enjoy a football feast with points giving on FanDuel, coming soon to Missouri. FanDuel is the official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com.
I'm McCall from Lee Summit Subaru, and we're committed to helping our community through the Subaru Love Promise, like our commitment to Hillcrest Transitional Housing to help solve homelessness. Lee Summit Subaru also sponsors several pet adoption clinics like Midwest Animal Rescue and events each year, such as Dogtoberfest. It's all part of the Subaru Love Promise, and we're committed to helping our community fall in love with driving again at Lee Summit Subaru. LeeSummitSubaru.com.
Hi, I'm Sam Silvio with M. Shamus Brazilian Grill in the village of Burlington Creek. Holidays will be here before you know it, and M. Shamus is ready to get a jingle from you. From our all-you-can-eat hot and cold gourmet salad bar to our 12 cuts of beef, lamb, pork, or chicken. Go to mshamus.com to order our famous Brazilian glazed holiday hams in advance, or set a holiday party date for a table of 1 to a party of 100. Go to mshamus.com and discover the joy of dining.
It's time for Black
Black Friday, Dell Technologies' biggest sale of the year. Enjoy the lowest prices of the year on select PCs like the Dell 16 Plus, featuring Intel Core Ultra processors. And with built-in advanced features, it's the PC that helps you do more, faster. Plus, earn Dell rewards and enjoy many other benefits, like free shipping, price match guarantee, and expert support. They also have huge deals on accessories that pair perfectly with your Dell PC and make perfect gifts for everyone on your list. Shop now at Dell.com/deals.
Straight Talk knows the best holiday gift is simply saying yes.
Yes, you can stay up late. Sure, more cookies. Of course we can watch that movie again.
That's why we give you real unlimited data, so you can say yes to all of your family's streaming, scrolling, and sharing. And now at Straight Talk, get another gift worth giving, a free 5G phone with select plans. Because yes is the best gift to give.
Yes!
And receive. Available at straighttalk.com and Walmart. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com.
Sports fans, listen up. 1 in 8 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer, and bladder leaks can be a side effect. That's why Depend is teaming up with the Prostate Cancer Foundation to encourage screening, because health is a long game and it's yours to win. Now, here's the cool part. Through November, Depend is contributing up to $300,000 to prostate cancer research by donating 25 cents for every purchase of Depend shields, guards, and Real Fit products. Void in Mississippi? Learn more at depend.com.
It's never too early for Lowe's Black Friday deals. Snag some of our biggest savings of the season right now, like 25% off select pre-lit artificial Christmas trees. And get yourself free select DeWalt, Cobalt, or Craftsman tools when you buy a select battery or combo kit before the Black Friday rush. Because everyone loves free stuff, right? Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 12/3 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Are you like everybody else in the world who has no idea what to get everyone for the holidays? Well, you're in luck. We got you. Hands-free Skechers slip-ins. Because with hands-free Skechers slip-ins, you just step into them and they're on. There's no bending down, no touching, no fuss. Plus, Skechers slip-ins come in everyone's favorite styles and colors. And you can get slip-ins everywhere stylish footwear is sold, including a Skechers store. Or if you're too busy to shop in person, just get them online at Skechers.com, Amazon, and more.
Too many tools, too much stress, and way too many bills.
Odoo replaces it all. One connected platform for every part of your business, so you can work faster, smarter, and for less. Odoo, the only software you'll ever need. Try it free today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Chiefs coverage brought to you by Andy's Frozen Custard. Visit eatandys.com to find the location nearest you. Top your day with a smile.
Let me tell you about my good friend Andy from Andy's Frozen Custard. He's from Kansas City, never misses a game, and serves the world's finest frozen custard. Tailgate with a pick six, or grab a freshly made custom treat before or after a game. And tell him Mitch and Andy sent you.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Back here on Cody and Gold, Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, Drew Nixon producing the show. A little update on the injury front in Dallas. We already talked about for the Chiefs side, Trey Smith unlikely to play, and Rappaport saying he's expected to miss some time with a high and low ankle sprain. Looks like the Cowboys could be without one of their better offensive linemen as well. Tyler Guyton dealing with a similar ankle injury actually to what Trey Smith is dealing with.
Todd Archer, who covers obviously the Dallas Cowboys down there, says that he has a high ankle sprain as well, and is not expected to play for them on Thursday. So this all goes back to the thing. We're going to keep an eye out on how is Rashee Rice's hamstring at the end of the game, and how does Kareem Hunt's body feel like it's not falling apart tomorrow afternoon. There are some injuries, and Xavier Worthy, who obviously has been playing through a number of injuries for the Kansas City Chiefs, now having to do it on a short week. And so there's a lot of injuries to follow, but Tyler Guyton, the one for Dallas today, high ankle sprain. That's their left tackle. That's a huge miss. And he's very good.
Yeah, what some of the numbers behind him, this according to Next Gen Stats, and they tweeted this out. Tyler Guyton not only has just been a better player this year, but he's in the top 10 for lowest pressure rate allowed for all left tackles in football. So this, based on that metric, a top 10 left tackle in football, not going to be looking like available. Yeah. And the Chiefs could sure use any help they can get on getting pressure after Dak Prescott. If that means there's a little bit of a weakness on the offensive line for the Cowboys, that would be a big boost.
Also in the break, they did announce that Shadur Sanders will start against the 49ers next weekend. even though Dylan Gabriel is officially cleared concussion protocol. Adam Schefter and others reporting that they will name Sanders their starter, at least for this game. I don't know if that means for the rest of the season. You would think probably the rest of the season.
I don't know why you
assuming
wouldn't.
it doesn't fall apart, right?
I don't know why you wouldn't start him the rest of the year. Get your answer. Get your answer one way or the other if you need to approach the quarterback position again in the offseason or not.
I agree. I mean, look, it's the same reason J.J. McCarthy's got to start the rest of the year for the Vikings. Like, if you're going to bench him, then you're saying that J.J. McCarthy's never going to start another game for us ever. And he is legit. You can talk about stock down. Oof. You couldn't give away J.J. McCarthy stock right now. Gold, it's below penny stock. It's about as low as it gets. Like, as a player who's performed as bad as him, it's like, no thanks.
Yeah, it was one of those where we've seen this happen a few times, but where basically if he would have spiked the ball every play, his passer rating would have been 39.6. And it's the second time this year that J.J. McCarthy finished a game with a passer rating below that. Like, he would have had a better passer rating spiking the ball every single play in 2 games this year than his actual performance.
Spiking the ball?
From a passer rating perspective, yes.
Ooh, well, that's not great, admittedly. He's been awful. Awful. If I'm like Justin Jefferson can't even get to 50 yards these days because they can't get it. Let's talk about the Chiefs for a minute before we get to the random question of the day. Coming up here in just a few minutes, I mentioned his body and how he's going to feel today. Kareem Hunt, and honestly, the team's willingness to use Kareem Hunt this way, deserve a ton of credit. I have not seen a Chiefs running back run that consistently hard, probably since Kareem was a rookie. Every single run, he took a punishment, but he made you tackle him and go down with force, and nothing was easy, and they ran more under center runs than they had run at any point this year.
Love that.
14 of them, by the way. So now some of that's because they ran 40 billion plays, but like Kareem Hunt deserves a huge amount of credit for helping him get that win because he ran like he might run out of gas at any particular moment, and this might be, but he doesn't care. Let's say 2 weeks from now, he's not the same player. He was going to help you win this game, and Pacheco will come back eventually. He took full advantage, and I don't know. It was impressive, the run game.
Very impressive. And yeah, there's part of me that's worried that what is he going to be able to give you the rest of the season? I think that's a real thought to have and conversation to have.
Dameon Pierce, probably.
And that's where you hope Pacheco's available. And yeah, Dameon Pierce, who wasn't able to get on the field this year for the Texans, is now reportedly going to sign to the Chiefs practice squad. I also think that could be a move to help in the return game. We'll see. I don't know if he's going to be up on Thursday already or not, how quickly he can pick things up and everything. But they just need a fresh body because Kareem Hunt carrying the ball 30 times, and then you're asking him on a short week to give you much. That's a really, really tough spot to be in. So if there was ever a time for Pacheco to be available, it feels like it's Thursday, and we'll find out tomorrow from Andy Reid where things are at on the availability for those guys. But Kareem Hunt does deserve all the credit in the world for what he was able to do. Yesterday, they needed every one of those yards that he gave them. And yeah, I think from a coaching angle, a week ago, they were not willing to run on 2 straight drives, 3-and-out drives. They passed every drive. Kareem Hunt was averaging 4.9 yards a carry in the first half against the Broncos. They did not give him the ball in the second half much of that game. Complete reverse. And I understand week to week can be different, but I thought that was a good sign from the coaching staff that they were able to adjust. And this is what we said. Sometimes it's so simple. You know, there is going to be another game this year. Maybe it's Sunday where they barely run the ball again. It doesn't mean they're automatically going to lose. But yesterday was another one of those games where the style of the game, the way it was going, you felt like that was an area where you needed to lean on the run game more, and they actually did it. And so that was nice to see. And the under center stuff maybe gets overblown, but we've brought it up for weeks on the show, and I think that is something that they are starting to buy into more.
I think they kind of have to. Like we talked about their offense earlier, and I know we'll talk about it more later, but a lot of their problems start with how predictable the RPOs have become for them. Let's not say, as in, I think they always know it's a pass. So the defensive end, if it gets in that situation, just stops moving, which means when you run those under center runs, you got a better chance of doing it. Look, I do fear what you said. Can Kareem Hunt play an entire season? The answer is probably no. You guys remember, right? Kareem Hunt ran out of gas last year.
He did.
Just plain and simple, he ran out of gas. And there were still some games or runs in which he could offer you something, but he was not the same player as he was previously later in the year. But if Pacheco can stay healthy, then that's an option. And Pierce has got to be better than the Clyde Edwards-Helaire run. I do not understand why they will not give a handoff to Brashard Smith. Somebody on the team would have to explain that to me like I'm an idiot, because he has juice, When he catches the ball, it is effective.
1 carry for 5 yards is all he had.
Yeah, they don't hand him the ball. They throw it to him plenty. They put him on the field okay. They will not give him a handoff. I don't know if that's just coming like in RPOs in which they never run, as in the option part of it's taken out of it. But they aren't willing to do that. And yeah, Kareem Hunt.
I don't know if it's a pass protection thing too. Well, if that's part of it, because otherwise, look, if you just look at Clyde getting 5 carries and Brashard Smith 1, you're like, why is Clyde not getting the 1 carry and why is Smith getting the 5? Or why is Clyde getting the 5? I think my guess would be more of the trust in the pass protection. Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense.
No, there's no logic in it. Like someone's like, "What's up with Elijah Mitchell?" You don't even need to mention his name again the rest of the year. Yeah. He was active for 1 game. He touched the ball for a half a second, and they're giving Clyde Edwards-Helaire in 2025 carries over Elijah Mitchell. Okay, like we don't have to bring up Elijah Mitchell's name the rest of the. You know what? Starting now, we'll never mention him again, unless for some reason 3 or 4 running back injuries take place, and then he finds his way under the.
Do you think Pacheco plays Thursday?
No.
He practiced a few days last week, didn't he?
Yes.
And then
he was a limited participant.
Then they ruled him out on Friday. This wasn't even like, oh, we'll see. They ruled him out. My only hope would be, if you're trying to find an optimistic way to look at it, would be some of that was like knowing the short week. So let's have him fresh for Thursday kind of thing.
They tend to just wait 4 more days and say, if they wait 4 more days, we have 14 days to get. But he hasn't Pacheco healthy.
He hasn't played since Washington, correct?
Yeah, correct.
So since week 8, I mean, we're entering week 13.
I know, but that's what I'm saying with like they just figure if it's 4 more days, why not get the 7 more on top of it?
Because you're running back Kareem Hunt, if there's not, depending on if he's truly available, because Kareem Hunt just carried the ball 30 times. Because otherwise you go into the game, let's say Kareem Hunt like is active, but he's just, so then you're asking Clyde and Dameon Pierce and Brashard's, they're not going to have all of them active, but you get my point. Like, let's say Clyde's inactive. I mean, I don't know how quickly Dameon Pierce can pick something up. I view him more as a piece post this week, that he's back. He helps you in the Texans game.
He feels like
something like that against his old team.
He feels like that and a futures pick. We're going to bring in Dameon Pierce now, get a look at the guy, and then next year when we know we're going to have to replace Clyde and Elijah Mitchell and Kareem Hunt, we'll have another body who's younger that we can take a look at for the next few games and figure out what we like. I'd be surprised. I think it's going to be mostly Hunt, Clyde, and Brashard Smith again on Thursday. Genuinely what I think it'll end up being. And Pacheco will be another 11 days after that.
I'd be very worried about the run. I'd be very worried about the run game if that's the case, if it's what you just said there. Because, look, there's no way he's going to be as effective. If he needs 20, if they give him 20 carries on Thursday after what just happened, and in the quick turnaround, I don't know how he's nearly as effective as he just was, because he was awesome yesterday and gave them everything you could want. By the way, as we were just talking about, J.J. McCarthy, Schefter just tweeted out that he now is in concussion protocol. He reported symptoms on the flight back last night or something. Oh. So I don't even know who their backup is. Carson Wentz is already on IR. It's like that Brosnan kid or something from Minnesota or some Brosnan. I don't even know.
Vikings depth chart.
They might have to sign somebody. Yeah, Max Brosmer, undrafted rookie out of Minnesota.
I haven't even heard of that person. That's their backup? Oh, it is, yeah, Max Brosner.
Someone says...
Is there not a different quarterback on the street?
I mean, I just told you McCarthy passer rating would have been better if he spiked the ball every time, so I don't know if it can be worse, actually.
Case Keenum going to come back and start for them? Is he on a roster somewhere? This feels like the most Case Keenum...
He's doing commercials for Lowe's or whatever it is.
Russell Wilson?
Stop. Why would you even go that route if you're the Vikings?
What, are you going to start Max Brosner?
Cody, the Viking...
Aren't they still technically in a couple games out of a playoff spot?
No, they're 4th in their division.
You want me to
They're
give you
4 and 7. They're 4 and 7.
Okay,
it's over. They're 4 and 7. It's over for the Vikings. They're 4 and 7. Just start the rookie. Just start the rookie.
I apologize. You can start.
They've lost 3 in a row. They're 4 and 7.
Max Brosner, Brock Lesnar, whatever his name is.
Brock Lesnar. Okay.
You can start whoever you want. Like if that's the case.
We'll see. Who do the Vikings have coming up?
I guess the only question is, does any of the teams we need the Chiefs to lose have the Vikings? Because that's the worst case scenarios. If
they do not play a single AFC team the rest of the way.
Their next schedule is Seattle, loss, Commanders, loss, Cowboys, loss, Giants, Lions, and
they don't play an AFC team, so it doesn't matter.
So, no, I don't really care what they do the rest of the way, other than I think it's a non-zero chance that J.J. McCarthy never plays another game for Minnesota. Like, I don't think he's going to be the starter. He has been so we talk about this all the time. There's bad. And then there's so bad that you almost can't ignore. It's like the Josh Rosen effect. There's bad as in no, there's still things and we can, like, you're not a big fan of the way Cam Ward's played.
I'll admit, he was better yesterday.
Yeah,
I'll give him credit. He was much better yesterday.
But there are parts of the game where you're like, no, we can figure, for the same reason people fall back in love with Justin Fields. And we're like, no, there's some things. And just maybe J.J. McCarthy has been so bad, it's almost like unredeemable. Like, you're going to have a really hard time ever looking that person in the eye and be like, that's a starting
my guess is he starts again this year. I mean, unless this concussion is, you never know, but, or this Brosner, or I don't even know, Brosmer, whatever.
Brosmer. What's his name, Drew? You watch
Brosmer.
Yeah.
Out of Minnesota. Golden Gophers.
Here was the crazy number that speaks to just how bad he's been. So McCarthy ranks 851 out of 852. He's 851. There's only 852 in EPA per dropback among passers since 2000. The only player below J.J. McCarthy is the legend himself, Jamarcus Russell.
Dear God.
Yeah.
Oh, no. See,
Not-
I mean, look.
Another
look,
really bad
So
Nothing.
look,
Not good.
the Vikings have to look themselves in the mirror, say we made a huge oopsie, and Daniel Jones or Sam Darnold.
Kirk Cousins even was out there.
Oh, they have let 3 straight
trade.
starting quarterbacks go that were all 15 times better than J.J. McCarthy is in the search of what is the guy.
Yikes.
They wanted their guy. Kevin O'Connell, I think this goes
Should
back
they
to like
even
the
let Daniel Jones go?
Yeah,
He was
that's
on
what
the
I said.
roster last season. Yeah.
The Kyle Shanahan conundrum, which is like, like you're good and you stay good. And what happens is Kevin O'Connell gets to a playoff thing gold, and he realizes, damn, I can't really win the whole thing with guys like Kirk Cousins, Daniel Jones, Sam Darnold. I need a dude. Let's get a dude. So they go get J.J. McCarthy, and it turns out they drafted maybe the worst starting quarterback of all time. Maybe not, but statistically right
In
now.
that particular statistic, yes.
Yes. And so, like, at this point, throw that one back into the fire. Time to go back into the draft and find another quarterback. That, or you can go back the veteran route and just put yourself back in the same position you've been in the previous 15 years of your franchise. All the Kirk Cousins years, all the Sam
There's
Darnold
always
years,
QB
whatever.
movement in the offseason, right? That's what makes the league great. But like just off the top of my head, I'm thinking, okay, Kyler Murray could be somewhere else. So Arizona could be looking for a starter. Minnesota could be looking for a new starter in the offseason. The Raiders are going to be looking for a new starter in the offseason.
Yeah.
Who am I missing? Atlanta, I don't know what they're going to do. Penix will be back, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what they do.
The Dolphins probably still have to go with Tua next year.
Just based on price.
Jets will have a new starting quarterback next year.
Yes. So there's quite a few. That might be it for the sure things of starting quarterbacks, other than if somebody. Steelers, did you mention them?
I did not, yeah.
They would probably be on the list, right?
So Kyler Murray's going to start for one of those teams.
Yes.
Next
Absolutely.
year, most likely. All right, let's get to
Absolutely.
Random question.
Random question today brought to you by Kansas City Urology Care at KCUC. Remember, you see the best in KC. Visit kcurology.com today. Alex and I are out the rest of the week. Drew and Logan and Mac will be helping take care of the show the rest of the way this week. So that means traditional time of year, traditional type of question, which is, I want to know, what are your Thanksgiving traditions? I feel like we talk about this all the time with Christmas and some other holidays, but clearly all of you do some of the same things on these holidays anyway. So other than watch football, which I'm assuming is at least part of most of your tradition making, what else do you guys do for sure? Is there a Madden tournament? You guys always play a ping pong match against each other. We've done round robin ping pong before on holidays. What is it? Over 913-586-7965 or Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, live chats. We're over there as well. I'll take your answers.
I'll give you Alex Smith answer. We'll eat turkey. That's what we'll do.
That's it?
Turkey comes to mind.
That's your only tradition?
No. It's pretty traditional though. Like we obviously have a traditional Thanksgiving dinner, and yeah, we sit around and watch football. Then my nephew's gotten older now, so I'll probably go down to their house in their basement where they've got video games and Pop-A-Shot and other stuff, and we'll just probably do that and hang out. But like, we don't have like a Pop-A-Shot tournament where everybody in the families go. No, everybody just hangs out.
Just shoots a little? Okay.
Yeah.
So Kansas Duck Down over on
Who?
Twitch says, just one of the people over there. He says cardboard games.
Duck Down. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. He says card or board games are traditional. We used to play pretty consistently. Two-hand touch football was a standard operating procedure.
Feels like with bigger families, that's definitely it.
Every Thanksgiving without question. We all got a little older, and that seemed to slow down a little.
Yeah.
And the old two-hand touch football, that happened a little bit less. From the 816, watch John Candy movies, Uncle Buck, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. I got to say, I think Dutch might be the best Thanksgiving movie. Anybody ever watch
I don't
that?
think I've seen that, actually.
Okay. Just
Yeah.
another
Dutch?
I'd like to introduce you to another possible Thanksgiving movie.
Honestly,
I would like to
the
enter Dutch.
TV will have the 3 football games on throughout the entire day. That's what's on the TV. One of the other TVs might have some show for the youngest nephew or whatever. But that's about it. Otherwise, football will be on TV all day.
Somebody says from the 816 beer pong every year. That's your tradition.
There you go.
You guys know no matter what we play left, right, center. We gamble. We do that every single year. I think I'm going to bring the gambling dreidel again this year, so maybe we can gamble a little more on the side.
I love the fact that Cody's the one with the gambling dreidel. Like the non-Jewish person on the show is the one that has the dreidel. This is hilarious.
Careful, with the careful.
That's what it's called when you shop for it.
No. I'm just saying careful with the game and everything. Given the recent events with poker and stuff like that, I'm just saying, careful.
Wait, now I'm confused.
Oh, are you? Oh, you're talking about the FBI stuff.
Yeah.
I was very confused.
Nothing
Yeah. I got you, Drew. I got you. Someone says they bring out the nice bourbon. They said they bring out the nice bourbon.
Okay, that's a tradition.
Someone says they do Wednesday lunch, and they call it before stomach expansion on Thanksgiving.
That's an awesome. I like ones like that. Slightly
Thanksgiving
different.
breakfast. Okay, I'm fascinated by this. What do you? So
Catchphrase they said.
What are you doing for breakfast on Thanksgiving? I feel like having a big breakfast and then you're not going to want to eat as much later.
Light. You go light.
Or no
light
breakfast. I go no breakfast, and I know I'm about to pig out later on.
It depends on what time of day.
Fair.
For Thanksgiving Day, we're eating it this year we're eating it 1. It's not always the same every year.
So you can get by with no breakfast there.
I could get by with no breakfast there, but 3 o'clock on Black Friday with my family, so I gotta eat no lunch, but I gotta eat something.
We're eating at 4 on Thanksgiving. Unfortunately, I already told you the scenario there with the football game. So we'll have going back to Vinny with the vegetable tray, we'll have snack stuff out earlier in the day to hold you over till 4 o'clock.
Someone claims from the 816 the last person to refill their plate before dessert gets set out has to take out the trash and start the Christmas lights. So somebody's tradition is you're the last person to set up your plate. Your ass is on cleanup duty.
That's kind of fun.
All right. I mean, you got to be. I feel like it's always on big holidays like this. If somebody else cooks, you got to be the person who takes out the trash. You got to be the person who loads the dishwasher. You got to do the other side of the thing. Somebody says left, right, center for them. Everyone brings dollar bills. Same thing. The only problem is my brother and I were talking about this. We play left, right, center. Our kids are starting to get into it. They're like, I can't wait.
Cody's about to
start wait to play left, right, center.
Degenerates.
I'm a little
them come
worried
by
about
on Fridays when Carrington and the whole station are doing the game. They'd be all for
admittedly
it.
starting to worry that my kids enjoy the gambling maybe as much as I enjoy it. And I don't know if I need to create that kind of buzz for a little left, right, center on a holiday. Maybe we need to.
Don't let Carrington talk to them about it because C-Dot loves him some.
My kids up here on a Friday, but I don't even get to play.
Get him even more hooked.
That's all. I'll take your answers again. YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook. We'll read a few more after the break as well.
You do fireworks? People do fireworks?
Interesting. Firework watching? Who does fireworks in Lee Summit Lake or something out there?
Like a professional show or just your neighborhood is doing something? I'm firework watching on Wednesday night. Yeah, there's a professional display? Obviously in Kansas City, the Plaza lighting ceremony is coming up on Thursday. Isn't it the Casey Curran, I think, is who's flipping the switch this year,
nice.
if I'm not mistaken. I
Too
believe.
bad they didn't cap it with a championship, unfortunately. Probably had that in place before. I'm actually trying to get a couple of Casey Curran players maybe in for a fan club later in the year, Want to shout out to their excellent regular season. So we go from there. All right, that's the random question of the day.
Yeah, 913-586-7965. Up next, let's talk more about what happened in particular on a couple of first downs for Kansas City yesterday and get into the Cowboys a bit. As you said, the week's a little weird for us this week with the holiday and everything. So how are you guys feeling about the Cowboys after what they just did yesterday against the Eagles? We'll get into all that right here on Cody and Gold.
What's up, Chiefs Kingdom? It's Trent McDuffie. You're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays 10 to 2 on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Around here, we've got each other's backs. When it comes to health insurance, we want that same kind of support. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City gets that. They're from around here too. Backed by the national strength of the Cross and Shield, they help you make confident choices, no matter where you are. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here, for wherever you are. That's the benefit of blue.
Looking to drive your finances downfield? Main Street Credit Union is the hometown team you can trust. We help you build credit, lower monthly expenses, and finance with confidence. Or if you need a loan to grow your small business, we've got flexible options and no hidden fees. At Main Street, it's not just about the win, it's about keeping Kansas City moving forward. One goal, 1 yard, one member at a time. Get in the game at mainstreetcu.org.
Another summer is ended, and you may have noticed that your energy is lower, your workouts aren't as productive, perhaps you aren't sleeping as well and feel foggy all the time, maybe even your sex drive is off. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're experiencing some or all of these symptoms, it's likely you have low testosterone. And if that's what's going on with you, don't wait. You need to call us at Heartland Men's Health and get treated for your low T, because living with low testosterone is no way to live. With our low T treatments, if you're like most guys, your life will change considerably. Improved sleep, better energy, greater gains in the gym, better mental clarity, and your sex drive will likely improve as well. Plus, most men see these results in just a few weeks. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes PSA and T-test and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600. That's 844-447-6600. Or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
This is Kevin Harlan, and the Black Friday sales event is on right now at Rob's Site Ford, but not for long. Hey, Rob, what's cooking this week?
Kevin, we're serving up 0% for 66 months on most new Ford models. F-150s, Escapes, Explorers, Transits, you name it.
That is a full spread of savings, unlike your mashed potatoes last year, which needed a carving knife.
Okay, brisket man, but hey, these deals, certified fresh and only here for 1 week.
You heard the man. Black Friday savings all week, and once they're gone, they're gone. Plus, Kansas City's only top-rated Ford dealer on Google. 4.8 stars, nearly 3,000 reviews. Voted best car dealership in Kansas City by Kansas City Magazine.
At Rob's Site Ford, we keep it simple. Non-commissioned sales team, top trade-in values, and the lowest prices in Kansas City.
135th and State Line or robsite.com.
If you want simple, upfront, and easy, there's only one R that matters. Rob Site Ford. Rob Site Ford. Buy right with Rob Site.
And maybe leave the mashed potatoes to someone else this year.
Hellsberg gifts checked off the list. Now, time for wrapping. Earrings for Mom. A gold bracelet to match the rings Danielle wears every day. And for Dad, a new watch, because we all know he needs one. All right, this is going to be a good one.
Our favorite things for your favorite people. Shop our Black Friday event for up to 65% off in-store or at Hellsberg.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. Do you feel stupid for buying a timeshare? Don't. It's not your fault. You were most likely told you could rent it, and it was a great financial investment. And the deal was available today only. If this happened to you, contact your resort or Wesley Financial Group for help today.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-242-3131. 800-242-3131.
Presenting a Gain Flings love story. Dear love of my life, we were on the 12B bus this morning when I caught a whiff. A scent so fresh, so life-changing, I had to find its source. Alas, I didn't know if you were the woman in the pink freshly washed cardigan or the retired mailman next to me, but I knew one of you was my soulmate. Ah, the scent of Gain Flings. Try Gain Flings with OxyBoost and Febreze.
Sports fans, listen up. 1 in 8 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer, and bladder leaks can be a side effect. That's why Depend is teaming up with the Prostate Cancer Foundation to encourage screening, because health is a long game and it's yours to win. Now, here's the cool part. Through November, Depend is contributing up to $300,000 to prostate cancer research by donating 25 cents for every purchase of Depend shields, guards, and Real Fit products. Void in Mississippi? Learn more at Depend.com.
It's never too early for Lowe's Black Friday deals. Snag some of our biggest savings of the season right now, like 25% off select pre-lit artificial Christmas trees. And get yourself free select DeWalt, Cobalt, or Craftsman tools when you buy a select battery or combo kit before the Black Friday rush. Because everyone loves free stuff, right? Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 12/3 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Inside the Huddle is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. Discover the benefit of blue.
Hey, it's Rashi Rice. The Chiefs Radio Network pregame show starts 3 hours before kickoff, right here on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
1 o'clock on a Monday, Victory Monday in KC, of course. It's Cody and Gold, Alex Gold, Cody Tapter, Nixon with you. Chiefs get to 6-5. Season is still very much alive. Cowboys coming up on Thursday. Of course, that game right here on 96.5 The Fan. Hope everybody's traveling safe. A lot of you may be already getting out of town today for the holiday. Maybe you're driving somewhere. I'm sure the airport's going to be a zoo. People getting out of town, flying out of town. This week as well. So safe travels and happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there. I feel like the one thing that I do miss from our childhoods in particular of this time of year and the holidays, I did love on Thursday morning, my dad would get the paper and then there would just be, 30 freaking ads and you'd flip through and you get all excited. And we don't get that anymore. Now, everybody does the early Black Friday sales, but you can hop on Amazon or wherever and already start shopping, or Cyber Monday deal. All that stuff exists still, but I do miss the really true internet shopping where you were able to you had to go at midnight, and there was some excitement about getting up at 4 a.m. and maybe going and waiting in line. I know it's way more convenient now, but I don't know about you. I enjoyed when the Best Buy ad would come and the Target ad or the Kohl's ad or wherever you shopped, Hastings back in the day as well. And you're like, man, you can't wait to find out what special deal before you knew what the Black Friday deals were.
So I liked looking through the ads, but we never did Black Friday shopping as a unit.
Okay, all right.
It might be because we did the plaza lighting every year when I was a kid. So Black Friday wasn't anything for us. And then I think as I became an early adult, I was working that day a lot. It felt like, I don't know. And so that one's not as much. I do miss, we went to the plaza lighting ceremony every year I was a kid.
Every year?
Every year for 10,
I've gone maybe 3 or 4 years. I've gone maybe
stop doing it.
3 or 4 times to the actual lighting. And then now what'll happen is at some point between now and the end of the year, I'll make sure I go have dinner down there because I want to see it. Drew, you've seen the plaza? You maybe haven't gone to the lighting. You've seen them, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. The plaza lighting ceremony. If you've never gone once, I think it's a cool thing to go to.
Dude, we go down there and hit up Mr. Bulkey's. Made a whole evening of it. They keep the little mall area
Mr.
open.
Bulkey's, man.
That was right there, right at the corner of Seville.
Mr. Bulkey's, and that was great. I love that place.
Living your best kid life,
Yeah.
On the other end, the Chiefs. You had mentioned their season staying alive. It felt like we were dangerously close to having a funeral. For the team this Monday morning, and thankfully we didn't have to, and instead can talk about the win. I simultaneously hate and love their offense. And I know that it doesn't make sense that it can be both, but genuinely, they seem so flawed in red zone and in mistakes and some of the things that really bother me. And yet you and I both know they could move the ball and have weapons and are capable. It just feels like they constantly are trying to do it with one arm tied behind their back, or everyone's in a potato sack race and it's 3 legs instead of 4. I can't explain it because I know they have talent and can move the ball. But this offense, it's I can't decide if I think they're good or bad. But I'll tell you right now, they're not mediocre. It's not a mediocre offense, which is where they're landing. They're either really good at it or they're really bad in a game. In this game in particular, it felt like they moved the ball, they scored a bunch, all that stuff. Just can't get in the red zone. So maybe it's just the red zone I hate.
Yeah, the red zone certainly yesterday in particular was a huge issue. First and goal at the 2. They end up right at the end of the game. They settle for the field goal, causes it to go to overtime instead of just winning it right then and there. Because I actually thought they managed the clock perfectly before the end of the fourth quarter with that drive. I thought that was, much as we have been critical about clock management, I thought the way that played out with the Colts having to use all their timeouts and then you get first and goal at the 2, it was perfection until they didn't execute and actually punch it in the end zone, and that's why they had to go to overtime. But yeah, this offense yesterday in particular against the Colts, I mean, there are some pretty jarring numbers in a positive way. 240 more yards than the Colts and 33 first downs compared to 10 that the Colts had in the game. Some of that's also a defensive stat in favor of the Kansas City Chiefs. But
33 first downs is an incredible number.
2 for 2 on 4th down. The Colts punted 6 times. You only punt 3 times. It on one hand, yeah, it could have been somewhat of a dominating performance, and yet so much of it is in the biggest moments. They still yesterday, even in a win, came up empty. Like, a win is a win, and when they had to have drives in the final 2 drives, really, of the game, Mahomes and the Chiefs got it together. Rice came up with 2 of the biggest catches of the year. Xavier Worthy had one of the biggest catches he's had in his Chiefs career, I would actually say, right? Just considering what was at stake with that big 3rd down conversion in overtime. So it's still not all clicking. It seems like it's close. We've said that a few times throughout the year. I mean, I thought Patrick Mahomes, there were spots where guys were open and he missed and was hesitant. There were also spots where the Colts defensively, give Lou Anarumo credit, the Chiefs could not win in one-on-one. Both were true yesterday. So it continues to be never one clear thing that's the problem. Mahomes is not right at times. The receivers aren't right in others. The run game or lack of run game is an issue at times. Then other times it's not. It still is this very confusing team to watch, but it's still why you can't quit them. And it's why teams still, they don't fear them anymore, but certainly teams know that, like the Cowboys know the Chiefs are more than capable still of going in there and putting up 30 and winning on Thursday.
They're not doing it with any kind of consistency. And like, look, the text line saying, hey, look, they're close to being there. The back shoulder to Rice is completed more than it's missed. Then multiple people saying what we know. Their problems do seemingly start with the RPO game in the sense that of all the things that are predictable in their offense, number 1 is how they handle the RPO game. And that's why they went away from it for a portion of the game.
That's why they were under center more than any other time this year.
Yeah, all those things go in there. And look, you probably wouldn't be surprised because this is the kind of season it's been. Even after yesterday's debacle in the red zone, they are still, because they had 4 field goals that they made inside of under 30 yards, which means they just continuously stalled out in the red zone over and over and over again. They are still the 14th best touchdown scoring percentage team in the NFL in the red zone. So they're not even like a disaster there. I think is what it is I honestly think what the missing element of their offense is what I saw yesterday for the first time maybe all year, other than maybe for a portion of the game against Washington. When they got Rashee Rice going, those last couple of drives, when they're hitting him 15, 20 yards, then it's all going. Then it's all working. Then Noah Gray's getting open, Kelsey's getting open, running game's working. When he's kind of humming along, the offense feels like it's got some
scary
momentum.
play for Noah Gray, by the way, that knocked him out of the game. And somehow he caught that ball with his thigh. I mean, that was ended up being that was a huge catch. I know it wasn't for the first down, but it set up a short 4th down opportunity for them. That was a massive play. I hope he's all right. Obviously, he was clearly out of it. He was in concussion protocol. No idea what that means for the Texans game. There's no way he's going to be without a concussion protocol, Cody, by Thursday. I don't even think it's possible. So, right?
No.
I don't think it's possible.
No, there's not enough days.
So he's automatically out the Cowboys game, I think, if we play that right. I think what you said, though, about Rice. So in the first half, he has 3 catches for 9 yards. Then in the second half, he blows up, has a massive performance, ends up with a $141 or whatever. And him and Worthy late in the 4th and overtime, it was and I don't know if the Colts were playing differently, if the Chiefs just got the scheme right and maybe the guys were just winning. Intermediate crossing routes. That's been missing all year. Intermediate crossing routes. And it was something that they had success with late. That is what I think makes when you think the offense is actually like, man, it's awesome, 10, 15 yards after the catch, it's on the crossing routes. I mean, Rashee Rice, the number he had was 141. 108 of them, Cody, were after the catch. He's their yak guy. We know this.
Yeah, but
108 yards after the catch.
I swear to you, I said this last week. So
it wasn't the short pass around the line of scrimmage.
Yeah. Yak wins it 8 to 10 yards when he first catches the damn ball. That's the difference. And look, I see the text line. There's always going to be complaints. Someone says 7 to 16 on 3rd down is still pretty bad. If they can get to 55 to 60.
Yeah, they're not perfect.
60, but here's the other part.
Yeah,
I'm going to point out this stat because this is the thing where unreasonable expectation versus reasonable and what we need to expect. 55% this year, the current leader in 3rd down conversion in the NFL is at 48%. Last year is 51%. The year before that, 49%. 55% is excellent. 7 to 16 on 3rd down is excellent.
Even
by
50%
NFL standards.
they would lead the league. If they had 49%, they would lead the league. And by the way,
they would lead the league for the last 5 years if they had 50% completion on 3rd down.
So I went and I did some more numbers on it. Right now, they're top 10 in the league. I think they converted a 41% clip. 43% is what they did on Sunday. So that was better than average for this Chiefs team. So it also, one of the things too that I didn't understand, it kind of bothered me too, I was watching it, is they would have 2nd and 10 and then they'd run the ball and get to 3rd and 8. It was the most frustrating thing ever, where it made no sense. Now, thankfully, the Noah Gray catch, on top of there was another one where it was like 3rd and 8 or 3rd and 9, and they actually, I think, got the 3rd down conversion. But they got to get rid of the whole 2nd and 10 run play thing has got to go. You're not.
That's the thing that went away, and then people thought they were passing too much. It's a tough double-edged sword. It really is, because I hate 2nd and 10 runs too. I'm not even disagreeing, but it does feel like that's when people, Drew, were complaining that they don't run enough. So like, what do you do? Be better on first down is the answer.
Well, yeah,
like,
of course.
Stop getting yourself in 2nd and 10, and then you could actually have a decision, I guess, is what it comes down to.
Yeah, I think it was Sam McDowell from the Star who sent out a tweet, though. Like, when you're in some of those scenarios, you're eliminating, let me see if I can find his exact tweet, but essentially you're taking away like half your playbook, though, when you start to do the scenario we were just brought up. Let me see if I can find the exact scenario that he was talking about. But basically, if what Drew was suggesting there, and stuff, if you are going to say that you're going to run in that spot, you're really starting to limit, what you're able to do offensively. So by running on first down, then, even right before halftime, you run on first down and you burn your only timeout. As he said, the Chiefs have cut their playbook in half for 2nd and 3rd down. That's the before half stuff that they end up settling for a field goal against Buffalo. They settle for the field goal against Indy right before halftime. And so in that circumstance, I think it was 1st and goal again.
Yeah.
If you run on first in that spot and then you burn a timeout, then you really are limiting what you can do on that 2nd and 3rd down.
Yeah. And and this goes back to, and some of their problems offensively are Juwan Taylor gets 17 penalties a game. Like, that went away for like 3 weeks. And then yesterday, even though I think it's a soft call, and there were plenty of them in the game for both sides, this isn't about one way or the other. They made a lot of bad calls in the game, or calls that at least are French enough that I'd rather you just keep the flag in your pocket. But that one, it's like, well, they score 7 more points. Like, it's so much. It's like they score 4 more points there. They make 2 less penalty. They score they're on the 2-yard line, and they get the touchdown there. Well, then the Chiefs score 30 points, and we're not talking about this up and down nature of their offense. And instead we say they had 500 total yards and 33 first downs and 30 points, and the whole game feels different. But that speaks to their offense. There's just this little bit that has not been right about it all year. But it was enough this time because the defense had to keep giving them chance after chance after chance, admittedly. But given enough opportunities, they at least do that. And now we get to the Cowboys, who now we think will be without Tyler Guyton, their starting left tackle, although we think the Chiefs will be without starting right guard Trey Smith. So those 2 guys are gone. Look, the thing about Dallas, and the thing I realized about them is they don't really have a lot of bad losses. So they're going to be a fight. They have what I would consider one bad loss. That is at home to the Arizona Cardinals.
That was on primetime. Remember watching that.
Yeah, no real excuse on that one. That's a terrible loss. You can't lose those much if you're going to be a playoff team. All their other losses are what I would call beyond reasonable. On the road to Philadelphia, a game that they should have won. On the road to the Bears, they're 8-3. They have a tie against the Packers. We can just leave that one aside for a minute since I was mentioning losses.
Okay.
On the road to the Panthers, maybe that's a fringe one, but I mean, that's a team that...
They look better than... Yeah, they're a 6-win team right now.
They win tonight, they'll be leading their
division. They got the same
division.
record as the Chiefs, let's be honest, right this second.
And then at the Denver Broncos. So, when you start looking at their losses, they're a lot like the Chiefs in that way. They are good against typically good teams, or at least they lose to good teams, but they beat all the other teams they mostly should.
I think it's hard not to be more concerned about the Cowboys after what we saw yesterday. I mean, how can you not? You're down 21-0. You come back from down 21 against the Eagles. That's really, really impressive. They're also just defensively a different team the last 2 weeks or so. And the question is that who they are now, or is it a nice little 2-week run?
And who's the team they played 2 weeks ago? Raiders?
I honestly do not know. I'll have to look it up.
Was it the Raiders? I think it might have been the Raiders.
I think
in which case,
they killed the Raiders. Yes, that is correct.
Hard one to take as serious, but the Eagles.
It was. Matters. You're right. That was Monday Night Football or whatever it was last week. Quentin Williams is the difference for them right now on defense. Yeah. Quentin Williams, they acquired him in the Jets trade, defensive lineman. He has been statistically, this is according to Next Gen Stats. So not only did he have a career high 8 pressures yesterday on 30 rushes, which is a 26% clip, which is insane. He has more quarterback pressures than any other defensive tackle in football since joining the Cowboys. So the last 2 weeks. It's a small sample size. But the second lowest average time to pressure. He's been as dominant as any defensive tackle since he joined the Cowboys. That's a little scary considering what the Chiefs' injury is going to be at right guard, it looks like, heading into the game. Yep. And just the history of protection with the offensive line. So that's going to be the player to watch on the defensive line for them. Their secondary doesn't really scare you, though. I'll say that about the Cowboys.
You can still pass on
but
them.
can you give Mahomes time? And are you able to run on them? And
they're 22nd in the NFL in rushing yards allowed per game, but that's obviously pre-Quinnen Williams.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Is this what the Cowboys defense is going to be the rest of the way now? And if it is, then the Cowboys are going to win a lot of games in their final 6.
I think the scariest part about the Cowboys is fairly obvious. They're very difficult to guard. Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, and Jake Ferguson is a tough ask for any team.
Yeah. Now,
that's it. That's just a tough ask.
The Eagles in the second half, what changed for them? They lost some guys in the secondary. So, how much of that changed the entire game for the Cowboys offense? The Eagles did a great job in the first half. Then they dealt with injuries, and then it opened up. So what are the Chiefs able to do with a healthy secondary the Chiefs are going to have? Nobody's hurt in the secondary. So a healthy secondary, a defensive line that, is coming off a game in which Chris Jones, while the box score will say he didn't do anything, that's incorrect. Chris Jones was dominant at times, opened things up for others in that game. He's playing at an energy level and effort level at the best we've seen all year the last 2 weeks. So what gives that? I think, yes, the Broncos were one thing when they were, and the Colts were one thing when they were a little more, I think, one-dimensional, not as fearful of their weapons outside of the running backs. And I understand the Chiefs lost the game with the Broncos, but still, that wide receiver room was not one that you feared. This one, Pickens and Lamb and Ferguson, you pay more attention. They're just more balanced. And so I don't think Spags can go into Thursday and say, we're just shutting down Jonathan Taylor, make Daniel Jones beat us. I don't think you can pick a side defensively against the Cowboys offense. Like the Cowboys are too balanced. Yeah, they're too balanced.
And the bigger fear is that at least if you were a team that the Chiefs just don't take it away, right? I can't just be my eye test, right? It doesn't feel like they ever get any takeaways.
The Chiefs defense, no, they struggle in that area.
Like I guess I should look it back up.
They're not great at getting the ball from their opponent.
Ball skills, at least.
They're probably in the bottom half. I bet it.
I'd guess
turnovers
bottom 5 if I had to guess.
Because turnover margin, I think they're.
Yeah, they're fifth
I think
worst.
they're okay.
They 0.8 turnovers per game. Denver, who also doesn't take the ball away, I guess. The Giants, the Commanders, and the Jets are the bottom 5. Honestly, they're keeping pretty poor company other than Denver.
Did you say that the Cowboys are basically in the same boat, though?
Cowboys are basically in the same boat. They also do not take the ball away. They're 23rd in the NFL at 0.9 versus 0.8. Number 1 team in the NFL, you always want to know. Every year there's a team like this. It was Minnesota 2 years ago or last year, which is who's the team who took the ball away the most? They always have a good record, and they always have a better record than you feel like they should. Chicago Bears. It's always who's the best team at getting the ball?
That's their whole defense this year in Chicago. Their defense as a whole is not impressive, but they turn people over consistently.
Mm-hmm. And it usually doesn't happen as much in the postseason. Turnovers are harder to come by, and then you lose in the first round and everything else. The Rams are number 2, by the way, a team that is an absolute force.
Verse in that defense.
I'll tell you what, I'm pretty glad that the Rams are not on the Chiefs' schedule because that team looks like it would whip up on just about anybody right now.
Yeah.
That'd be the one matchup. Let's just say the Chiefs get hot, win the rest of their games, and on their way to the Super Bowl. That'd probably be the only one I wouldn't pick them to win right now. Things can change, and all that stuff would change. But
the Rams, if the Super Bowl was this weekend, I don't know anybody that's picking against them. But the Super Bowl is not this weekend. But if it was, the Rams would be a team. I don't know anybody that would really be picking against them. I mean, how could you? Have they peaked early? I don't know. But they look like the team to beat.
Stafford's on a heater. Is he already locked up the MVP, or do we think there's still a little more life left in it?
I mean, I think Stafford wins. I think it's probably premature to say it's like definitively over, but if I would be shocked.
Maybe?
It's only between those two now.
He's like minus 200, 300.
Drake May would have to
have a better game than he did yesterday, for sure.
Yeah. Drake May would have to just light it all up the next couple weeks. And he only has one marquee game left, I would think, on his schedule, and that's the Bills. So he doesn't have the same prime stage, whereas like the Rams have the 49ers, I think, one more time, don't they? And do they have the Seahawks one more time too? Like I just think there's bigger games, whereas Stafford's going to be on a bigger stage. And right now he's playing, looks like perfect football. It's crazy.
I know Logan and I are going to get more into the Cowboys game and stuff, but does this game feel like it's a whoever has the ball last sort of game? I think it could go that way. And I don't know if it'll be high scoring or lower scoring, but it feels like whoever has the ball last is the one who's going to probably come away with it from offense.
Basically been the last 2 Chiefs games. Yeah. I mean, basically been the last 2 Chiefs games. The Chiefs had the ball last in against Indy, won, and they didn't against Broncos. Now, the Chiefs had opportunities to win it without, but Yeah, I mean, that is kind of where it's the whole one-score game stat thing. I mean, the Chiefs have had 6 one-score games this year, and they're 1-5 in them.
I still think it could be just like a false flag on the Dallas defense, though. I don't think Quinnen Williams, no one player in the NFL takes you from second worst point per game defense in the NFL to we're a top 5 defense all of a sudden. I don't respect the Eagles offense. I don't think any of us do. And the Raiders throw that one into a fire. That's been the biggest difference between these two teams. The Chiefs currently have the 4th best points per game off or defense in the league. Mm-hmm. Dallas is second to last only to Cincinnati, who's been the worst all year. And so, I just have a hard time imagining that Dallas is all fixed. And some of it isn't just they found a way to stop Saquon, which shut everything down. And kudos to them. They had a great game. The Raiders, it's like a 1-game sample size for me on their defense. I just don't feel like I'm ready to crown them as, maybe they're not second worst in the league, but they still got to be like bottom half, I guess. I don't think one player changes it.
You guys need to stop talking good about Chris Jones.
Why? He's been very good.
Someone texted in. I don't know.
He was really good in that game.
Paragraph.
Yeah, it's if you send in 6 texts, then it usually is a little too long for us to read. Thank you, though.
But yes, Cody, you could tell because he was getting off against a good offensive line. I would say. I don't know where they rank, but
yeah,
the Colts are a solid offensive line, given obviously how well Jonathan Taylor has run the football. Chris Jones was winning right out of the gate and forcing Daniel Jones to have to evade or forcing him to make bad throws or whatever the case was. He was doing a lot more than what you traditionally see on a box score. Obviously.
So it's tough when you're a pass rush defensive tackle because sometimes you just don't have the sacks to eat it up. I'm just saying the effort was way better. He impacted way more plays.
He was pumping up the crowd. Oh, yeah.
If your takeaway from yesterday is that he didn't play good, I'm sorry. I don't know how else to. I mean, I can put it nicely, I guess, but I don't think you know what the hell you're talking about. Nobody's saying he's had an all-pro season. He hasn't, by no means. He would tell you that, and he was not good in the first 8 games of the season. He was not having the impact, but the last 2 games, despite not having 5 sacks or something, he's not Myles Garrett. All right, he has been playing some very good football. And if the 1 tackle and no sacks is all you're looking for, then yeah, you're gonna be very disappointed, I guess. I think there's more to the story. Someone said, the pressures don't matter. I would argue pressures could actually lead to turnovers. That's why the Chiefs haven't. That's what's weird. You always want sacks. They can end drives. There's also still the benefit of when you pressure a quarterback,
it might make a mistake.
He might actually throw a ball he shouldn't throw, and it leads to a turnover. So to act like pressures don't count, I think is just a wrong way to approach how we judge football. But
we've only got about a half hour left before we get on the holiday. Big news for me.
All right.
My youngest son requested to watch this show. Do you think that this show is appropriate for a 7-year-old? Do you think so? Desmond, hi Desmond,
maybe,
who's watching the show on YouTube.
At times.
He thinks I'm
At times.
He thinks I'm a YouTuber because I'm on YouTube sometimes. I guess technically we qualify in that regard. But do you think we're good for? You think we're good content
today?
For
I think we're good today. Yeah, today good.
Today.
There's some.
We're good today.
Look, today we didn't. Today we talked about the coffin where the person thought they were dead and they weren't. We've had trashy days where it's more sexual and other things. So I think this was a good day for him to watch.
We're square, Desmond. Enjoy the show, man. Glad you're watching on YouTube. I don't know if we're the #1 rated show on YouTube for 7-year-olds. That seems unlikely.
Not really our demographic we're going after.
Probably something more Italian brain rot or one of the many other things that are available on the. But now you know all the slang, so you can speak to them.
That's true.
We learned all those things. You can slowly speak their language.
Someone says absolutely not. This is an mature adult show that we do here. That's true. The kids are off to school this week, aren't they? So the whole week. So
yeah, they. Unlike when we were kids.
Someone says too many Drew Blue Chew ads, though.
Well, hang on a second. There hasn't been one today.
I think they're just referencing in general. Yeah,
they're just speaking about our audience.
So they're anticipating their kids asking about that. I guess.
Someone says don't bring up the gum bucket.
No. Or Tennessee.
Careful.
Yeah, we're keeping things above board.
Luckily, the Chiefs are not playing the Tennessee Titans this week. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's not for a couple more weeks. Because that clip's going to get some run that week, I think.
Yeah.
Do you think Desmond is listening to the show?
He said he wanted to watch it on YouTube. He asked if he could watch the show on YouTube today. So I think he's actively watching right now.
Yeah.
He could be catching
That's
all
good.
of us.
Up next, let's get to what's trending here on Cody and Gold. I want to obviously get there. And because we are obviously on a weird schedule this week, I do want to talk about some of the results elsewhere in the AFC just a bit, including a Jags game where I thought the Chiefs were about to get a break. Did not happen. We'll do that next.
This is Cody and Gold on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
You know, there's millions of people without the health insurance they need. I get it. You feel like it's too pricey, a headache to deal with. You deserve something better. And better health. We're on a mission to get everyone high-quality, affordable health insurance. You have health insurance needs. We have plans with low out-of-pocket premiums, with in-network preventive care at no cost to you, and a network of local doctors and hospitals. So if you're still shopping for health insurance, go to ambetterhealth.com/enroll to get your free, no-obligation quote. That's ambetterhealth.com/enroll. For coverage to start January 1st, you must enroll by December 15th. Find the plan that's right for you right now. ambetterhealth.com/enroll. Ambetter Health, on a mission for better. Ambetter Health is the brand name for health insurance products underwritten by subsidiaries of Centene Corporation. Go to ambetterhealth.com to see offerings in your state. This is a solicitation for insurance.
Since we opened our doors in 1868, Busey has fostered deep customer relationships and vibrant communities, embodying a legacy of partnership and progress. With multiple lines of business, we provide a range of financial solutions tailored to your needs. From digital banking to planning for retirement, Busey is here to help you achieve your financial goals. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868. Member FDIC.
Hey Chiefs fans, Crown Royal is the official whiskey of the Kansas City Chiefs. And this season, it's not game day without the generous spirit of Crown Royal. Whether you're at the tailgate, in the stands, or watching from home, Crown Royal is the reason and the reward for coming together. Grab a glass with the Crown Royal rig at a stadium near you, because we'll be sharing the generous spirit with fans across the country. Crown Royal, fueling game day with a generous spirit. Visit www.crownroyal.com/royal rig for more on the Crown Royal Rig Tour. Please drink responsibly.
This Thanksgiving, FanDuel is introducing a brand new way to build a parlay together. It's called Pass the Leg. Here's how it works. Start a group build, add your pick, then pass it to your friends so they can do the same. When everybody's done, you can each lock in the group parlay with your own fun, because football is better when it's played and bet together. To make it even better, everybody gets a 50% profit boost token to use on their build. So grab the crew, start your build, and get in on the action this Thanksgiving with Pass the Leg. And we got 3 great games coming up this Thanksgiving. You don't want to miss the action. Visit FanDuel.com. Use my promo code /KFNZ to get started. FanDuel, play your game. An official partner of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. Opt-in required. Bonus issued. Non-withdrawal profit boost token. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement with Kansas Casino LLC. Gambling problem? Get up with your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700. Visit kansasgamblinghelp.com.
I'm Mitch Holtis, voice of the Kansas City Chiefs. Choosing the best doctor for your eyes is one of the most important medical decisions you'll ever make. Whether you're considering blade-free LASIK, all laser cataract surgery, and premium lens implants, or want a world-renowned doctor to help with your glaucoma, macular degeneration, dry eyes, or diabetes, trust my doctor, Dr. Steven Silverstein. Call Silverstein Eye Centers to make an appointment, 816-358-3600. Experience the best eye care in Kansas City.
The end of the year is rapidly approaching. We want to say thank you for another successful year as your neighborhood plumber. It's a privilege to be one of the few local family-run companies around. This time of year is when water heaters start to struggle. So through the end of the year, we are offering $250 off a tank replacement or $500 off a tankless water heater. So call 913-768-7676 or visit ConnollyPlumbingSolutions.com to schedule.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com, because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, ETHOS, ethos.com/life.
If you've been diagnosed with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis, this is what it sounds like to be 1,000,000 miles away. Imagine being 1,000,000 miles away. Tremfya guselkumab, taken by injection, is a prescription medicine for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who may benefit from taking injections or pills or phototherapy. With Tremfya, clearer skin is possible. In clinical trials, at least 70% of patients saw at least 90% clearer skin at 16 weeks. Results may vary. Tremfya is also indicated for adults with active psoriatic arthritis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Ask your doctor about Tremfya. Call 1-800-526-7736 or visit Tremfya.com.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this. What's trending?
God dang!
Brought to you by Telly Tire and Auto Centers. Winning starts with a great drive. Since 1942, Telly's certified techs have delivered complete car care with top brand tires and expert auto service. Keep your drive going. Take it to Telly. Visit TellyTire.com today.
Of course, number one, the Chiefs get the win. 6-5 on the year. 23-20 victory in overtime against the Indianapolis Colts. Now, quick turnaround. Thanksgiving afternoon football in Dallas against the Cowboys. Cowboys riding high as well. Feeling good about their 21-point comeback win. Actually, 24, but needed to come back from 21. Ended up winning 24-21. Injury front, this one is going to be one to watch on game day, unfortunately. That is that Trey Smith, according to Ian Rappaport, is unlikely to play, expected to miss maybe multiple games with a high and low ankle sprain. You're going up against that defensive front without Trey Smith. That worries me a bit. On the flip side, Tyler Guyton, one of the better left tackles in football this year, he's also expected to not be available. So you lose Trey, they lose Guyton, both teams with some offensive line issues heading into Thursday's game.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't feel like, it's more than one problem, certainly. Yeah. For both teams. We'll see whether that happens. Short rest, obviously, and then we'll flip around. No Andy Reid today. He'll actually talk tomorrow, kind of like it's a short week. Next up on What's Trending, Chip Kelly is officially out for the Raiders as their offensive coordinator. Greg Olsen, no, not that one, will be their offensive coordinator once again. He's helped out there before. Bowen is also out as the DC for the Giants. And, a little more NFL news, Shadur Sanders will be the starter next week against the 49ers for the Cleveland Browns. Even though Dylan Gabriel has cleared concussion protocol, they'll go with Shadur as their starter next week.
Elsewhere on What's Trending, local college football, it was not a good weekend for any of them. Kansas State lost a heartbreaker to Utah. They were in a position to win that football game, 51-47 loss. They need to win against Colorado to get to bowl eligibility. The Missouri Tigers had Bo Krabula back. You thought maybe here was an opportunity to upset Oklahoma. They just had no offense. The Missouri Tigers only put up 6 points in a loss to OU. Kansas did not look good at all on the road against Iowa State. They play, the Jayhawks do, on Friday, Black Friday in Lawrence, the home finale, season finale, I should say, and they got to beat Utah if they want to get to 6 wins and bowl eligibility. The Hawks are 13.5-point home underdogs. Good luck.
Final game for Jalen Daniels as well.
It is. Yeah, it is senior day. Depending on the weather, I might go. I don't know. It's Black Friday, 11 a.m.
You're supposed to celebrate people on senior day. You look like you're ready to run them out of the building.
In fairness, maybe it's because they weren't good enough. Everybody wasted all of those how long Perry Ellis has been in college jokes and should have saved him for Jalen Daniels, who's actually been in college for what seems like a decade.
Sixth
Yeah.
year, I believe.
I hope he gets a win. I hope that they get to bowl eligibility. It's been a bad year.
He
for all
helped.
three.
He helped build the program back up,
Yep,
but I think
he did.
people are also ready to see what the
Yep.
future holds with another quarterback, whether it's a guy on the roster right now in Marshall or it's somebody else in the transfer portal. We'll see.
Lastly, on what's trending coming up in an hour, Kansas is actually in action today for
Yeah.
basketball. They're taking on Notre Dame. No Darren Peterson. He obviously didn't travel for this tournament. I think people are kind of hoping he'll be back in early December. Maybe that UConn game at Allen Fieldhouse in early December. Been slow walking with him, but he will not be there for the Notre Dame game. They are also first time that they are not ranked in the AP top 25 since 2005. This early in the season is in November. They do AP pull out. They were not ranked.
Yeah, a couple losses. They already played North Carolina and Duke, and they obviously lost both of those. That is what's trending here on Cody and Gold. Someone was saying, Black Friday Senior Day game seems bad. Yeah, it's not.
11 a.m. too. It's
I know.
It's fresh off of the show on
I thought about going. We'll see. Depends on the weather. It's one of those where otherwise I'm just going to sit around and watch. And the NFL game is not till 3?
There's some good college games on Friday.
That's the only thing. Is are there other? Would I rather sit and watch a bunch of college games and frankly watch KU unlikely to win? I mean, they're 13.5.
Well, unfortunately, the good ones are right when the NFL games start. Georgia Tech is at 2:30, and then at 6:30 is Texas.
The NFL game's big time, man. Eagles and Bears. Eagles coming off a loss. Bears at 8 wins on the season right now, or 8? Are they 8-3 or 9-3?
8-3. They're both 8-3.
So it's a massive game for seeding in the NFC playoff picture. That could be the tiebreaker difference for one of these teams getting, the second seed, because it looks like the Rams might end up getting the number 1 seed. We'll see.
Certainly feeling that.
What do you make of the rest of the NFL? I know we obviously talked a ton of focus on the Chiefs Colts, but we were all keeping on that Jags-Cardinals game. Goes to overtime. Trevor Lawrence had 4 turnovers, and they still won. If you were hoping, knowing the Jags' schedule, for them to slip up, this would have been the spot where the old Jags would have. And man, oh man, they tried. Trevor Lawrence tried. 4 turnovers in the game.
He's awful.
He was not good. Yeah, he was not good. He's been this way all year. Except against Kansas City.
Yeah, he was great against them.
Of course. Figures.
That was a huge swing game for the Chiefs.
Yeah, it's going to be. I mean, look, the Chiefs have to handle their business anyway.
Yeah.
But there is a real chance that is the game that ultimately prevents the Chiefs from making the playoffs. But if the Chiefs, I'm still convinced, if the Chiefs win, 5 of their final 6, I still think they find a way in. But yeah. Arizona with Jacoby Brissett gave their best effort to try to knock off the Jags, and boy, that would have helped.
A lot of this is just now it's about which game each week I'm rooting for, because Kansas City can't just get there on their own. They're going to need assistance from other teams. So next week is Colts-Texans. Go Colts. They're winning their division or they're going to the playoffs. I don't think they're falling out of it. I need the Texans out of the way before they take on the Chiefs, and they can bury them. Then there'd only be 3 or 4 weeks left and have the head-to-head. Jaguars-Titans next week. Obviously, I know I need the Titans to win.
Go Cam Ward, upset City.
Chargers-Raiders. Come on, Raiders. Yeah. We're banking on either long shots next week. I don't think this is going to start shaking out for Kansas City.
Gotta wait a couple weeks.
Until we wait a couple of weeks when they're actually facing real opponents. Because I just told you the ones next week, nothing of real note, right? Then you get Colts-Jags playing each other again. Again, go Colts. Right? I'm not rooting for the Jags at that point. Unless they're going to win the division, the Colts are going to lose 4 out of the next 6, which I don't think is going to take place.
And that's the thing. So. If you could guarantee me that the Jags end up just winning the division, well then, I hope the Colts keep losing because you have the tiebreaker. But I'm not convinced that's going to happen, because that's the thing, right? We
Colts
know
have a very difficult schedule, but they're not going to lose enough.
If the Jags won the division, then the tiebreaker doesn't even matter, and then you have the head-to-head against the Colts. That would be the only argument, but you have to, at that point, you're really thinning a...
Colts have to lose 2 more games and you lose the rest of the way, which is tough.
That's a really narrow window to get into, where you're asking the Jags to win the division and then the Colts to lose just enough games to then also be the tiebreaker instead, but you have the edge over them. That you're asking for a lot of moving pieces at that point. So I would rather the Colts just go win the damn division and knock down the Jags a game or 2 or both. Like you said, they play them twice, right? So.
Yep. So here's the thing. I guess this is what it comes down to. If I asked you right now, which teams do you think it's actually realistic that the Chiefs can steal a playoff spot from? We know where everything is. Do you think Denver is an answer? I don't. Do you think the Colts are an answer? I don't. I think there's 2. I think there are 2 teams, unless for some reason, and I'll mention the third, There are two that I think they can actually take the playoff spot. One is the Jacksonville Jaguars. One is the Los Angeles Chargers.
Right.
The Bills are currently the 7th seed.
Bills to me are going to be.
They have to finish a game better than Buffalo because they, again, do not have the tiebreaker against them. But does anybody think the Bills are actually missing the playoffs? I don't.
The Bills have the Jets still and the Browns still on their schedule and the Bengals still on their schedule.
So here's the team you can really catch, the Chargers. I actually think even more than the Jags because I think the Jags' schedule's easier than them. They do have the Raiders next week. I get it. You're going to be like, they're catching them. The final 5 games for the Chargers are Philadelphia, Kansas City, Dallas, Houston, and Denver. That you could lose all 5 of those games. Hell, they'll probably only be favored in 2 of them.
Let's take a look.
You think they'll be favored at Dallas? They'll be favored at home versus Houston. Not favored at Denver, not favored at Kansas City, and will not be favored against Philadelphia even at home. So
the Chargers, these are just
against the Raiders, obviously, but
Chargers look ahead. Obviously, as you said, Raiders 9.5-point favorites. They currently Eagles -1.5. I don't know if they'll actually. I doubt they'll end up being favorites in that game. That makes no sense. They have the Chiefs.
I should bet that now.
They have this is just a grid site. This is not like FanDuel doesn't even offer odds on all these far out. But at Kansas City, they project that they're a 4-point underdog.
Yeah.
They project they're a 2-point favorite at Dallas right now. They project they're a 4.5-point favorite against Houston and a Week 18, a 1.5-point underdog at Denver. But that Week 18 game is tricky. Are the Broncos? Do the Broncos have any shot at the 1 seed, so they have to win? Are they the division locked up? All that. The Broncos might be starting Trevor Siemian against Justin Herbert in Week 18, unfortunately. So that one we don't have the answer to for a while. As far as the Chiefs go, these are projected lines. We know the Chiefs are 3.5-point favorites at Dallas, projected to be a 7-point favorite against Houston. I don't know if they actually will be, but that's the projection. Projected to be a 4-point favorite against the Chargers, 11.5 at Tennessee, 4.5 in a rematch against the Broncos, and then 8.5 at Vegas in Week 18.
So they're favored
every game the rest of the way.
Which is not surprising. They were just favored against a team 3 games better than them in the standings.
Correct. Yeah, they're going to be a favorite in every game.
Yeah, but that just goes back to, I think the actual team to steal the spot from, and I guess pull up the Jaguars for this. I think the actual team to steal the spot from is the Chargers. I don't think it's actually the Jags.
The Jags,
Colts twice, I guess, is nice, but they also have the Titans and the Jets. The Titans twice and the Jets. I'm sorry.
They're projected. Jacksonville is projected, though, to be an underdog in 3 of the remaining games.
Yeah, Broncos and the Colts twice, I assume.
Yeah. Yep.
What do they have to get to, though, to make it? Is it 10-7?
Who?
Chiefs, 11-6.
Oh, no.
The Jags?
I'm saying, what gets the 7 spot? Is it 10-7?
I think 11. Yeah, I think
11 wins gets you to the 11 wins has to get you in,
and you don't have to worry about tiebreakers.
I believe so. If you're the Jags, you could still get there with 10, but not if the Chiefs get to 11. Right? Does that make if the Chiefs and Jags are both 10, then yeah, the 7 seed gets it, but that'd be the Jags, not the Chiefs. Does that make sense? The Chiefs to me, the Chiefs cannot be the 7 seed with 10 wins. But the Jags could. If that.
You're saying in order for the Chiefs to make it, they have to be 11-6.
I believe so. I believe so. There's scenarios where they don't, but you're asking the Jags to lose like 3 games here.
I'm going to give you the Broncos schedule just because the text line is convinced that the Broncos could lose enough for the Chiefs to actually get the division.
There's a scenario. It's not likely.
I think it's extremely unlikely. They would have the Commanders this weekend where they've already said Jaden Daniels is almost cleared but will not play. Or is not expected to play on the 30th against the Broncos. So just know now, they're saying Jaden Daniels is close, but it'll be Marcus Mariota's ass on Sunday, November 30th. So that doesn't. Then it's the Raiders. So now where am I 4 out of the final 6? Well, then they're gonna have to lose the final 4, which is at home against Green Bay, at home against Jacksonville, and at home against the Chargers. I'm sorry, the Broncos have won the division.
Yeah. Oh, this is for the division? Oh, okay. I was going to say the Chiefs winning the division.
The AFC West is over, okay? The AFC West is over.
Once
Denver Broncos, unfortunately, 2025 AFC West champions. The 9+ year run is over. I hate to say it, but that ended last week. What are we doing?
Shout out to this person, though, because they have faith that it's still open.
That's fine.
Just like I have faith as well that something could potentially happen as well.
Drew, you need an intervention, man.
I will say this.
You need help.
Hang on.
Professional help.
That Bills-Bengals game is my Super Bowl for this season. I cannot.
I told
wait.
you, Drew.
I want Josh Allen I want Joe Burrow to beat him again. I want it badly.
I'll give you this. I hope Cincinnati actually does win that game and some other games.
I just hope they crush.
No, I hope so. I told you Cincinnati's going to miss the playoffs. I don't want them finishing what would that be? 4-13 or whatever. I don't want no. I don't want Cincinnati getting a top 10 pick. No. I want Cincinnati to get to 8 or 9 wins and miss the playoffs and be picking 15th.
You know what?
Perfect. That's what I want.
You know what? They can go ahead and lose to Shedeur and the Browns on the last week of the season. If they beat Josh Allen, I don't care. I will take that win every single time.
In fairness, in losing seasons,
oh my goodness!
In losing seasons, sometimes you have to take the win where you take it. Typically, it goes divisional. Like if you could be the team to knock the Steelers or the Ravens out of the playoffs,
of course,
you get a little extra juice in that. But to your point, Drew has come on this show a lot, and it said that
they're going to win out.
There is a possibility.
The Josh Allen can't hold a candle to Joe Burrow.
Did you hear what he said?
And then he's bad in those games.
Did you hear what he just said?
Well, I know he said that.
If the Bengals,
there's no possibility.
Hang on. No. Just as this person said, it's possible that the Chiefs could still technically win the division.
You have them winning out against at Baltimore, at Buffalo, home to Baltimore, at Miami, Arizona, Cleveland.
I've seen those defenses, and I would say there is absolutely a legit shot that they win all three of those games.
And I've seen Cincinnati's defense.
True. I'm not.
I legitimately think that they can win all of those games. The way the defense has been playing, by the way, the last few weeks, Joe Flacco's been losing them the games. As a matter of fact, the defense has been actually pretty good.
Joe Burrow is expected to play Thursday night against Baltimore, but there's no T. Higgins and no Trey Hendrickson. So it's always something for them.
T slammed his head against the turf. That was a scary hit.
Yeah, that's why he's out. Yeah.
I'll be honest. I'm not saying that there's not
some
technically
the Hooter uniform odds. Same odds for them to miss the playoffs.
99%.
The Hooter odds are minus 20,000 at this point.
It's whatever the FanDuel odds for the Bengals not to make the playoffs. I guess I can give you an exact number.
There is a legitimate possibility that if the Bengals win out and the Steelers lose one more game on their schedule outside of just the games to the Bengals have the tiebreaker against them, and they win the division at 9-8.
Cincinnati to miss the playoffs is minus. What was that, 10,000? So a $10 bet wins 10 cents, okay? They're missing the playoffs.
I will not be betting that.
I genuinely, if you made me put a percentage at it, would put a higher percentage that Alex Gold's dates and marries Sydney Sweeney in the next 12 months.
You give me better odds? You give me better odds?
Yes!
You're giving me better odds?
No, it's not
Wow. Better odds?
3-8.
No.
Alex could accidentally stumble on a flight to Montreal, happen in a bar and see Sydney Sweeney, and they hit it off. Then Cincinnati wins the remaining
I'll say
games,
this. The odds,
and enough people lose.
The odds on Cincy are better for Cincy, but not by much. Not by much.
I think that take is crazy. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I will say this, that there is a chance. If they lose to Baltimore, it is official. The book is closed officially.
So you'll admit if you finally will admit.
Yes, if they lose on Thanksgiving, then I will admit on this show officially.
Right. Well, they'll be 3-9. I would hope so.
With nothing else, that the book is closed.
They'll be 3-9. What a bold decision.
Honestly, I'm still mad that you didn't stick with the Chiefs were going to go 5-5 and win out. You had it right in front of you.
I know. I really did.
You bailed.
I know. I really did. I really did.
You had your moment right there.
Who do the Steelers play this weekend? Are they on a bye week? No, they play the Bills. Hang on a sec. If the Bengals beat the Ravens and the Steelers lose to the Bills, we're back.
Oh gosh.
We're back in.
Don't do this to yourself. Don't do this to yourself.
But this is the thing. Me being I can be disappointed, but the
Bengals, man, it'll make you do crazy
I promise you, the Bengals could win every game and then lose to the Browns and miss out on the playoffs.
Oh, that's actually the dream scenario.
And my day is not ruined. And my day is not ruined.
Drew.
So the idea of me holding out hope that the Bengals make the playoffs, yeah, sure, it'd be great.
Drew. I love this scenario. You guys win out until the last week, and then your guy Joe Burrow against your other guy Shedeur Sanders, and your guy Sanders ends the season for Cincy. That's also fun. That's also a fun scenario.
That would be tough. But no, people think that, again, maybe it's just the fact that we're in this business, that my fandom has just gone so far by the wayside that it doesn't affect me.
Text line says 7 stages of grief is what's happening here.
Which stage is he in denial?
Oh, still stuck in denial.
The Pacers losing the Pacers losing Game 7 of the Finals was tenfold more disappointing than the Bengals losing the Super Bowl was. It wasn't even close.
I get that. Yeah.
Let's see. Based on that, denial step 1, dude. You got to get to anger or bargaining Or depression. You got to get to some of the other ones.
He did try to bargain at one point about the bet.
I don't get mad at my sports teams, though. If they lose, then they lose. Like, the Bengals lost the Super Bowl to the Rams,
Well,
and
actually,
then I went
you know
out
what?
to eat with my wife and had a great night afterwards.
Maybe we're wrong. Maybe he's not on the maybe there's the upward turn stage marked by a period of calm and tentative sense of hope.
I'm always optimistic about my team.
That was actually after the Steelers win. When they beat the Steelers, that's when he was in the upward turn, and then he's come crashing back down.
I'll be honest. Yeah. I felt like I got closer to the depression part than he did. We were in the Kareem Hunt fumbled that football, and I started telling myself,
we were all there.
And I started telling myself, third place schedule, top 20 pick. This will really boost the old rebuild. This will help that roster turn.
I was already thinking, man, Monday's show is going to be.
I was about to hit a mock draft on Sunday night. I could have been.
Oh, you were down bad. You would have been down bad. Yeah. You would have been down bad.
Hell yeah, it could have been.
Someone says, tell Drew the Bengals are done forever.
I don't know about forever. Hey,
I told you he's Joe Burrow, Dan Marino. So
Zach Taylor's definitely going to
be a Hall of Famer, but never going to win anything. Yep.
They need to fire their GM before they fire anybody else. Please,
this is also why I want Zach. I want your Bengals. Actually, you're right. I want them to win 3 or 4 more.
Zach Taylor to keep his
Zach
job.
Taylor keeps his job with an 8-win season, probably.
Yeah.
Bengals think they're not that far away. They talked themselves into it. Still, they draft 15th. Maybe they'll sign that draft pick on time. I don't know. We can do this all over again.
Or draft a better player.
That too.
He's not been.
Jamar Chase still has more tackles than Shamar Stewart does.
Oh no!
Jamar Chase is back. He didn't spit on anybody this weekend, did he?
Correct.
Okay.
In fairness to Shamar, he has been hurt throughout the season, which obviously also is not great. And the 3 lowest ranked Pro Football Focus rookies have all been Bengals players, their first, second, and third round picks.
Jeez.
Man, you know what? It is good.
It's almost not even as much Zach Taylor anymore. It's the GM.
I was genuinely worried
pick
about
anybody else.
That game felt like a wash away. Boy, it feels good to have a victory Monday. I hope they win again on Thursday. Then we're going to come back on Monday of the week. Maybe 7-5 with 10 days going into a Texans game at home. Momentum would start feeling like it's churning a little bit.
That's the dream.